एक तो कमेन्ट पनि अफ गर्न यार मैले साँच्चै बिर्सेँ यार
त्यो यार मर्दै मर्दैन त म्याटहरू नि
अबे फर्स्टमा कमेन्ट अफ हान्ने कसरी हो बे
लेजेन्डमा चाहिँ कसरी पुग्यो यार यिनीहरू यत्रो ट्रफी लिएर
defense that could be providing the damage, of course, with that poison spell there as well. 97% max. What a great effort there. So close at getting to the first 3-star, but it does give your team the lead over MG and elevate. Coming in, getting 2 back-to-back months back in June and July, and that is such a hard feat. Many teams are trying to just get to this World Championship stage. They know the goal is twice to really prove how strong they are. Absolutely. It does give them the advantage. You can see Max obviously. I think a difficulty that the players have right now is that the meta is very limited, so that it is a bit more predictable as to what people are going in for.
We are doing the time coverage
to try and think outside of the box to get around that bait, and it's just really, really tricky right now. Maybe that means we do see some surprises. These players should give us some surprises. I'd love to see it. Yes, Mr. C. Game promote on the big stage. Road to Riders, we're going to see 4 routes.
उनीहरु हाम्रो स्ट्रिममा आइज गेम प्रोमोट हुन्छ ए उनीहरुको भ्यूज जान्छ नि मुला
We tend to see sometimes
भने कि मोबाइल लेजेन्डमा त जोडिङ गर्नु पर्छ के
end of the attack. But let's see if he's going to be charging away through and similar attack. Maybe Millicent MG really found a way that this attack is so strong. So let's bring this attack with trying to defeat a team like Elevate. Yeah, he lost one of his healers there. He seeking aim. He's losing a second healer as well. Unfortunately, I do like the angle of attack here, trying to get the Crusher Mortar out really early on, because that is dangerous for the Root Riders. Unfortunately, that's where we talk about that bait. Maybe expecting the player to come in towards that, and that's where now he's lost a couple of healers, but does recall everything out. Oh man, I feel like the Queen was going for that poison spell tower next. He just pulled that Queen back a little early. Could have taken that value down. Hopefully it doesn't backfire in the end. As the not open up the wall to the town hall. So the Yetis do come out, but the earthquake, okay, the earthquake helps finish the wall. Access to the town hall, but the Yetis from that log launcher. Great thinking there to attack. Tornado trap. Pressing the water in a penny. Keep on that town hall. What is he going to do to be able to get that? He's sending super barbarians. Protect the hero abilities, but they are down. No more to save the town hall. One super barbarian sneaking in and does end up helping take that town hall. Oh, that was crazy. The spring traps just launching them. Perfect play. He's getting the 2 and this is a lower percent 2 here. He still can rack up some percent, but it's not going to be in the 90s that we were seeing, right? I mean, I love how he's keeping his composure, to be honest. The overgrowth spell is great to help him get the tower wall. Ice Golem down the bottom with those 2 headhunters sniping off the things going pretty bad. Mob landing. Keep things together to drive that percentage up as high as possible. Mob landing, even if it's not going to be the 3-star, you've got to try and hold it together to keep your team in this. It's a 5 versus 5 war, so anything can still happen. All it takes is one attack to turn you around. And if Elevate can't pull through, 97, 98, 99s, that means that 1 3-star can win you the war and still advance with the 1-star victory. So you got to stay in it all the way to the very end. He's grabbing a few buildings out there with about 13 seconds left. Can he get the Winter Tower? Will not come back to life. No Phoenix. Finishes off that Winter Tower. No, it's an 85%
dragon plan
MG, Mr. C. Effort there. So we saw a 90 from his spot. Then we saw a
dragon easy triple launch.
Mr. C. and just unfortunate goes away, and that town hall was almost staying up.
मैले ड्रागन नागनेको
Whenever
धेरै
it was
भइसक्यो म
Vector attacking
सक्दिनँ
on his phone as well, you can see some of the players there
मैले
with
3
हान्नु न
a tablet in
सरोज
order
दाइले
to
हान्नु न
have that precision
अघि
placement.
सरोजको नाममा
Some
3
players
गरी राम्रो
really
सुनेर
like just having the phone and the dexterity of the thumbs. I
त्यही
personally
शून्यलाई
can't
कति
do it.
राम्रो शून्यलाई समय सीमित हुन्छ त्यो
Super impressive there from Mr. C. And again,
तर हो यार
to
अस्ति
maintain the
पनि
percentage.
1000 एफसी हाल्यो
Get
होला
as
त्यही
far as
पनि
he
हल्के
did,
लास्ट
despite the attack.
हेब्जी राया त यार हेब्जी
Having to adapt along
FC
the
मा त
way.
किन हान्यो नि मुला
Esports mode
त्यहाँ गएर
with
उ
all
भयो
the extra damage we talked about. That is really tricky to do.
It is insanely difficult to pull off, and
यो बिदानले मैले त्यहाँ बेस हालेको थिएँ यार म
playing on
ट्र्याप
tablet with a double deployment bar, you know,
Me too.
because if I'm not using that double deployment bar, it is
Chung, chung, chung,
it's
ching,
gonna
pong,
go
ding,
south
chang.
real quick.
Chang,
We are now
boy,
seeing
chang,
Pato
boy.
here for Elevate, and he was
Ui,
one of
thanks
the
for calling.
highest hit rate
फेस
players.
फेस क्याम चाहिँ हेऱ्यो सुरे डिमान्ड आयो फेस क्यामको फेस क्याम
Facecam मिल्दैन यार मेरो क्यामेरै चल्दैन
And the
के
blimp is acting as two things. One, it's setting the
मुला
funnel.
क्यामेरा
Tinder
खोल्यो
सँग
भने
quality छ र
क्यामेरा क्यामेरा चर्केला भन्ने टेन्सन
the
थियो
right. And
जङ्गली
then,
को
in a
जङ्गली आयो
quick,
भन्दा
maybe
पनि
for the
टेन्सन
town
थियो
hall.
त्यस्तो त भन्दैन
जीवनमै
होला यार भाइ
The town hall
त्यस्तोसम्म त
down
भन्दैन यार
with her
भाइ
ability, she can speed up in this there. Does she go to the town hall next? And yes,
एमा
she
यो
does.
रहेछ फेरि फेस क्याम भन्ने यार फेस क्याम प्ले गर्छ नि चिरिङ मैले
He can look, see where the RC goes. If he doesn't, he can easily invest those three defenses. He's actually doing it now with the Expo and the air defense to push him further
मेरो
into the
भए
ball. And that just helps to provide that deep defensive funnel for the Root Riders.
Fantastic
Easy win, okay? Easy win.
Just go off to the left. Pull
बाटोले
back,
राम्रो बाटो
did
बनायो
not
यार
pull that Spirit Fox.
वाह 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 वाह
उठा
वाह
उठा 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 लोभ नगर
Great job
उठा
from Pato as now it sets
खतरा हान्दै
up the
थियो
Root
यार
Riders. Remember,
Ah,
that
यार भन्न
blip
साथी
is setting that funnel
बाटोले
as
राम्रो
well. So
बाटो
now they have a
बनायो
clear
Triple हो यो, triple हो यो।
move through, and what you want is the Root Riders
Triple हो।
to stay close together so the healers can try to heal them all up together at once.
Absolutely. It's great
Or
that
yeah,
he's
should
got
they
the
go
poison
stream?
tower sneaking
Now
into
or
the
get
area.
छैन नि
They
अर्के
do have the rocket launch
स्मुथ छ
clinging out in front. I think they're going to take one Root Rider down there, but not the other. The world. You see the healers, they're stuck on the ice going
Uy,
at
yo,
the back. So the
कस्तो
Root Riders
format
are
है
taking
यो
quite a
वर्ल्ड
bit of damage
च्याम्पियनसिपको
here,
भिडियो
especially with the defending minion Prince
कुन
Monarch.
सिनेरी हो बे
Now the
यस्तो
pressure
वारको
ball coming into play.
That's quite a bit of
Ouais,
damage.
c'est
हेर हेर ल ल ल क्रसर मोटर त आम्मामामाम
Protect through that. It's going to wear off.
Wow.
Giant bombs are to the top side. Defensive mini prince goes down, but he does have 3 rockets.
कस्तो यार क्रसर
होइन,
मोटर त
डिस्कर्डमा
पर्मानेन्ट
लाइन
डिफेन्स
भेट्यो भने
बनाइदिनु
छुट्टै लाइन
हुन्छ
भेट्यो भने
Continue to work one by one.
हेर्नु न ल
Nice
रुट
baby
राइडर
dragon out
गायब
of the bomb tower, so he won't
कति
get
चाडा
that
हानेर
splash
क्रसर
damage
मोटरले
once it goes down as he continues to push through the enemy queen. We have the king
ओइ
and
ल
queen abilities.
डिगीले त क्वीनलाई नि
Both
स्टन
super
हान्दैछ त
barbarians,
के हो
and then
यस्तो
the 3 rocket loons. Where are they
तर
going to be deployed? One of them
होइन
just
आउँदैन जस्तो
was.
ट्रिपल
Finds the
बम
tornado
पड्किने
from
अझै
the
न
but it's about
हुन
the
त बममा केही
जाइन्ट
परेन
क्यानन
power they have.
त्यो जाइन्ट क्यानन वाला कम्बाइनले लास्ट दिन्छ
गाह्रो छ गाह्रो छ ट्रिपल
With
गाह्रो
two super barbarians, once
पछाडिको
the
डिफेन्स
sniper
हेर
shot
नि
is
केटा
tagged,
हो
those
कसरी
rocket loons
आउँछ
can go
टाइम
into
पनि
the
इनफ हुन्न
defense and then snipe the Expo
क्रसर
and,
मोटर त अति हो यार है
ricochet cannon. Let's see whether
अघि
he can even
क्रसरले
get to
लास्ट
that
हान्ने
point
के
there,
यार
because he's holding on to those hero abilities as long as he can, Carbon.
The king is now making his way to the bottom. The ricochet cannon has locked onto him. Snakes are jumping the wall. 2 rocket balloons, 2 super barbs. As he
सबसे झ्याउ लाग्दो
continues
म्याच
to
त
the
सेकेन्ड
bottom
म्याच
side,
छ यार
there is a
रिपोर्टेड
wizard
र
minion
क्यारी
down
स्पोर्ट
south as well. Now the queen ability goes off with that giant. Giant has already popped the king. The snakes have jumped that wall.
90
Only
जति चाहिँ पुऱ्याउँछ
17
जस्तो
seconds
पर्छ
left in the attack. He's racking up the percentage. So we've been seeing into the 80s. We've seen into the 90s as well. With the rocket loons super barbs up top onto the spitter. Trying to take that down and looks to be just about.
अट्याक राम्रो गाछियो ट्रिपल हान्न के यार राम्रो गाछिन अट्याकमा
त्यो फर्स्ट हिट एलिमिनेट हो
Super
क्रसर मोटर
unfortunate
अति
there. It does mean that they
And
extend
फर्स्ट हिट
it
एलिमिनेट
a
गर्नु हो
little bit more.
ल
Elevate now
एलिभेटको
12
सपोर्टरले
total percentage points ahead of
होइन त म्याच अघि होइन मलाई हेर नि त्यहाँ स्टार्टमा ढिलो देखाउनु रहेछ कि एट्याक सकिएपछि दुई दिन टाइगर
So whoever gets the initial 3-star here
ओ
is
बयान
in the driving seat.
All you need
तिमी यो रेज
one
ल्याउन
triple,
छोड
and
त
these
रेज चाहिँ
players
बोकेर आउने गर
know
त
that.
त्यही त भने रेज नलिएर के मुला
99-97.
रेड जिम त ल्याएकै हो के
All in the high 90s.
तिमीले
अनि रेज
अस्ति ट्रिपल हान्दा यही तिमीले अस्ति ट्रिपल हान्दा यही डबल रेजले हान्यो हो
Going crazy because we got fans from all different teams here that are cheering them on. As now Addy is going on to take
यार ट्रिपल
and let's see what
82
he has got. Is it going to be the Root Riders with the
Only
Angel
I
Jelly
know,
and the
I know.
Queen? It is. So they are sticking towards this strategy.
तिमीलाई पो हार्नु भयो
They've
त्यो
been practicing a
कसरी
lot
भित्र मार
and
गान
trying to
केटाहरूले
keep these
के हो
spaces down.
Absolutely. We haven't seen a single World Champion charge from them. Definitely worried about the bait in terms of taking things down. Again, you notice the angle of attack here. The base is relatively symmetrical. Oh, he's actually going to hit the gun bomb here. Manages to get that second base hit, but it means he doesn't have to worry about that with the Root Riders.
Yeah, as this Queen is charging through, the benefit of that Warden is that Rage Gem, so it helps speed this Queen up through this Ricochet Cannon. Oh, the enemy Queen, okay, pulls them back before the enemy Queen encounters. Interaction right there as he continues through a nice skeleton spell, distracting him out of his place, because he's trying to push
misclick voice, okay?
Did hit the healers as well. One of the healers, but only one healer. At least that's why you put your smoke balloons in, because a lot of players nowadays putting the red airmine bomb to the outside of the base to try and wipe your healers out before you even get into the base.
And those wall breakers from the troop launcher are actually opening up the town hall compartment. Won't go for it because it is over. Does activate. Locking onto this healer soon.
Is going to the outside here, Carbon, because the king hasn't quite splitting in the middle. That's the issue. You don't quite have that funnel. One of the Root Riders running for the defending minion prince. What's going to happen with this town hall?
Yeah.
Lola 9 body heroes
There is a freeze onto him and the multi. Out comes a headhunter, which goes to the Royal Champion. Oh, but she goes invisible. Luckily, it then retargets after her because that would have been deadly. The RC would have been slowed down so much.
Usually triple
secure that town hall, but still has the king and
98
attacked as they are moving through this bottom side.
Has the defense
people चाहिँ हान्दैन तर खतरा हान्छ
हामी बोलिरहेको के सूर्य मुला युट्युब छ र कलमा
छ के म्युट हानेर बस्नु
It's just gonna use that wall as he's gonna try to continue to path around, but it does not look like it's gonna be into the 90s as well. So the percentage is staying close here in this match. One slip up.
Absolutely, the pressure is so high for the players on the big stage as well, where you can see your opponent. Maybe the experience we've been talking about from them to the first 3-star. But you've got to say, Millicim MG hanging in there as well. Anyone can win this war at the moment as we hit the halfway mark.
Experience here. Again, zero a stage experience for
Well,
these players. They deserve to be here. They're trying to take down one of the most favorited teams in this competition. Not only just win all this weekend.
Well, here's something you want and keep excitement for this war. You could say that Max was the MVP of it. He's already attacked. Net 4x. The MVP of MMG. He is still
so-called
see whether Leo get the first 3-star of this war. And
बेस म्याच गरिदिन्छु मलाई गोल चाहिँ लिदिनु है
ए
साथी मैले ल्याए हैन गोल पास यो कति भइसक्यो
So keep your eyes peeled for that. As we are seeing the Royal Champion charging the from the top side. The 8 total invis trying to time the Spirit Fox invisibility. And he does have the earthquake, but where's the town hall? Far away.
त्यो ट्रिगर गर्न
Kind of use the invis early because you don't want that town hall launching any shots at your World Champion. But in this case, far away from the RC, so he's trying to use that Spirit Fox timing as well. Push this RC.
Expected her to go to the most, and then she just went up to that extra builder hut, but managing to use an overgrowth does mean he doesn't have that to deflect damage for the Root Riders. Getting the RC into the core and getting made the defenses down. It's definitely a more important play.
Major
Look at
defense
that,
hote tani ko
Lava
dele.
how coming into the top
ए
side
पोइजन
of the
टावर
air
को
defense
लागि
popping right
tower.
there. Notice some air
आम्मामामामामा।
skellies. And then we
कस्तो
will
यस्तो
have
दिमाग
the
कसरी
healers
लाउँछ
going to
यार
be able to be deployed onto
Why
those
is it
अब यो
Really?
ले
riders.
पुग्छ त मुला तिमीहरू जस्तो हो त नयाँ
I
फेरि
think
वाक
maybe he's
मात्र
trying to
हान्ने
test for tornado trap maybe in that area.
यो सिनियर
He's
लास्ट
gonna
दामी रहेछ
continue to
क्या
push his way off to the right.
खतरा
Also,
पासिङ
he's
बना
gonna
छ
test for
पासिङ
air
त खतरा
bombs,
गरेछ
taking
बे
tests for
रुटको लागि
seeking air mines, all that to try to protect those healers through
टाउनल
this
टाउनल
area.
वाले एरिया
Yeah, you
टाउनल
notice
वाले
the Queen
एरिया नै
helping
छ
with that
बहिर
defensive funnel, but he hasn't actually
बल
deployed
ब्लास्टै
the
अगाडि गएर
Barbarian
फेर
King
हेर न
yet.
बल
Just
चाहिँ
worried a
परियो
little bit about that damage.
केटाहरूले कुन म्याचको हेर भन्यो भने यार म यहाँ इन्टरनलको फर्किन्छु
होइन हौ वर्ल्ड च्याम्पियनसिपको
ड्युटी हेरेर
यसले क्रोजर मोटर डिस्ट्र्याक्ट हुने यार फ्रिजै भन्नु
सुरेको म्याच छ थाहा होला नि फेरि 9 बजे
I love that planning. Really
तिमीले
nice.
दौड राम्रो काम
Using the
गरेर
distraction of the King
चेक
on the
गरेर
first order, and the troop launch is continuing the launch.
यो त टिमर होला त है
Avoiding that channel zone through that gigabomb as it continues through. The roll
आरसी अगाडि हुन्छ अब आरसी
गोल्ड स्टोरेजलाई हेर्नु पर्छ यार त्यसले गोल्ड स्टोरेजलाई इग्नोर हान्यो भने त टाइम फेल भयो
Yeti might jumping over.
गोल्ड
Hey,
स्टोरेज
hey,
पनि
hey,
हो।
मित्रो स्पटर
फेल हो
Ricochet
कि बोल्दा हुँदैन
those do indeed stay up, but he still has a queen and
एउटा
king ability
फेलै हो
to
तर
attack.
यो त
He certainly does. He's
रुट
got
राइडर मरेन
barbarians
भने त
trying
हुँदैन हौ
bottom
ए
side
मलाई
of the base,
कत्रो
but
डिफेन्स
spring
पाइसक्यो
traps
यार
are leaving them alone. Here we go into
दुईटा
the
हिल
base.
छ बे
Is he going to use those hero abilities? We've still got time.
क्विनले
What
खास
is the
दिँदैन हेर
storage?
किङले चाहिँ हल्का हल्का हाफ हेल्थ हाल्ने क्विन बाहिर बाहिर नाच्ने अब
Make sure time's not a factor with that.
स्टार
Depending
हुनु
Wait,
minions.
what?
बाहिरबाट
Plan,
नाच्नु
yeah,
भइगयो
what?
होला
Esports,
Nikkaiले
thankfully at the
हान्थी
moment,
झन्डै
keeping away from these troops.
कस्तो
तर पनि
अलरेडी किन हाले बे यसले
Oh, it barely stays up. He does have two super buffs. He sends one of them. He
गोल्ड
notices
माइन
it.
देखाइदियो
Defensive
यो
mini
त
turns there
ट्रिपल
is
हो
going to be
अब
a little bit of a
कहाँबाट
push.
ट्रिपल
Be
दिएछ
a
हौ मलाई
distraction
Time,
for
time,
that
time
queen as he
हुन्छ
starts
हुँदैन
to push through these
मिनियन
final
हान्न जान्छ
minions
नि
on the
अब
backside.
मिनियन
But
हान्न
unfortunately,
कुलोन गायब भइगयो
just won't
ए
have
यार
enough time.
कस्तो
So
खतरा
we're
हाने
gonna
थियो
have our
तर
first time a
ट्रिपल थियो
fail.
यार
It's not going to be a three.
यार
97% for Leo. A great percent.
ठ्याक्क
They're
म
in
जस्तो
the
हान्दो रहेछ
lead.
मुलाले
But again, the window is open for
अलिअलि
Millicene
फरक
and
फरक
the
हान्दो
G.
रहेछ
And of course, their clutch
पारा त
attacker, the
मुलासँग
one who's going to be
मिलाउँछ
attacking
केटोले
last in this match, Ness 4X, still has his attack left.
ओइ ल केदारको नम्बर 1 मा त देबै तिमीहरुको के हो यस्तो
ए अनि मलाई बेस म्याक्स त हानिहाल्छ
मेरो
नि
म्याच
क्या
थिएन नि
Given what we talked about at the start, the experience, maybe they would have thought they'd have got a 3-star on
वारमा
the board
स्किल
by
लेभलले
now.
गर्दैन
And the
नि त वारमा
CMG
स्किलले
being as
गर्दैन नि
close
त
as they
र्याङ्किङ
are,
देशको
having their MVP left in the pocket as well, that's
पिसी लेभलले
a
गरे
good
त
spot
बयान
to be
लास्टमा
in for
भइहाल्थ्यो
them,
नि
to be honest.
हैन
So I feel like this is really difficult to call. The pressure mounting
Last
on
one
अनि
these
यार
Yeah.
players.
विवेक दाइले
They've got
यस्तो
the
खतरा
experience,
भ्यालु
they've
लिएर नि
got the
कसरी
talent
हगे बे
to make it happen. The ball goes back across to Millicene MG's court now, though. Man, what a set of attacks we have. Now,
पर्सेन्टमा अडी रहेछ
we
एलिमेन्ट
are going to see a knot taken on Leo.
ल ल अब सुजनको बेसले डिफेन्ड हान्छ कि नै
So close with that
हान्दैन?
ल है ल
time
ए
fail
मेरो
in his
फेल
hit.
ढुक्क
As
ल
a
म्या
knot
बेसी चिन हान्न
is
बिर्सेको
coming
रहेछु
in
त्यो यार
with
दादाहरू
a sip
थाहा
of
नि मलाई
coffee.
यस्तो भन्दा भन्दा थाहा थियो मलाई
होइन बे कस्तो यार मैले हिजो फायरबल हानेको भनेर मैले अघि बेसी हान्न लाँदै तर फायरबल त हानेर रहेछु कि आज
Going off to the far right side as the RC is going to charge
देवे
to
त
the right.
ओइ ओइ
Rocket
बाहिर
will
जा
take
बाहिर
out
जा बाहिर जा बाहिर जा
the
डिफेन्स हो
and the RC is kind of getting
एडी
pulled
भिन्छ
away
जा अब
into the air skellies.
एडी भिन्छ जा
Yeah, that was
उतै जा उतै जा उतै जा उतै जा परै जा परै जा परै जा
just means he has to invest that one extra
Down
boost
nice.
of the blade there next to the top.
यार यो यार
Tornado trap.
बाहिर
He's
बाहिर
going
गयो
to be able to get that down, but he has
टाउन
invested quite a lot
टाउनल
in
नि
his
सोचेको थियो होला
spells, managed to get what he wanted though, and kept the spirit fox alive. Nice job there as he will have the spirit fox, like you mentioned, staying alive.
यो
and
मैले लियोलाई बेस्ट
realize
ल्याएको
that
त्यो के हो तिमीले
डिफरेन्ट हो
later in the attack.
डेभिड दाइ
Seeking air mine,
डेभिड दाइ बोले हो
trying to protect the
Aynen.
healers once he deploys them. The king is going to the top.
Yeah.
Rocket Loons, Ice Cold, and a Furnace do come out of the defending
Oh.
clan council. Pairs in that
Also,
poison now.
oh,
Redeploying
म
that
त
raw
डेभिड
champion
दाइको
double
आवाज
kill.
सुनिरहेको
Defensive clan castle, but he's trying to continue his way
अस्ति
through.
भर्खर भने
Yeah,
दानी
the Barbarian King was
डेभिडको
stuck on the
भित्र
wall there, trying to get
यो
through to the
उमेशको
enemy
भित्र
queen.
त्यस्तै छ
Everyone
भनेर
was then inside the poison, and the spiking ability was
बिर्स्यो।
used. Trying to
ओइ
stop
वान
that
स्टार
push
हान्नु
into
न यार
the
सुमन
base.
चोल्टी
I feel like that was
मलाई
a
कहिले
really
भन्यो
bad
के
point
थाहा
moment.
मलाई म त
Got the
अन्डरग्राउन्ड थिएँ
overgrowth, but he's
यार
like,
तिमी
वाणी
त्यो
जताको
हो मिला भने त्यो हो
not
मिला
on the
भने त्यो
outside, the root riders can split at this point.
तर विकेट
यो
टिप्न तान्छ यार
डेभिडको भोइस चाहिँ उमेशको भोइस सेम
उयो,
सेम
उयो,
थियो नि
उयो,
हामीले अस्ति नै
ओइ 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 जा 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 तल जा तल जा मर मर
There is the
the
मरिसक्यो
overgrowth. Maybe
मिनियन
the queen
प्रिन्स
can come back around, but unfortunately,
अब
their
अब
plan is, you can
अब
see
जे
how
गर्छ
he's
फर्नेसले
reacting
गर्छ है
there. He's trying to continue this
अब जे
push
गर्छ
through
फर्नेसले
the
गर्छ
top
केटा
side, but at the end of the day,
इजीको
it's a two
इजीको
star.
फर्नेस
They're
हेर न
not
2
gonna
स्टार
win
त आउँछ
100%. So as
ढुक्क हराउँछ
long as
guys.
they can
त्यो
drive
फन्डेसले त लिदिहाल्यो नि अब ड्रागनले हल्का हेल्प
Selena
घटाइदियो
to a two
लियो
star,
ट्विस्टर त लियो
they still have a shot.
They certainly do, and he's doing everything he can to drive that
एकछिन
percentage
त
up.
बुझ्नु चाहिँ गयो होला
Notice the overgrowth now off in the center of base, but that's not going to be too big of an issue for his troops moving around. Honestly, I think he's still going to get into the 80s here, or at least close to it. So it keeps them close. But like you said, they've been falling behind on percentage throughout this war. I think they can accept they're not going to win the percentage game at this point unless something drastic happens. So they are really holding out for that 3-star at the end.
ल यसले
But
त
it's still
हरि
possible,
भगिदियो त यार
still a likelihood.
They're putting pressure
Clean up
on
भएको राम्रो हान्छ यार।
Ness. And believe it or not, Ness, who will be attacking after the next attacker, either Bernal or Celino, Ness's first game that he's ever played was Clash.
MMG को क्लोजर फेरि
The very
बब्बाल
first
छ नि
game
फेरि
he's ever played. And look at this now. He's on a main stage and he's one of the best attackers and Mr.
उनीहरूले
Clutch
पुस
winning
पुस
the
हान्छ
Dark
यार
Horse Award. So you're going to be
सक्यो,
putting
सक्यो।
all that
NMG
pressure
गयो।
onto your
को
close.
हो म्याच 4 नम्बर
For
4
Millicent
नम्बर हेरिरहेको
MG,
इनिमिनले
good
हान्दैछ
luck as he's trying to rack up just a little bit.
मार्क हान्नु
4
पर्छ
नम्बर हेरिरहेको थिएँ मार्क हान्नु पर्यो नि त मार्क हान्ने त्यो
Even if he
त्यहाँ के
does
काम
grab these few
त्यत्रो
buildings, the defense
अन्त हो
percentage is
Third
still
with
not
Anand, yeah.
anywhere near what they need. So at this point, they're just going to be
भएन
looking to get that single triple.
This is how legends are born.
Super weak
That's
हान्नु
correct.
थियो
Ready to step up at the end for Millicent MG, but we're back across to
Rage,
Elevate now.
rage, rage,
They
rage.
still have 2 attacks remaining. Should they 3-star in any one of these 2 attacks,
तीनटा
they
स्पेल
pretty
वेस्ट
much
हान्ने
got this
रेज
one
मात्र
in
खाले
the
हुन्थ्यो
bag.
11
That's
स्टार
all
नि
it
हान्दैन
takes.
क्या हो
One triple from them.
Raven
They
also
can
data
take
like
a
that.
deep breath.
हानिहाल्छ
But if
नि
their
यार
next one fails,
अहिले
the
हेर्न
door
सेलिनोले यस्तो
opens,
खतरा
and
क्लच
then
हान्छ
if Ness 4X
11
gets that
स्टार
triple,
11 स्टार
Elevate
हान्नु
एउटा पनि
पर्छ
दिन्छ
यार।
हाल्दैन।
ओइ ल
get a
ओइ
3-star
क्वीन
in
एबिलिटी
order to win
Queen
the
गयो।
match. There's so many scenarios
Oh,
that can
Are
play
finger
out
पनि
right
गयो
here.
क्या,
It's a
finger पनि गयो।
roller coaster, and that's what this weekend's going to be. A roller coaster of attacks, a roller coaster of emotions.
ओइ ओइ
एकदम
Here we
सेफ
go. Bernal
एकदम सेफ
actually
ट्विस्ट अरे
taking
हो
on
Bernal,
Nas
Bernal.
4X's face. Here was Nas 4X is trying his best to
वर्णन त
stop
देखिन्छ
him from
हाँस्नु
getting a
देखियो यार
3.
अर्कै देखिन्छ त
And they're just hoping at least it's 99.
Bernal
Just do
होइन यार,
not be
हाम्रै
at
उछल्दा
100%
यार।
is what
होइन
they
क्या
are
मुला
hoping for.
अस्तिको
Bernal
पटमा
and
Okay,
जस्तो
same
जस्तो
as-
चेन्ज छ हेर न
get
निरव
that triple.
अनुहार
Can he do it? And
हजुर
he has
अनुहार
the
हल्का
low
चेन्ज छ क्या
range to
वर्णनको
use.
उछप जस्तो देखिँदैन क्या
Going in with that approach, using
Oh,
the
man.
Archqueen and Grand Warden, exactly what we've
यसपालि
seen.
चाहिँ
from
देखिँदैन
the
क्या
अर्को
अस्तिको
Millicent
पटमा
मेरो
चाहिँ
मेरो
देखियो
वाइफै
Heading
मेरो
right
वाइफै
into the
अड्क्यो
enemy heroes there. Ice Golem to freeze Headhunter in, so well
कहाँ अड्क्यो खोइ मेरोमा
controlled
चलिरहेको
at
छ हौ
the
मस्त
moment.
आवाज मात्र आइरहेछ बे यो वार्डेनको इक्विपमेन्ट देखाएर बसेछ
Because right now the
केमा
Archqueen
यो
is
स्ट्रिङ
defense
चेयरमा
चल्यो चल्यो
targeting Judo.
वार्डेन होइन कुकुर हो मुला
Past that 30-second period,
फेरि
mentionable
अड्क्यो
for
अब
all
आरसीको
buildings.
देखायो
And the
अनि
nice
फेरि
thing
अड्क्यो
with those boogers from the
Let's see
sneeze, you
next
can
process
actually
Niro
avoid
भने
those
तर।
traps and try to protect the
आरसी नै
healer.
हाने होइन
As
कहाँ
this
आरसी
one
देखायो
is locking onto the
हल्का
crush mortar.
5 सेकेन्ड जति ढिलो भयो क्या मुला सुनेको
Does he continue to invest more?
Yes,
Even if
goes
he
again,
does, he
Niro.
can even grab the minion prince. No, minion prince.
एउटै हेरौँ न
goes
केटा
on those multis.
हेरौँ न
Grabs around. Oh, okay, good.
पुऱ्याएर के हेरेर
Trap as well. Not too
मैले
bad.
स्ट्रिङ गरेछ
Yeah, I guess
स्ट्रिङ
he
पनि
wants both of
गर्दै
them
हो
actually. Getting that tornado
Give me a
trap
head
is
there.
good, and it does mean it sets that
Oh.
defense
Niro
up
पनि
quite
यस्तो छ
nicely.
कि यार।
Out of invis, so has to use
Oh,
the
भने।
freeze once the defending minion
Data-
prince is down.
data
Obviously, a lot of
देखाएको
damage
मलाई।
on the board. Really wants that
मैले
multi
डाटाले हेर्दा
target.
चाहिँ यहाँ दुई
मैले
सय
पहिला
MB
डेढ
को
सौ भन्छ अहिले म फास्ट
ए वार्डेन एबिलिटी जान्छ क्या हो
ओइमा ओइ ओइ
Healing
कहाँ हाने
up.
त
Keeps the
रिकल त
mortar
राम्रो हाने
alive.
यार
तर यसले
Use him in this push now with the
वाइल्ड
roots.
टाइम उस
Yeah,
गरे
super important because you notice the rage
Wait, wait, wait,
spell,
Warden.
or the rage
Warden.
aura, sorry,
What?
as part of that equipment, that is going to be
Ah,
boosting
कसम।
not just the root riders and the damage of his troops, but the healing
Warden
of the
हिँडाउने यार
healers
केटा हो
throughout the raid.
वार्डेनलाई हिले नहानेको
Gigabyte,
नि
no
त
weights right
गयो
there.
अब वार्डेन एबिलिटी गयो अब
Warden
Still
गयो भने त
hanging on to
सक्यो
that Warden Eternal Tome as rocket loops are coming off from the
कस्तो
right.
बच्यो भने आम्मामामामा मर्ने थियो
Okay.
आरसी मर्यो
आरसीको ल दामी एबिलिटी हाने है आरसीको एबिलिटी गरेर
अटोको अब मलाई कहाँ एबिलिटी हाने
Final remaining rocket spear shots.
Yeah, I feel like maybe if he'd have got the
कति म्याच
वार्डेनलाई
Eternal Tome
जल्दी
in
हिले
earlier,
हान्दैन
he could
त
have held on to
वार्डेन
that
मऱ्यो
rocket
भने
spear,
अट्याक
but it does
सकिन्छ
mean she's able to pop across to that multi-target
Oh,
inferno.
yeah.
She is now being healed from the
Fuck it,
healers,
it's
which is
still
pretty
okay.
critical since
Well,
she
bye,
doesn't
bye,
have
bye,
a huge
okay,
amount
bye.
of hit points, and you can
Ah,
notice
still
she's
on it.
faster than the root
Heal
riders,
attack.
so that's where she gets ahead, and unfortunately now gets
आरसी
sniped off
अगाडि
by
अगाडि
the
उभिँदै
wall.
जान्छ यार
And the red air bombs are there.
Oh,
They are
somebody
hitting the
said-
troops. They're hitting the
कसम
main
मिलिसिमले
healers.
अब
That did
ट्रिपल
hit
हान्ने हो
the
नि त
sneezy there. So
Wait,
unfortunately he
triple
went
हान्यो
down.
gotta
Trying to
go.
get
हुन्छ बे
through the poison did get launched. He's powering through the enemy
Oji
RC,
khuli aba
trying to
inna
take her down the
Mario
king.
Warden
Still
गयो
has his ability. Powering in the
Bacha,
giant
bacha.
is there
Bacha,
for him, but
bacha.
छोड़ दी
time
रहा है
is an issue. 30 seconds remaining here, Judo.
Oh, that ricochet cannon in the middle. If the Royal
Person
Champion
मा
had
चाहिँ
got
elevate
that, that's
अगाडि
providing
हुँदैन
so much damage onto the heroes with that extra damage in esports mode, and it's just meant that he
Elevate
hasn't
solve
been able to
90
reach it, being in that deeper compartment.
I'm not
He's still
ready.
got the king
Avanza.
ability, which is going to drive that percentage up.
टाइम फेल हो यार यो
Oh my goodness,
Oi,
98!
oi, oi, oi. Amma, mama.
That ricochet
झन्डै
cannon,
triple हान्ने छ त
even called it
क्यानन
99%.
क्यानन त त्यो जायन्टको रेन्ज पनि पुग्दैन यार
ओ यार नि त जाइड नै हान्छ कि भने त ल ओइ
99%.
रेन्ज भन्नु त
And that's
वालको क्लोजमा भए किन हुन्थ्यो यार वालको क्लोजमा भए
percentage is nowhere on their
दिन
side.
खराब
So
छ
the door
एलिभेटको
is still
एलिभेटले
open.
उठाउँदैन वर्ल्ड च्याम्पियनशिप
Ladies and gentlemen, Ness 4X,
गाह्रो छ यार
the dark horse
अब
winner,
केटा हो
the
यताबाट
one who
ट्रिपल
has
आइदियो भने
been
त सक्यो
tripling to get
कति प्रेसर भयो होला
Millicene
त्यसलाई
MG
5
to
मिनेट बाँकी छ
this
यहाँ हेर है
stage. He had to do it not once, not twice, he even did it
केदार
3
online छ
times, multiple times, just
First match
to
त
get
मिल्दैन
to
नि यार
the world
prediction.
championship. And there is no other player that you want in this
कस्तो
situation
यार हो ट्रिपल
than this
हान्दियो
man
भने
right here.
Well, we are picking him up. We're putting the pressure on, but just chill out, my friend. You have got this.
Oh,
You've done
I'm
it
ready to
time and
go.
time again. There he is.
सरोज दाइ
Do you think
Keeper
Millicene
पर्ला
MG
हान्न
would be
भनौँ
happy
यार
to be in this spot right now? Like,
Yeah.
3-star from Nez 4X, they would...
मैले अब
Feeling
मेरो
out
हान्छु
there.
क्या
Absolutely. When you know you got Ness 4X
कति
still
लो
to
पर्सेन्ट हाने
attack
क्या रे
in
नि
this
मेनले त
situation, they would take it 100 out of 100
उताबाट
times.
सुलभले लो
But
हान्छ
we
त
are seeing
Let's
ourselves
go,
10
Ness.
invises,
पर्दै
15
पर्दैन
regular
है
blue
80 एटलिस्ट 80
with a rocket loots and
ट्रिपल
the
हान्छ सरोज
pressure
दाइले कस्तो 80 न
situation.
भन न
Okay,
बोल
what
त
are
खै
you
यस्तै हो
को
doing?
यो के गरे यसले
This is
बलिङ
where legends are
Yeah,
born.
like
Well,
that.
a couple of defenses on the perimeter, so he doesn't need to use the rocket boots. He doesn't need that extra speed. He can use the
ओइ ल
regular
कति
bullets to
Yeah,
snipe
yeah.
those
ओइ
off.
ल
Set up his
No,
whip.
Psycho,
We've
yeah.
seen Fireball was at the top
Oh,
of the
yeah.
base. He's managed to hit that, but with the heroes there, getting the headhunter
Value
in
त निकाल्यो यार
very, very
यो यार
quick
फायरबलले
reactions.
हानेछ
Look how
आरसी
calm
चार्जिङ
he
हानेछ
is, given the
आम्मा
pressure that is on his shoulders.
80 त भइहाल्छ नि
He's got the
यत्रो
wall
वहाँ
nicely
पो
at the
पुगेछ
top.
त
He's got the flame flinger getting that value.
ओइ वाडेड ओइ
Uses that invis, but notice what he's doing. He's got the one fireball that already went off. He does have a poison, which will deal with the clan castle, but maybe the royal champion
चाहिँ कहाँ हान्छ
invis charge will be later in this attack because he's
Time,
multitasking.
time.
They know that it has to be a 3
Time, Fernando,
because they
time.
will not win on percent. So if it's a 1-star, it won't matter. It's totally okay if
Ah,
it's a
तो तुम दोनों
99%
रहते हैं
2 or
value
even a 1 because it's
होइन
gotta be
यार
that
यो त
triple. He's
ट्रिपल
gotta
हुनु
do
बेर
it to
छैन
put the
यार
pressure
केटा
on to
हो
elevate as we
यस्तै
are
होला
seeing
ट्रिपल
first
जस्तो लाग्छ
on the
अब
top
आरसीले
side.
राम्रो दिइहाल्छ
त्यो
अनि भिडियोज
त्यो
पनि
त्यो
हालिहाल्छ
क्विन
This is
त्यो
what
क्विन
as best
कम्बाइनेन्टबाट
as he can, and
त्यो
just
कोरको
under 2
मोनोलिथ
minutes
सोनोलिथ
remaining.
सब खाइदिनु
The
होला आरसीले
multitasking of this and
त्यो
time
फ्लेम हेर न त्यो
management
फ्लेम
as
पनि भ्यालु
well
निकालेर हेर न
is
फ्लेमले वही भेटाइको
crazy.
टाउनमा
But he's
हुन्छ होला
होइन?
combining all of the best combinations.
एक सर्ट नि हान्न पाएन बे त
त्यो टाउन सुरु
The
भयो
RC charge.
मैले जहाँबाट
But he's
हिरो
gotta
हान्छ
keep
भने
an eye
त्यहीँबाट
on
हान्ने
all of
यार
it,
अब
and
आर्चर
time
कुन
is a
साइडबाट
factor
आरसी
because he wants the flinger to work. He's done that. He wants the warden to work. He's done that, but that has cost him half of the attack.
And
Now
RC
he's got to
and
keep an eye
to
to
time
make sure he
killing.
doesn't
RC
try and fail. As he's got the heroes
And
from
no,
the bottom.
yes, Pail, sir.
Balloons cruising ahead of the warden.
ए हान्न
Actually pulls the warden to the
होइन ठिकै हुन्छ हौ 1 मिनेट मात्रै स्टार्ट गरेपछि
Now you notice the royal champion dive to the top.
Here we go.
आरसीमा रकेट दिएको हुँदैन
Here
र
we go. The
त्यही नै
queen
हेर
is
यसलाई
Okay,
ट्रिपल
okay.
अब
Town
अब
Hall, the
क्विन
royal
गार्ड
champion is
दिइहाल्छ
charging her way
नाइस
to the top. She is moving through,
Down on
trying
the
to
queen
time the
lady,
Spirit
hello.
Fox and the RC at the same time.
Sorry, got any
Juggling
activate.
the king and queen,
हान्छ
but
के अगाडि
and
त्यहाँ
he's still juggling the
Triple
rules
यार
as
यो।
he's
यसो
charging his
काहीँ
way
फेल भएन
ओइ
नि त
ओइ ओइ के गरे यिनी आरसी हेर
through.
आरसी
Triple for Millicene MG.
ट्रिपल हो बे
50 seconds.
अब यो
Come on,
विजार्डमा जान्छ विजार्डमा जान्छ विजार्डमा
He's got a
जान्छ
couple of minions to clean up.
Can now,
He's
Mila.
got invisibility spells, so the RC will go to the center of the base there, redirecting.
ओइ यार यो त टाइम पुग्यो ट्रिपल हो
Far right of the
Okay,
base. That
okay.
could be a
आउँदैन
little
हौ
issue for
कि त
him.
फेल कि
टाइम
त
पुग्यो
ट्रिपल हो
भने
क्या यो
ट्रिपल
Through the middle.
के छ
The
बाँकी
RC
अब
will get pulled to the wizard
Triple
tower.
हो,
She can get
triple
over there and
हो
help
यार।
clean up as well, but he has to get through this.
Parang
He's
marami
going
idea.
down. He's trying to get through this multi.
टाइम
टाइम
पुग्यो
पुग्यो
भने फ्री हो है टाइम
अनि
पुग्यो भने
भयो
फ्री हो
टाइम फेल हो कि मलाई त बाहिरको बिल्डिङ कसले लिदिन्छ र
यहाँ एउटा विजार टावर कस्तो रिलिभ गरेँ नि त म यहाँ विजार
के
टावर
भने ओइ 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 हात देखायो त ए आरसी मरे क्या हो
टाइम पनि पुग्थेन हौ मलाई
नाइकी विजार टावर होइन म वाल ब्रेकर र उसले थियो के मिनियनले
भयो भयो यिनीहरू अब पब्लिकमा यसै पनि पछाडि छन्
तर तर कडा ओइ ओइ ल आरसी भए त आउने रहेछ ओइ आयो क्या
99
आरसी भए त आउने रहेछ यार Right.
What an attack he had. 15 regular balloons. We don't see that.
सुतनली जब लो पर्सेन्ट फेल हुन्छ तब क्लोज जान्छ क्या
So close, and he needed that one more golden
अनि
bunny.
जहिले ट्रिपल भन्ने बेला चाहिँ
Same for
लो
Elevate,
पर्सेन्ट
the 99 from them. It could go both ways.
Can
अनि सरोज दाइको अट्याक हेरौँ न
हालेको मिनियन दा यार त्यसरी नफाल्नु न यार
got it.
पोइजन दिनु पोइजन
Feel for him, such a skilled attack.
कुनै त मिनियन कहाँ हाल्नु भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ
80% आउँछ
Give
इजी
an
हो
attack
इजी
like that, a shot.
कहाँ छ मिनियन नखाने ठाउँमै छैन यार
Give it what you've got to win the war. He has done that.
त्यो गोल्ड माइनिङ खाल्दिन
99%. Now
भनिदिनु न सरोज
we
दाइ
have Celine.
सुतन भाइले 80 मात्र माग्यो भएर यति मात्र हान्यो भनेको
26 percentage points in the lead. Which
ये छ 60 नै हाल्नु सक्दैन भन्दै थियो
73
त्यही नै ढोक्क ट्रिपल हो क्या खाना त्यो न
4%
ओइ
to
सर
start
त
win
यो त
this.
दामी हान्नु भयो फेरि सबभन्दा हाइएस्ट पर्सेन्ट
I feel like this is one of the most intense possible wars we've ever seen here.
ओहो यो केराले
With the Super Yetis as well. And we have a lava hound, so we saw that earlier as well.
सबभन्दा थोरै त मेरो
Trying to get out front to test for those traps, protect the healers, pull in a tornado trap,
बिरानको के हो भने
really protect that
ओइ ल
Jordan is slowly working his way through this left side to set up that
के
funnel.
लान्छ क्या हो
के हो यस्तो
Cannot take the risk of getting that one
यो
star.
पो छ त यार क्रिएटिभ त
74% to start.
तर आर्सी मऱ्यो क्या
You're hitting that town hall. Get the
आर्सी
overall.
माऱ्यो भने जित्यो नि
I feel like this war is a
ओइ ल
Yeah.
किङको इक्विपमेन्ट हेर्नु न
where they know their opponents. They can do
ल
so much
वाइडिनको
research,
लाइभ जिम लिएर
build the bases specifically for those players, and that's where you see those difficulties coming in as well. But so many amazing attacks here.
और दाइले त्यत्रो मिहिनेत गरेर कामै लागेन यार
Got it. Just chilling at the moment with that warden. Again, like I said in Nez 4X's attack, just
पार्टी
able
बनाउने
to
यार
do his job. Set that funnel.
ओइ ल केदारले फेरि 59% हानेछ
पर्सेन्ट त हाम्रो डिसेन्ट छ त यहाँ सबैजनाको
केदारको पर्सेन्ट हेर्नु नि त्यहाँ
Values to start to
लामो
grab
जिम्मी म्याच
that
नै
to
हराइदियो यार
protect the smash through, kind of waiting for that poison spell to disappear.
लेजेन्डिङमा हाने यस्तरी हान्छ यार
RC continue now through the bottom. Ice Cold will freeze up the bottom section as the defensive RC is going down. We'll have to take on that clan castle delayed as he's through to the core. We have
ठीक हान्ने नि यार केदारलाई यार यस्तो मान्छे अझ क्रिस्टल लिगमा हाल्यो भने त रुन्छ यार
which is very nice as he does pair in an early rage to really power through this bottom side with that defensive mini.
यो माछाले आर्ट त मरिहाल्ने रहेछ यार यो मलाई के स्पोर्ट्स मोड हो कि के हो यार
Get it done because that is such a dangerous defense. Look at the
केटा हो जिताइदियो क्या यार जिताइदियो क्या हो
with the
उइ जिताइदियो क्या हो
to the town hall.
जित्यो म्या जित्यो
Also got the red air mine farm pop there. So
ओइ
it's
जित्यो
हामीले
using
जित्यो
the warden ability section and the RC to set the defensive funnel.
दुई बिल्डिङले जित्यो त
Just
ल
continue moving into the center of the base.
सर मैले दामी हाने क्या सर दाइले दामी हाने भएर जित्यो
Yeah, Super Hogs making their way up
Yeah,
the right.
man,
The
yeah,
Rocket Spear and
not
the
even.
CHL of the RC have skipped through.
Right,
Still powering through the Super Yetis
सब
situation
सब
top.
सबसे धेरै
We've got
पर्सेन्ट
the
सुतनको
Queen
भने
ability
चाहिँ
still
कस्तो
intact. A
खतरा
couple
किन यार
invis is
अनि
left.
यस्तो हो कि क्याप्टेन जिताउँदा फ्रन्ट भन्छ कि यसलाई
Who is, can he get three? But the
ओइ ल
really
जित्यो है
feelings
जित्यो
off the
एलिभेटले
right, then he
जित्यो है
can still
11 ट्रिपल हान्दियो होइन
ट्रिपल होला
टाइम पुग्दैन
There it is, my friend.
ट्रिपल हो यो
Elevate.
तर सेलिनमा त अति सेलिनमा त अति खतरा लाग्छ यार मलाई
Victory
टाइम
over
पुग्दैन कि
CMG.
Beautiful job.
ल
by
ओइ
Celine.
सुपर हो कहाँबाट
Like
ल्या
you said, using
इज
that
भेरी
rage spell
time
early,
puग्यो।
just
हाते
making
ह्यान्ड
sure
गऱ्यो
he's
त
taking
फेरि
any risks, get that
टाइम पुगेन कि मलाई
percentage.
ठिकै छ ठिकै छ पर्सेन्टमा
Close to the
जितिसक्यो
3
क्या अरे
stars.
होइन हेर न मलाई फर्स्ट म्याचमा एउटै ट्रिपल आएन कतिको
Elevate have been consistent across each of those attacks. So you have
यो
to
मलाई
say
पुरै कस्तो ल्याएको
जङ्गियो जङ्गियो जङ्गियो
88% to stars on.
मलाई त सिन्देर यस्तो मजा आउँथ्यो हौ
Elevate and they will progress on to the next
छँदै छैन कि सिन्देर त अहिले
Elevate proving their dominance here.
तर सिन्देर के छ होला कि केही न केही चाहिँ
Golden tickets, which you only
Boy,
need
man,
one to
sorry.
get here, but they did it twice, and they took it on percentage.
हजुर
What a, I don't think that's the craziest tournament score ever, and it was to match.
तिम्रो किन यस्तो ल्याग भएको यार
But hey, you get a victory is a victory. Yes, just like a 3 stars, a 3 star victory is a victory. You take it.
हाम्रो स्मुथ चल्ला
victory out, and that was a tough match. Both
तपाईँको नेट स्लो हाम्रो स्मुथ चल्ला
such an incredible performance. Like you said, it's 10 stars.
कति
That was
क्वालिटीमा छ
amazing.
भनौँ न
I
यस्तो
thoroughly
दिन
enjoyed that.
अनि क्वालिटी त दामी छ तर साँच्चै भने क्वालिटी दामी नै होइन
Was there. I think MMG
यार क्वालिटी त ओपी छ
themselves
यार
do well in this tournament. We will see them later today, but Elevate keeping things calm, collected, And let's hear from them with thanks.
If that is any indication of what these matches are going to be like today, we're in for a pretty incredible show over on the main stage. I got Max here from Elevate joining me. We're just saying, at the start of the show, I said, start as you mean to go on. Managed to secure your first win here on the main stage. That's got to feel good.
He was heavily got going at the end, no matter.
Rising in the beginning, wasn't it? 2-star after 2-star. Everyone could feel the atmosphere start to change in the room. Communication between you guys, was it all just really quiet, or were you trying to keep motivated?
Esports man.
We were happy when we saw we were getting the defenses. We for our attacks. That's all.
Max, we kind of have to focus in now because as you can breathe a sigh of relief from getting that first win on stage, you're through to tomorrow, so you can breathe that one out. I do have to ask you, I don't want to ask any, if you got any tricks up your sleeve,
elevate lucky भन्नु कि MMG unlucky भन्नु
you
यार
would either possibly be
हैन दुईटैले यस्तै हो कि यो मेटा हेर्दै यस्तै खालको क्लोज फ्लो जान्छ अनि
who do you think
यस्तो भइदिएको उस्तो भइदिएको
सम भन्छु बुमले 12 स्टार त हान्छ
I love both of the teams. Product Gaming are obviously
Only
the
बाह्र
range
भने तल त हान्ने
carry esports out. They're all very strong as well.
Max, that's a great answer, so I'll give you that one. Thanks very much for joining me on the main stage. Wait right there. We'll see you guys tomorrow, but for now we're going to head back over to the desk to break down that incredible match.
Very well put by Max. Like he said, they got the victory.
Next को त last world championship पछि हरि ब्लड भएको
post-match stats for you, so we can break that war down, and we also have Itsu with us as well, so that you can help and give us a little bit of insight as to how it felt sitting and watching that matchup.
I mean, it was electrifying. That is for sure. We had the crowd going crazy. We had so many close attacks, and then I mean, that's for X. That attack was incredible. I feel like that is even more difficult than the classic Warden charge, which is already really challenging to do, Carl.
Yeah, it's insane. He was able to pull that off 99%, but if we look at Elevate, this is 99, 98, 97, two times they're in the match, so Elevate could have the exact same story of we were so close and not pulling away with the triple, but what an incredible score. 10 to 10, still a roller coaster of emotions. And if that is a lead-in to this World Championship, it's going to be an incredible weekend.
97, 97, 99, 98.
Sell how good that matchup was. When you look at total destruction, just incredible. But also the caliber of the
15 minute
I
रेबी
think
second match
we
लाई
thought we would see a lot of Royal Championship. We saw a lot of variety there as well, which I think was quite refreshing.
यो 15 मिनेटमा 5 मिनेटको प्रिपरेसन दिने जोडेर
we have seen how that trap can really turn around attacks. And it feels like the workaround is this queen and Warden charge. And they were close. I mean, it really was close on those different attacks.
आज राइजिङ को कोसँग हो म्याच सुचन
Bracket overall.
Yes, with the bracket now, Elevate advancing to
टिमहरुको
the
कोसँग हो
next round,
Easier.
which means that Millicom MG are going down to the lower bracket. They're not out of the competition. They still have another life, but it is going to be a tough road through the bottom bracket, and then have to get to the grand finals and this bracket reset. Such a difficult road there, but the MVP voting is in. Soleno taking it 26%, and Nas4X so close. He would have won it if he got that one more building down.
It's one of those things. Soleno got the honestly, even with getting the 99 and failing, I feel he earned so many fans there, Nes4X. He just continues to go from popularity to popularity because he's so good at the game, and he just sets himself apart from other players.
युसी दाइले ट्रिपल हान्नु पर्यो क्या हराउनलाई तपाईं नहग्नु न
He's talking 98, he's a 99.
के हो हिजो 98 आयो अब 97 होला
Knowing that you have such a player on the spot is such a relief for just the mental
यो
state
यो
of
यो
the match.
इभेन्ट एउटा केटा हो
के हो भन्दाखेरि त्यो अलिकति के रे फिजिकल हतमा दियो लाग्यो
यो इभेन्टमा हेरौँ न वेस्टल्यान्ड रम्बल भन्थ्यो क्वीनको स्किन आउनु नि यार गोल्ड पासमा
किङको हेर न किङको पनि
किङ त मन परेन क्वीनै दामी छ
आरसीको दिन्छ नि रे आरसीको दिन्छ निस्किने
हो यार फिस होइन यार त्यो पछाडिको त्यो दिन्छ त्यो मुसा त्यो झन् लोदर छ
किङ दियो भने मजा आउँथ्यो यार किङको राख्ने भने चाहिँ किङको त
रिवार्ड केटा तिमीलाई गेममा रिवार्ड आयो मलाई त आइसीको रिवार्ड
के रिवार्ड
भाइ उ आयो सुरुको ग्लोरी वर के आयो
त्यो त हिजै आएको थियो बे
के को रिवार्ड
र
ए होइन होइन हिजो साइनी आयो साइनी
अहिले खोइ ग्लोरी
त्यसको रिवार्ड केसको के गरेको रिवार्ड हो
ए मुला
यो बयनले त
लिबर्टी जितेर
यो
पोइन्ट
बयनले त डिट्टु मेरो प्रेडिक्सन थिजा छ त
अनि के पाइने नपाइनेहरु मुला we have so much in common के
ए
अबे तिम्रो हेरेर त कपी गरे हम त मुला तिम्रो सोचे हम त
कस्तो मेरो नेट स्लो हो कि के हो स्टुडियोको नेट स्लो अड्क्यो त
तिम्रो हो मुला
होइन
मेरो
छैन चलिरहेको छ यार मजाले
सुचनको कपी पेस्ट हान्ने नि जस्तो लाग्यो तर होइन
केटाहरु अड्क्यो
हजुर एक सिजनमा फेरि भने
सब धेरै जस्तोको त्यही नाभी र डिजीमै होला नि डिफरेन्ट पिक रुटिन अफ क्लास कम्युनिटीमा नि आएछ त सुरुमा चाहिँ यसले सूचना ल्याएको थियो म त सूचना देखिरहेको थिएँ यार
मैले पनि मलाई
सुजलले डिसाले हो के फेरि भन्न चाहिँ
केटा हामी स्ट्रिममा छौँ
बाले भएन नि कसैले हेरे छैन
कहाँ मुला दुश्मन टेम्पो हेरेको छु अन्त हेर्छ त मुला
एकजना भ्यू छ क्यारे हो अहिलेसम्म
लाइभ 5 भ्यू छ केटा
फेरि यो कमेन्ट हान्नेहरू फेरि लेजेन्डमा दुईटा भन्दा बेसी ट्रिपलले हान्न नसक्नेहरू होला
ओइ हाम्रो खै त सुरु भएको ए अझ 9 बजे रहेन
अब कोही पनि वाचिङमै छैन बे
Your first match is against the previous world champions RPG.
वाचिङमा छैन
वाचिङमा छोड्दै छु के मलाई
एक हो एक
For this first match.
मैले एउटा मोबाइलबाट हेरेर छोड्दिएको कि
अनि आज हाम्रो को खेल्छ त अखण्ड सुचन युसी
सेम लाइन
ए मेरो नाम भन्न बिर्सेछु
म यहाँ पिएस खेल्दै छु यार फुटबल खेल्दै छु केटा हो
यहाँ इनले ट्रान्सलेटर युज गरे
What do you say to your supporters?
很感谢对支持我们的粉丝啊，可能大部分都是还有可能美洲这边有一点点，那也很感谢你们的支持，希望我们能夺冠。
Thank you so much for answering all of the questions. Have fun out there. And all the best.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the main stage where we are
पहिला
ready
त
for our
दिउँसो 2 बजे
second
कति
match
बजे
of day
थियो
one
वर्ल्ड
here at the Clash of Clans World Finals. We are here live at Clash Fest at DreamHack
त्यसको
Atlanta,
नभन्नु न
and it's
रिपोर्टेडले
already
जित्नु
getting spicy here on the main stage. So I don't think there's any reason to waste any
यो
time.
म्याम मलाई यो क्यारी स्पोर्ट पहिला बच्चा खेल्दा थियो दुधभात प्लेयर हुन्थ्यो नि अनएक्सपेक्टेडली जित्दिने के त्यस्तै लाग्छ
So in all that time, what have they been doing?
आज नि त्यस्तै गरेर जित्छ के आज
जित्नु हुन्न यार मेरो प्रेडिक्सन रङ हुनुहुन्न नावीले जिते चाहिँ खुसी हुन्छ
रेउटा
डेन्जर छ तर के
यिनीहरू त हेर्दै टिचर जस्तो देख्छ यार साइन्स पढाउने
के त बोर्ड
यो झन् डेन
काइले हान्नु त
रिपोर्टेड अहिलेसम्म त्यो होइन अनस्पोन्सर्ड होइन
Carry Esports looking to make a dominant start here on their run on the World Finals main stage. But now it is time to meet their opponents.
Oh, Vanistar King, what's up? Welcome. Thank you, Gagati, thank you.
Clash of Clans Esports with
ओपी हाने बिदानले ओपी हाने
their roster.
Thank you. God make
2-star 70% guys.
Thank you.
यो पनि
2 star.
त्यो पनि अझ इक्वल भुलेकोमा न त 3 स्टार थियो आज
के भुलेको रे
तोतला
ओइ के भुलेको रे
रिकल
केमा हान्दै त
निकल देऊ
बिरानलाई भन्ने
MVP एटेक मा त्यहाँ जनरल
को बोलिरहेको बोली त म
Ladies and
बिरान
gentlemen,
के बिर्सेरे तिमीले
ओए पोकोसको म्याच हो यो
हामीले जिते थियौं त 2024 मा
Reported Gaming looking to maintain their prowess here on the main stage, and Carry Esports looking to make a pretty
Reported
big
Gaming
and
is
so
here.
as they take their seats and they get prepared for this war,
Kati
let's
jana
all
cha yaha
just
carry
create a bit
wala
of calm here on the main stage as we head over to
I'm
the
supporting
desk
reported,
to break
right?
it down a little bit
मनी
further.
रिपोर्टेडै हो
क्यारी त कस्तो मनै पर्दैन यो क्यारी र डिजी त मलाई मनै पर्दैन
मन नै पर्दैन कस्तो झुकेर छिर्या हो के यिनीहरू
Really showing those teams were not just preparing bases.
La,
They
la,
were
la,
preparing
la,
in
la,
the media day because really getting ready
हेर
for
न
the
अब
show.
कस्तो
But now
कसले
it is
हान्छ
a back
कुनै
to
टिम थाहा
back
हुँदैन म
with the
यार
clan war because those bases and
टिम
those
खाना भए
attacks, they have to
भयो
speak
नि
up for
त
them.
Absolutely, we can take a quick look
कुन
at
कुन
the
छ के के
stats
छ
of
केही
these
थाहा नहुने
teams from throughout
मैले
the
त
qualifiers.
वर्ल्ड
We've
च्याम्पियनसिप
already
हेर्न
seen
थाले
them
धेरै
coming
भयो
out
क्या
onto the stage, and what I feel we've seen in the first match was just how much preparation the teams have put in.
नारीहरूले जितेको बेला लास्ट टाइम मैले हेरेको
So they really can tailor things
Nice
to
man,
each
yeah.
individual
Match
player.
जितेको
They
हेरेको
have
थिएनौ
certain strategies or nuances that they do.
Yeah, and I feel like, as I said, that was really highlighted in the first match. The teams are
First World
ready.
Finals.
They have prepared.
Oh,
And
Leoको
this
पनि
means
first.
that, well, those bases are ready as well. You need to get a little bit creative to
How
really
can
put
you
them
look
and get those
at
first
me
three
and
stars because so far,
pretend
World Cups,
man
but
you
have not seen
made?
one.
Absolutely, you can see
You really
there as well one
ranking
player
there
from
is a
Reported
match with
joining
that.
their team who has never competed at the World Finals. 3 of those from Carry Esports. Will that be a determining factor? We spoke in the first match about the
La, la,
experience
la,
of
la,
Elevate,
la.
and even though they did
La,
get the
la,
victory,
la.
MMG were hot
La,
on their
la,
heels,
la.
so we will have that epic matchup. Again, you see all of these stats from the Reported gaming players. This is the offensive stats, but I feel one area that Reported shines really is their defense.
That's right. They are really good at scouting their
Rapported
opponents
go on,
and
1.9
getting
छ
those
त
bases
स्टार
built, and especially the traps. And now with the Springtrap rework, they have even more tools, which, to be honest, is quite scary if you have to face them.
Indeed. Well, they are getting dialed in. Focus. You can see General X there, team captain, led this team to victory last year, making sure he is ready for his plan, helping the team as well. One thing that was mentioned in the first matchup there when Carbon was interviewing some of the teams was how the first attacker will then become the spotter and make sure that just keeping an eye out for the rest of their team as well, because they're all here in person on comms. They can help with their attacks and just call out things that they might not see as it's unfolding.
That is right. They really want to make sure the scouting and the spotting counts as we really take a look here at the pressure of the perfection.
Yes, well, you can see that Reported Gaming, they finished second a few years back. They won it last year, etched into the trophy books as the winner. Will it be 2025? That does add that added pressure when you are a team that has been here, done it before. Carry Esports coming in as the underdog. Sometimes that's what you want on your side.
Yeah, the underdog story can be really, really powerful. We have seen it multiple times over the qualifiers where maybe the team in the end clutched it out, which were not the prediction of the fans or of the casters here. That's for sure. And you have to show up when it matters.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen Carry Esports beating Elevate when they won their golden ticket. They, knocked them down.
Ego गरेर छ कसै अरूको
So they are able
ego
to beat
गरेर छ
those
ego
top teams as well. And every team that is here is stacked in their roster. I mentioned it in the first match, but if there's anything we've learned about Clash of Clans history, it's that upsets happen, and sometimes it's not even upsets. It's just teams really performing and being ready when they need to.
That's right. And again, this might be, though, the strongest side for Reporter, because they are exactly aware of who they're going to face, can really get those traps ready, because this is the first round where you exactly know who you're going to face. After this round, you can speculate on who is going to beat the other team if you're expecting yourself to win, which I guess all of those teams are doing. Yeah, but this really is the long story where teams preparing, and this is the match where the preparation can really shine.
Absolutely. So
that's one thing that us as casters
we'll be trying, especially you being a top-level base builder, we'll be able to spot those differences, share those to the viewers as well. But I think there's just so much psychology in the game right now at this top level because everyone's expecting a certain strategy. Teams are trying to avoid that strategy, but where on the base can you actually put the bait? It's just so many mind games that go into this. I feel it's a lot more difficult than if there is just a wide variety of meta and you really don't know what people will attack with.
Yeah, the issue is like, multiple device go to those mind games. Yeah. Do you go with like, he knows that I know that he knows that how do you play this game where at some point I've seen that players just confuse themselves, unsure about their attacks, and this is not what you want to see from this high level of play. So that is exactly what we're hopefully can win those mind games. But I think we're getting ready with the match. Let's get onto the stage.
Welcome back to the main stage for what we are calling the vibe check. As you can see, I'm just not gonna lie, a few shaky hands. You know what? Temperature check.
One down, two there.
So, DreamHack Atlanta, how are we feeling about carrying
challenge
How are we feeling about robotic gaming?
Accept
Yo, into
our first match of the day, 58 potentially
other
many of the newcomers coming onto the stage, and it seems
17, 9, 5, 9
and who knows, that could have been down to experience on the main stage. Robotic gaming have that space. And we also have with a super dominant performance throughout the season so far. But you know what?
हाम्रो म्याच जितिसक्यो आजको लागि
सक्यो दाइ अब हाम्रो भोलि हुन्छ सूर्यहरुसँग सूर्यहरुसँग निरव एकछिन हाल्न त मैले कर्म दाइ छ सूर्य सरोज भाइ निनाहाङ
It's going to be a whole It's going to be amazing. We could have but for now, we want to get right into this next match. So let's head over to Judo and Itsu to take us into this match.
Let's dive right into it. Enough hype.
Rising now, match
attacks. That first wall was so epic. So many ups and downs. A roller coaster of a ride. Who will be the first player to get a 3-star at the World Finals here in Atlanta? Will it be Leo of Reported Gaming? He's going to be attacking first.
He's going in first, and he is making sure that he's the first player to get the 3-star. And we're seeing Root Riders are in, but only into support troops like the Rocket Dudes to direct that World Champion to not go into the baits.
Yeah, and maybe just trying to get even more value from the World Champion so that you don't need as many Root Riders. But actually, we do have the Archer and Grand Warden. Ice Golem, followed by that Wall Breaker. He's trying to set up the pathing for the Queen, and Grand Warden gets that second Wall Breaker in to open up that compartment so she can walk that way. Just got to keep the invis going here because the Warden is getting low on health due to those giant bombs.
That's right, and you see a lot of traps in general over there, which means the follow-up might have some baits and some traps in there as well, but so far he's looking strong with his push, taking the air defense as well out there. Warden taking some damage, but there goes the recall, and now he has the lock launcher to snipe that further in Inferno Tower.
Absolutely, look, just out of range of the precision from Leo. But we have the Ice Golem initially at the bottom just to give his heroes that little extra time to strip out those buildings before the Root Riders break walls. He can push in towards the Town Hall, freezes that early, does not want to take too much damage. There's the log launcher hitting it, and Yeti's popping out next to the Ricochet Cannon.
Can he get that Ricochet Cannon down with those Yeti mics? In there as well, stealing out of those healers, and that is never a good thing to have.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted the Queen up there. He wanted her down behind the Root Riders to provide that extra.
अनि सबैले अनि भनिसक्यो सुजन बिजी छु भन्दैछ अनि सबैले हाल्यो
Damage. What's he going to do here?
के
Because
ल
I thought he was going to move left
इगो
towards the air defense. Now he's sending
Hero
in a
time.
breaker to potentially help, but the Root Riders
अबे
splitting
गेमै
out
खोलिएन त हो
as well, despite
कस्तो
not
होला
having
नि यार ओजी ल
any healers
हिलरले
to
पनि
help.
धोका दिएछ यार बिचारालाई फेरि अड्क्यो ल सूर्य दाइको
गरिसक्यो त सबै
यार अहिले चाहिँ अड्किन्छ
He needs to take down the monolith
चल्यो
because
चल्यो
nothing can reach it. There are those rocket dunes to get it done. The
कति यार यो क्वीन र हिलरले त हरेक धोका दिएछ यार बिचारा
that can be interesting, but
इन्भी
if
ह्यान्डी
she's
ए
actually
भयो भयो
doing
उता
that,
गइहाल्यो
at the right side, it's going
नाइट
down
हो
because the healers are still at the top side.
कामै छैन
क्वीन एबिटी रहेछ त
No, I mean, it's going to go off anyway. There's the Barbarian King. He's got the
हेरन्टर देखे साथी हेरन्टर
everything else on the right in towards that fire spirit. He's
लास्ट
got to
लोक
use the
गर्ने है
Royal Champion
कसलाई
ability.
बचाएर राखे
Trying
हो
to keep an eye on the percent here. It's
त्यो
because we've
मल्टी
seen
आर्चर
in that
खान्छ
last
भन्नु हो
match,
कि
pretty much every attack was right up there at the 90%.
अब त देबे
75. Hero's going down fast. He's still got that King ability. Archer Queen now in a heap of danger at the top as well.
Yeah, the Archer Queen going down, which means the healers are going to fly across the any more now. The King with his ability might pick off some more buildings, which is going to increase the percentage. There we go. Any second
हान्देऊ न
now,
हान्देऊ
spiky ball taking
लाइनअप हेर है नेपालीवाला लाइनअप हो नेपाली टुर्नामेन्ट वाला
because of course going inside the
म फर्स्ट हिट हान्छु आज यता
getting
स्पोर्ट्स
90% mark.
He's got 25
तिम्रै
seconds
छ
to
फर्स्ट हिट
focus
सुजन
on the ricochet cannon, so that
Huh?
will get him to the 90%, which is good.
तिम्रै छ कि फर्स्ट हिट
It's
अरु
Gary
सबैले
to be able
अप्लाई
to spot
गरिसक्यो अट्याकले
the little area inside the
Someone
monolith
will
dead,
fucking
the
be
mortar
Claim.
dead zone to get those two
ए
archers
लास्ट
out
वान
and
म
finish it off in time, but he does get to that
त एक नम्बर बेच्न हान्छु अनि यस्तो
90% mark.
बुझ्दैन
That's right, 90% to start things off. And we have seen
जित्छ
plenty
जित्छ
of
रिपोर्ट
rockets
इजी
as well. Somewhat the mark where a lot of the
जित्नै पर्छ यार
attacks were landing. So I would say solid start.
Yeah, like I said in that first match, the first
Challenge
attack
accept,
of the war is
ए
definitely the
मलाई
one
भइसक्यो
that goes faster, especially here on the big stage. All of the
GR को
lights,
भयो
the
कि नै?
cameras, the live audience. It's very daunting, you know, especially
GR को
with
भयो
all
कि
of
नै?
these
बिस
modifiers in the game.
GR
You
को
know,
वहाँ
let you
सोभित
attack
दाइ
on
जोइन
auto
पाएको
attack.
हुन्छ
एकजना
Feel
आएको
that
छैन
pressure
एकजना
sometimes.
आएको छैन
It is nothing.
नआए पर
like
विशाललाई
this.
कल हान्न भनिहाल है
That is right.
विशाल र
Being on the
घिसिङ
big
दुइटैलाई
stage
एकजनामा
and having as well to attack.
घिसिङ पनि बाहिर विशाल पनि बाहिर
Still
होस्
in your ear because this is where you have
कोमलले
to
गर्नु
go. And it's not like waiting on the couch, have a
Colano,
24-hour
Colano.
timer. Like that is not really how it works. And those teams, those players are getting ready as we're now going to see the first attack from Kara Esports.
Yeah, I've certainly had times where I keep putting it off. I'm like, oh, I'll do the attack later. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. You're just too nervous, you know. You don't have that opportunity here. But like you said, Carry Esports now looking to take charge with Zekin. 2-star 90% is the mark. We've seen in the last match, Elevate was able to just creep that percentage up throughout the war, and that was the determining factor. So he's looking to get above that, but clearly that 3-star as well, right into a spring trap.
Yeah, this is what I'm scared of. Like, right into the spring trap. This is not good. There's the redirect.
तीन स्टार है तीन स्टार थोड़ा है ना तीन स्टार
Taking so much damage early on.
Yeah, and he's going to be very careful. He might have to just, I mean, he's only got 2 invisibility spells left. He can't really double cycle too much here. So he's got to make sure that he keeps this RC alive. She does have some passive healing, so she will be up with health. There we have the poison spell going off though. Manages to recall, and fortunately he has.
Yeah, and now he's entering from that top side.
इटर्नल टोमर र रेड जेम लगाऊ है बाबु
The minion prince.
No, no.
That hero.
इनोडोम रेज ओके अनुज दाइले भी किन हान्नु नि रे
That is wrong the tunnel, which means this is
म
where
चार हान्नु पर्छ
typically
क्या
all of your troops are still left
चार हल्का
alive.
इजी देखिरा
They
चाहिँ
can
भन्नु
hopefully
मैले
handle that hero.
अस्ति कम्प्लेक्स छ यार
Guys are pushing in, and the pathing into the tunnel needs to get set now with this Arch Queen and the King on the far right side.
Yeah, maybe we'll even see the ability to help speed that up because he has to get the Root Riders staying together. He does not want them to split. Fortunately, he's actually got great timing here as the Root Riders are taking out that area. You see the red air mine farm popped by the boogers, so the healers will be safe, even though we see the barrels from the troop launcher getting tight, compact nature of the Root Riders. That's exactly what he wants. So the healers can splash and heal all of the troops in that area.
That is right. Splash healing off the healers, and this is how those attacks work so successfully. This is how it always seems like that. the troops of the province have points, right? Like, they're keeping them together.
म चाहिँ 2 लान्छु
Super efficient. But now it's all about the back end. The defending on the back end with that water crusher. That's going to be really important.
He's got the
त्यो
one
केहीलाई हेड गरेको छ
still to play. He's got
सुरुमै
the ice
पड्काइदियो
golem
यार
to tank the ricochet cannon on the back end.
फर्स्ट टी बोले गाइज वर्ल्ड च्याम्पियनशिपको
ability. 1 minute
क्रसरले
left.
बचायो
न यो त किने हो यार किने हो यो त आज क्यापिटी भएको थियो
Notice something targeted it.
वाइडी नेभिलले अट्ली छ
He's got to be careful on that. Make sure he takes that time to not time fill. He's got
वाइडी नेभिलले हेर न
for the back end of the base.
Right.
Still holding
Swag
on
on
to
that,
that
swag.
ability at 2.
There we go, and
Right
he's
to the
celebrating. He knows that he has done it. That ability was just clutch. That Mortar Crusher having no chance whatsoever. The carries is getting hurt, and the first restart. Finals is it.
ब्याक पनि हानेन
तिमीलाई विश्वास लागेन नि अब ट्रिपल हानेर
Not even close. Coming out swinging for his team. Go as you mean to start, as you mean to go.
यहाँ धेरैको फर्स्ट हो होला यार
At the start of that first war, carry
मेरो फर्स्ट हो मेरो पनि
That's how they mean to go on.
सबजना आइप्याडमा खेल्छ यार फोनमा खेल्ने त कोही छैन यार
यस्तोमा भइसक्यो परेको छ
पहिलाको पनि थिएन मलाई आइफोनमा खेल्छ नि एउटा ले
Have seen the first match. They have seen that 3 stars.
त्यो रिपोर्टेडमा थियो नि एउटा केटी के रे के त्यसको नाम कहाँ हरायो बे त्यो केटी जस्तो कपाल थियो नि
With the first defense.
कि केटी जस्तो कपाल भयो होला के त्यसको नाम के रे
They're known for the defense.
के पो थियो यार
Oh my goodness.
त्यो त गायब भइदिएको टाउन 16 मा त त्यो
Defending world champions.
ओके केटीवाला जस्तो कपाल हो कि रिपोर्टेड त्यो कहाँ हरायो मैं
We have seen
सूर्यदाई यही छ त
certainly more epic
मैले
गरेर हान्ने हो के अहिले म फर्ममा छैन भने रिटायर
the
दिदिलो
victory, so they just have to hold it together.
Rising
Let's see what they
match
have
चाहिँ
here.
के हो टाइम हिट हो
He's selected with 8
सबै म्याच टाइम हिट हो कि
plenty of support troops to try and set that up and get really good value.
Yeah, can he do this? We again have that Warden Angry Jelly combination with the Archer Queen to dive into that compartment. Gustav's wanting to push her in there. A test wall breaker, because remember with the Springtrap rework, that they deal now damage as well quick enough to target
5 नम्बर कस्तो हो बे आउँछ के हो ट्रिपल
Indeed, you notice that
I don't know
first
about that.
invisibility spell just to keep the queen alive.
4 नम्बरमा हेर्दियो त
He's
कसरी हान्न
obviously
म
got the
भन
ice golem and the wall
Suggestion.
down to the bottom, but the Tesla
नीरवलाई सोध नीरव क्लेनमा आउन नीरवको गेम हो त
एकछिन
that freeze effect. And now
Wait,
has to
wait,
resolve
wait.
as well, but I love that he's used that after where he took out that compartment.
Nice, Rigoli.
There's archers there, and he's got to try and get those down fast.
म भए त लग लन्चर हान्ने थियो त्यो चारलाई
No! The
Down on
Rico
what?
cannon! What?
होइन यता माथि आर्चर टावरबाट
त्यो त्यसले किन
That was
थियो
not predicted. Obviously, he had to send in a Valkyrie
Value
to
आएन
take
क्या
out
उसको
those
मसिन
archers, and then the ricochet cannon hits the Valkyrie.
कति ओ क्लक को
Ricochets
आर्चर टावर
onto
कति
the
ओ
flame flinger,
क्लक
not what they
यता
needed.
9 o'clock
Then again, no, it's
Together,
पहिला
his root rider push at the
यता
bottom of the
मुनि
base is
मोटार
going
6
okay.
o'clock देखि
But
मोटारबाट
clearly, he
भ्यालु
expected
लिएर
that
त्यो फायर
fire
स्पिड
Yeah,
speed
yeah,
to
yeah,
go down.
yeah.
He's going to be taking damage from that later in the raid.
Yeah, the later the attack goes, the more tricky this is going to become. He's
Motor
trying to set up
Malun.
the funnel with the spike on the far right
अनि
side, using his
त्यो
skills and space
चोर
to distract those
के भन्यो
units, but it's not really working out.
ए आर्ची साथ
The bad news as
कति
well
आर्थिक
is
हो यो
that
वाला
विजार्ड
is going to wake up
विजार्ड
really soon, and
टावरमा
we have
रकेट
to
लुन
see
हालेर
how
मोटारबाट
deadly
आरसी
those
चार्ज हालेर
ricochet
त्यो फायर
cannons
स्पिड र
inside the
पोइजन
core
टावर
can be.
Yeah,
Ah,
you
yeah,
notice
but
the
they-
RC positioning as well. She's right in the middle there, so
अनि
even with her ability,
9 को आर्चर टावर देखि
take
उति
advantage
छोड्ने
of that,
त्यसले
especially
लग
where she's popping.
There's
अरे
no
यार
doubt
गेमले
about
ल्याइदिन्छ
the
क्या
percentage
अनि
level too
जाइन्ट
much,
जाइन्ट
because this is where those matches can
त्यही लाने यार
really
हल्की
impossible to come back from.
Yeah.
Because this is
Arrow-
worse than like a 2-star
arrow ले
lead
के
to
value दिएर यार?
7A, because the tiebreaker with percentage is so hard to
बिचमा हेर
overcome.
नि त्यो
You see that
मोटर
they
के रे
put this in
मोनोलिथ
a
त त्यो
wall break
कोर्सर
to get
मोटरको
some more
बिचबाट
percentage
छिराउने
points to really make sure that they are
अरे
getting
यार,
that
यहाँ
10% mark, which so
उनीहरूले
far
पुरै हिल
seems
गरिदिइहाल्छ
to
यार।
be like the targets you want to at least get if you're not getting those 3 stars.
एउटा डिफेन्स चाहिँ तिनवटा उम्मेदवार खेलेर
The benchmark. There's the queen ability.
सब
A
ठाउँमा
little bit
छोडिरहेछ
unfortunate
फेरि
that now the crusher mortar is
Yeah.
right there,
Yeah,
so it's
थाहा
actually
हुँदैन,
dealing
नसोधेर
damage
मलाई।
onto all of the queens.
अब फेरि यार
That's
आधा
one or
प्लानमा
two
गएर
extra
फेरि छोड्यो भने
buildings. It's not going to be that great.
यो मलाई भेट्ला गर्नु हुँदैन के खेल्नु त यो गर सिधै
कति नम्बर
Actually,
रुपैयाँ म
6% 2-star it
कति नम्बर
is.
वेन
That's
Char,
right.
char.
It is going to be another
चार
defense
सजिलै
for
भने
Carry
नि त
Esports.
प्लान
They
आएर त
came and
सजिलै
prepared,
भने होला
and
नि
so far they're showing
नाइ होइन
exactly
त्यो
that.
बेस हल्का
Now that
कमजोर
first
देखियो
attack, I'm wondering how many more 3 stars are we going to witness from them, because that first attack
कुनै
looks
नम्बर
like
कमजोर बेस देखेको पनि यसलाई
के कमजोर छ बे सबसे गाह्रो
the
बेस
lady
त्यही छ
turns home until like the
टाउन
last
भइरहेछ कि त्यो
20
गरेर
seconds
मैले
of the
इजी बेस
attack.
हेर्नु
Yeah.
that is not something we see
Easy
very
way
often.
हेर्नु कहिले भने
It's not. I mean, it was crushing, wasn't it? It was so dominant. And like you said, even if it's
भनेको ओपनिङ कार्ड गरौँ भने के
यो
impossible
चार
for Rock, this just the
ज्ञानको होइन
mental
हो त्यस्तै
mind
रहेछ कि
game
यो
that they have to
ज्ञानको
come
जस्तै रहेछ
over
यो
is one of those tricky
त्यो त
things.
हैन
I'm sure
के आरसी
General
चार्ज र
Alex
के
has
भन्छ
that
त्यो
experience
रुटको
talking
ओपनिङ
to his
चाहिँ काज गरौँ
teammates,
भने के
giving them that prep talk. But when we looked at the stats at the start as well, American, he did have the lowest stats for robotics.
Has
They
anyone
do
asked
have
about
their
Eliana
stronger
Fazil
attackers
Libis?
left to go. Maybe that's something they can touch onto and,
अहिले त्यहाँ
you know,
अट्याक
keep in their
भिडियोको
favor
कलाम
when
पर्दैन
they
पोख्न
get their more experienced players
जहाँबाट
still
रुट राइड जहाँबाट रुट राइडर हाने नि त्यो कोरबाट कोही निस्किँदैन बाहिर
They have a lot of ways of getting out of
हामीले
that.
कोरलाई उठ्यो भने नि के भन्छ त्यो ओजी
Second attacker for Curry
ओजी खुलेपछि चाहिँ के ओजीले मार्छ सबै
दुईवटा ओजी छ नि मसँग
We have the Roy Chairman charge in from the far right side.
5 मा
Which is, are there any traps?
Indeed, because with this, you know,
फाइभ त
all
इजी
those
छ यार म
invis
ड्रागन
spells,
हान्छु
he's really
5 मा
wanting
गुड लक है गाइस सबैजना आज टिप्टे टिपले जितौँ है त हामीले
to not get that. There's
यस्तो
no
गरेर
way
भयो
using his spells to protect the dragon. So let's see what happens.
यता मुनि
Is visible
यो
when
क्लक छ
you're
नि त्यो
trying
मल्टिगियर
to
भएको ठाउँ
just use a single cycle of
3
invisibility
o'clock
spells,
देखि
meaning you just use one
फोर
and then
o'clock बाट
rely
आरसी
on
चार्ज
the
हैन
invisibility of the fox. But she can take that
हैन
damage, and he's lost the fox already. She is super low right now. Will the poison tower pop?
हैन ल्यामो मिल्दैन
Oh, he's used the haste. Good
आरसी
call.
त यस्तो
अरे यार
हुन्छ
दया गर यार म आज
Really clutch with
किनकि
those
हेर न
invisibility
त्यो
spells.
त्यो लेफ्ट साइडको
Felix
कम्पार्टमेन्ट
is
त्यो
active, which
धेरै
means
हेभी
she's
छैन
moving
क्या
quick. He
त्यहाँ
wants
एउटा
to
आइस
get that
गोलेम र
town
किङ
hall.
भेज छोडिदियो त्यो आदि
I think
खान्छ
that
त्यो
should be enough with
कम्पार्टमेन्ट
those
होइन
two invisibility spells to get
अनि
that
मैले
out.
भने
The
चाहिँ यो
question is,
मुनि यो 8 o'clockबाट चाहिँ आरसी के अरे आरसीले रुट राइडर छिराइदियो क्या कोर्टसम्म छिर्ने गरेर
मरिहाल्यो यार आरसीमा
अब यो यता गिगा बमवाला एरियालाई चाहिँ अब तिमी अब आफै विचार गरेर कसरी टार्छौ नत्र त्यसरी गरेर चाहिँ कोरमा जान्छ सबै चिज
गिगा बम वाला मुभी हाल्दिने किङ छिराइदिने
Oh my goodness, I feel the timing of the
होइन हौ
ice hound
किङ चाहिँ
there
यता माथि त्यो
is
9
well
o'clockबाट
alongside
छिराइदिने
the
क्या
dragons. He really hasn't taken as
त्यो हेर न
much
केटा
damage as
डेनडेनलाई
that. Ice
किनकि
Hound
धेरै
has
धेरै
been
गेममा
long.
जाने
यो
धेरै
Gotta
टाइम
try and hold it
हामी
together
त्यही
here,
रिक्वेस्ट
Den
च्यानल
Den.
मार्कोसम अनुप दाइको
यो
रिलेटिभ जस्तो छ है
हेर न मलाई पुरा गाइड हान्दा के साइड गोलेर
right behind, which means any dragons for getting
त्यसले औलाका
ड्रागन त सक्यो त
away from the town hall. So the second star is
आरसी
needs to be achieved first. And the pathing so far for the dragons
आरसी मर्यो
seems to
होला
be
छिटै
not optimal. The minion prince
पुरै खाइरहेको छ ढेके मेरोमा हो
the minion prince on defense is luring those
ओइ ल
dragons.
वान स्टार आउँछ क्या ओइ
आयो भइहाल्छ
ल
The second star.
आउन हौ मिनियन पेन्सिल
आधा बाहिर बाहिर
गोटम के भन्दा गोटम
मिनियन पेन्सिल लिन्छ हौ मुला
त्यही त बाहिर जा भन्दैछु त्यही भएर गयो आइहाल्यो यार भित्र मलाई आइज नि
मिनियन पेन्सिल लिन्छ
मार 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 मार
यता हो ए लामो फिनिक्सले बचाइहाल्ने
होइन यार कतातिर हाने यार आमा
ए निकाल म्याच गइसकेको थियो
रातको साथमा आयो अहिले त
I mean, look, held it together, got those extra troops in. He did what he needed to do. We talked about the percentage game. I feel like
Percentage
Could
पनि
breathe a sigh
percentage पनि
of
हान्ने।
नेभर
relief.
सेलिब्रेट टु
This
अर्ली
is the
भन्दै
big
धन्दै
defense
इले
they
प्रुभ
needed to
हान्ने
be back
लागिसक्यो यार
in it, but they are still a star down.
पोइन्टको
Just
बेस
one
खेल्दै
star
3
though.
खान्छ
It's
क्या
not that kind of double star.
ए मलाई सुमै ट्रिपल खायो
This is
म्याच
exactly what they needed in a
आरसी
potentially momentous.
ट्रिपल त हुन्न हौ
Best things which could have happened for
कहाँ ट्रिपल होला के
obvious reasons. The
कहाँ हो ट्रिपल हुने मुला एउटा ड्रागन
स्क्रिनशट लिएँ मैले
स्क्रिनशट लिनु स्क्रिनशट
स्क्रिनशट लिएँ मैले
किन के को स्क्रिनशट केटा
यता फास्ट डेटा गरे
Driving 20% stronger, 20% more stats on them is a
यो
big
स्क्रिनशट
difference.
Indeed. Well, think about this as well, Itsu.
हामी
So,
चाहिँ
Harry Esports are 1 star in
The
the lead
tournament
and
is
also 1 percentage point.
सुचनको पाल होइन हाम्रोबाट
That would be
Oh,
one
Susan,
percentage.
कमन
And
RPG
छैन होइन लामोहरू पछि आर्टिक गएर मुला मेरो फेल हेर्न
तल बयान के भएको तिमी
Harry Esports in the lead so far. But again, at this point in the war,
यो डेनडेनको
the
कपाल त मेरो
momentum
जस्तै
shift
भइसकेछ
now,
यार
Harry Esports have to pick things up, pull them to selves together. And let's see who's going to be attacking for RPG. Now they have the
Screenshot
three
लियो
most
लिन त
experienced players who lifted that trophy last year as well.
ओ
Let's see whether they can get the take advantage of that defense.
ले आगे ले सूर्य ले आगे
मैले
Get the first 3-star for.
ओइ निर
That's
त्यो पनि
That's the big question. 9 seconds.
दुईटा रकेट पनि भइपुग्छ हैन
मल्टिपल हान्ने राव सूर्यले मल्टिपल काम हान्नु
अबे म फुटबल खेल्न बसेछु के अनि
के भने बयान डोरी
के भन्छ होला
डोरी खेल्दै
केटाले बोलाउने गरे फुटबल खेल्न अनि
ओइ आरसी आरसी हेर न
And this core
ओइ
looks
निर
stacked. If you're getting
हजुर
a fireball in there,
दुईवटा रकेट उनले पुग्छ नि एउटा विजटार
Indeed.
मर्दैन
I mean,
पुर्दैन
at this level as
दुईटा
well,
रकेट बलुन एउटा
who's
अनि
defending
दुईटा
the
मिनियन चाहिँ
fireball?
लगा
We
बरु
see it a lot in Legends.
ओइ लामो मेरो त जहिले आरसी त्यसमै
There's really not that many players, so the
La-
traps, everything like that is really set up for this.
ए म कस्तो हग्या सुजन यार सुरुमै
एक नम्बरको हग्गु त सुतन क्या
Crazy fireball value
Chill,
is
chill, chill, get
sometimes
out.
you see on
नामहरु हल्ला नगरेर ए छोइदिहाल्नु एभ्रिथिङ नगोइदिनु यार त्यस्तो हुँदैन
Rocket Dunes now in to snipe the mortar on the far right side, and he's paying attention to the water on the far left, and this is what makes this strategy so challenging. You need to have the
मनिसैको याद आयो
in
देखेर
here,
मलाई
and at the same time, not paying attention. 1
Hey,
second,
yeah,
and
really,
that
though.
warden is going down within that 1 second.
Indeed, he got a dragon into
Yeah.
giant in.
Or two star हान्नु पर्दैन भयो यार
One
सेफ
strike from the mortar, which with this increased damage did quite a bit.
त्यो सुरु अट्याक सुरु हुन अगाडि
That multi
कहाँबाट हान्नु यार मैले अब यार ड्रागन टाउनरबाटै छोड्नुपर्छ यार
Still good on the left, just waiting to set up that fireball. He's going for the town hall. It's a
गाह्रो छ यार मलाई त लड्न अब त यो
earthquake spells. There it is. He hit the ricochet cannon, but with the giant
Blim हान्न यार
Master Queen finishes that area off.
ब्लिम छैन हो मलाई ए ब्लिम भए पनि मिनियन नि
फर्नेस बोकेर आयो होला
होइन के भन्छ सुपर मिनियन छ यार
ओइ यार सुतन यसको त माइनस 1 भरे यिनीहरुको त फर्स्ट अट्याकमा 0 स्टार भयो त
कस्तो माइनस 1
यो हान्सम खेल्ने जिआर
ओइ मेरो 1 स्टार आउट लाग्यो लामोहरु
सुजन कति अरु
It's all about now the zero damage. Keeping the warden alive is going to be clutch, especially
हेर्न ओइ ओइ के हो कि सुजन यो है
होइन टु स्टार आयो यार धन्दा मिनियन ड्रिङ्कले
the top side.
Yeah, and I feel like he did actually miss his giant arrow a touch. He probably could have got that ricochet cannon and finished it off. Might have been planning to do that. Now it's getting healed back up. But so far, he's managing things well. My major concern right now is the time. He's trying to get moving. He's got the RC ready to deploy as well. Does still have some cleanup troops, but now is where things get very hectic.
Yeah, this is one where those heroes are getting closer to the warden. Having the warden getting lured through the base because
यसो नभन यार मलाई
ओइ यार यो यिनीहरुले के हाने
messy
यार
because he
यसको
might run into a lot of danger, into a
ए
lot of
हैन
damage.
हैन
And he needs to
फायरवल
make sure
रकेट
that
रहेछ बे म
those
त रूट राइडर
victories
के
still
हाने
count.
यस्तो
Take a look at that. He's now going to follow the king. Run into all of the damage. This is like the worst
Wait,
thing
wait,
possible
wait,
could be
why did-
happening, but it's all about the back end.
He's managed to keep that warden
People
alive,
over
which
here.
is granted tanking
हुनै
the
पर्छ
multi-arch
नि यार
tower onto the
आइन्स्टाइन
healers
ओपियो
now. He doesn't need the healers for the rest of the
यतिको होइन
round.
नम्बर लाग्यो
ओए चुप हान्दै यार
ए पोज हेर न पोज आम्मा
त्यो यार चुप हान्दियो त यार चुप हान्दियो त मैं
Really keeping the pressure on Carry Esports there. We talked about their experience.
कमब्याक है
That is
कमब्याक
what we expected.
ओइ हेर्न न
कोही
सुजन
त्यो
69
We have a
त्यो
lot.
क्राउडको केटाको पाटो
And we see
जस्तै
that already.
थियो
This
Back
World
and this
Championship
already.
will be about
Already.
having 1 or 2 warden shot
2069
fireball attackers on your team. That strategy, just having the option of doing it, is putting so much pressure on the other base building team because there are so many things you have to consider, especially that flame fling value, which
Another
he was setting up
controversy loading के भन्छ
beautifully
dude भाइ
with the Yetis as well, and then the fireball for the core. The value was solid, and he with the giant arrow that was.
त्यही टाइममा कन्ट्रोभर्सी
अगाडि
भएको
हान्यो नि त
The spice to that attack.
जे
ओइ बिहान त्यही कन्ट्रोभर्सी भएर हो कि
भयो मैले हाने
All those different
भएन
areas.
हैन
Make
म त
sure
राइजिङमा भयो
that it's
तिम्रो
going to
टाइम
be enough. You get the spells perfectly placed.
ल ल
Such a beautiful attack to watch as
यस्तो
well.
रस बेसमा
But here we go.
हान्यो
That was the halfway mark, if you will. 5 attacks out of the 10 done. 3 of them from RPG. Carry Esports, they've still got an attack.
अपोनेन्टको कतिखेर आउने एउटा अट्याक
So the war is still very much
29
in their hands. But based on what we've been seeing, it's unlikely to get 3 stars for the rest of the war. But who knows? Let's see what they've got in store.
ओइ सुन न गडा
Look at that. We typically
सुन न गडा
always see the
त्यो बिहानको पोस्ट थियो नि बिहानको पोस्टमा त आमा 65 कमेन्ट पुगेछ
Infinity Tower.
मैले हेर्दा 41 थियो म कमेन्ट गरिदिन आँटेँ फेरि नगरिदिएको
I'm looking forward to how this is going to work out.
कति रुन सक्यो कमेन्टमा
General X, I mean, he's known for being a really, really brilliant base builder.
मैले केही मुखसुख छाडेको थिइनँ होइन मैले सिधै के गरेँ
Maybe Kai is thinking four
इन्सिडेन्ट
steps
रेज गरेँ अनि पेनाल्टी उस गरेँ कि कति हो टाइम सोधेँ डु फर टाइम यति उति भने ओके थ्याङ्क्स भनेर यति छोडिदिएको बिहान उठ्दा त आमा
In towards that fire
के
spell, that's
के
why
भएको रहेछ
Rocket Loons wasn't able to finish it off. King with Phoenix will get the multi
किन हेर्नु त्यसले
खाइदिएको जातो
Get that fire
fire spitter, which he'll be taking quite a bit of damage on throughout this raid.
उड़ना मैं
Phoenix will be able to
ऑक्सी भी नहीं उड़ेगा यार
maybe
इसको
not,
यार
because the builder's preparing it.
एक्स भी नहीं उड़ाए ना यार बेचारा भी
Really happening. It takes quite some time.
The healers, it might hit
Yes,
the healers
didn't
as
go
well.
in
The town hall, a really nice overgrowth spell placement, catching the invisibility tower, and this means it's not going to go off. The tower can be taken care of, but with those Tesla, things might split quite a bit. It's only some rocket on so far, but there goes the Root Riders. Everything is going to split.
Yeah, we've got Root Riders going to north. That is where the healers go, but the Root Riders at the bottom, they are toast. That fire spitter eventually going down, but just notice the disorganization of this attack in the center of the base. The healers not able to heal those Root Riders up.
के गरे दामी
That's
चाहिँ
where you see them getting picked off one by one.
के गरे दामी चाहिँ
लास्ट दो जान्छ होला
के गरे
यति दामी गर्यो भन्छ बयान फेरि
That's right.
होइन कि एउटा रुट एउटा भर्खर
The overgrowth for that mortar crusher is going
हजुर के भन्यो सूर्य
somewhat soon. That defense can crush.
के एक तारा बे फर्नेस त्यहाँ देख्नु भएन त्यत्रो
होइन कि म त सर हेरेको टाउन बाँकी छ क्या
ट्रिपल हान्दिए लामो यार
मैले नै हान्दिए ट्रिपल
अन्डा दाइले बेस्ट फ्री जान्न भन त जरा
फेरि ट्रिपल गए
Absolutely. If you can have your cleanup
Wait, no,
on
yeah,
the
I'm
outside
not
of
quite
base
out in-
when the core defenses aren't firing at you, you're going to be able to drive up that percentage a little bit more. He's still
Last
got an ice
building
golem.
town
He can't
hall
really
building.
use that because the cloned queen was the one left.
अखण्ड ट्रिपल खान्छ क्या यार अखण्ड
आइसकेपछि हेर न म हाँसी नै मर्दैन हो त्यो अक्सी धरि मरेन के राउन्ड
दुईटा हिरोजको एबिलिटी छ
मैले झन्डै एम ब्याटल जित्दै
केटाहरु
वाची मर्यो तर एकछिन ट्रिपल आइसक्यो क्वीन किङको एबिलिटी दिइदेनौ त्यहाँ हुटावर लाबोले लिदिहाल्यो
ट्रिपल हान्दैछ
It is not the attack they needed because now this
Yeah,
time
minion क्लिन्चले बचाइ मात्र हो यहाँ
shapes
त
around. It's still close, but
कान्न बे एउटा त हुटावर भनेको ताने नि यार सालीले
Absolutely. Stars
हान्दी हान्दी
are
तीन
tied, but
लगडा ट्रिपल चाहिँ अब
निरव मलाई बिदाल्ने मेसेज गर्छ यार अब
percentage points in the
ए
lead.
किन के गर्ने
As the war goes through, after each round of attacks, hey, you take
के
the lead,
निरवले वान हान्ने हो
little that margin
ए
is.
के बोले मैले वान हान्छ
this is now the
के भने अनि सूर्यले
ट्रिपल
बिदाल्ने
ट्रिपल
के हान्थ्यो क्या मैले
एउटा ट्रिपल चाहिँ
This is
दादा
now where they're taking over.
भाइ किक दादा
ए कमै छ बिचार
What is this?
That's their one player with the synergy. The others are more going for other strategies. We have seen Venorex especially doing
म चाहिँ
crazy
छुट्टै छ क्या
heroic
कि
champion
खान्छु
charges.
अस्ति मनिषलाई के खान्दै
Really
इन्भाइट
far
गरेर
into the
बसेँ
base. So let's see. Maybe it's as well
What is
another
this?
warrior charge. We will find out in just a second. Venorex is not there as far as warden charge player.
25 मा हैन मैले
Along Roy.
25 30
Oh, super, yes.
भाइ कति भनेको छ हेर त
I
त्यहाँ
will say,
पिनमा
General
25
X, he's
हो
on another
अझ
level.
बेला हो
He's
कुनै
also
बेला
seen Fox
25
alive. I don't know how he does it. They're just his invisibility spell timing is impeccable.
म
We are seeing
कसम
this super
ट्रिपल
AI
हाने
approach. We see
प्रेसरमा
this
ल्याएको
in the
केटाहरुले
first
त
matchup, setting up that
सबैले हानिहाल्छ नि ट्रिपल
what did it
इजी
do, especially in this esports mode with
Vamos,
the
go,
extra damage and your troops not doing as much damage. It's
कहाँ
not
गयो
even
मुला बस
about
न
getting the troops surviving. It's actually taking down the base in time. And if you can set a flame flinger to the side and let that get value,
को जान लाग्यो भएन
Yeah, and I feel like everyone who ever played in
मलाई
esports,
डोरेमन
for
हिँड्न लाग्यो क्या
for
मैं
example, knows the siege barracks, which is typically so strong, those P.E.K.K.A are going down within seconds versus those defenses.
भाइ
What
अट्याकमा
the heroes really like to bring in the
सिउसी हेर्न
field.
झ्याउ लगाएर
For example, the flame flinger
डोरेमन
becomes
हिँड्न
there,
एटेकमा
लाग्यो
हो एटेकमा त एटेकमा
not really getting affected by this mode too
Mo.
much.
कहाँ फेको नाम
Talking about
कहाँ
this,
फेको नाम रोकन गरिदियो
doing
मुलाले
his thing in the beginning, setting up the hacking, setting up the funneling for the Super Yetis.
डोरेमन
They are now up next as he's deploying the Arch Queen and starting things off with the Ice Golem.
just his vision across the base is great. I mean, as casters, we can.
यो
we're
यार
not attacking,
मिनियन
we can
प्रिन्स
actually take a
यो
step
मिनियन
back. I
प्रिन्स
saw
होइन
the
यो
expo on
Oxygen
the
is adding to
Warden there, but he was able to spot
दामी छ है
get the free spell in.
Saroj
He was
bhai?
taking advantage of the Ice Golem there as well.
दामी छ है
Yeti and
Queen
Valkyrie
जोडन न
Queen
आर्मी गर्नु
Archer Tower down to
के छ
Queen
close
जोडन
the
त्यता
troops.
आर्मी
Through the
गर्नु
jump spell into the
खै Queen कहाँ छोड्ने हो र
Yetis are splitting
लिनु
up.
पर्ला जस्तो म
Go
चाहिँ
there.
ल
Let's see what happens in the
मलाई
middle of the base
किङदेरलाई
here.
किङ
What's
दिन्छु
the
भन्छ
Queen
भने
ability
त
to try and
पोइजन
amplify
पोइजन जो
the
अरे
damage?
पोइजन किन
We've
ल्याउँछौ
got
तिमीले यार
CC to deal with as well.
पोइजन लादैन के यो भाइ
त्यही त पोइजनै ल्याउनु मुलाले
Aura is going really low.
म
As
त
you can say, a great timing with the headhunter, making sure that the
What's that like?
Queen is going down, but the giant bomb
बनाएको होइन हौ दाइ हाम्रो यो
taking that warden out.
यस्तै हो क्या नेचर ओजी मिस्टेक भयो नि यार
तिमीहरूले अचार मुला त्यो ओजी मिस्टेक हान्यो मुलाले
ओजी मिस्टेक हानेको तिमीले त्यो कोरमा ओजी हान्नु पर्ने थियो बरु
तिमीहरूले अचार
Even though things are going down fast, you can keep the defenses tanked on skeletons. The Royal Champion can just
ओजी त सकिने हान्दियो यार सोल्टीले
and he timed the headhunters perfectly for the bending hero here as well.
त्यो मुलाले किन हाने क्या हो
Gets the monolith. RC.
मुला पोइजन एडिट हानि होला त तिम्रो हारेको
Hit those defenses. He's still got the King of the He's still got a free spell. 30
अनि
seconds.
के हो यार यस्तो अहिले पोइजन नि नल्याउने के हो पारा कोही जेनरल एक्सले त वहाँ जेनरल एक्स त पुरा डिप्रेस नाटक पारेको ट्रिपल हान्थ्यो त बेलले त
Putting them even further in the
के छ ज्ञान
उठाउँछ है क्या हो यिनीहरूले
ज्ञान
हरिफ जोस
मुला त्यसरी दुई तार एक हान्यो भन्दा मलाई उठाइ गर्नु
अब दुईटा म्याच तीनटा म्याच त विनरलाई जित्नु पर्ने
यिनीहरूले उठाउँछ जस्तो लागिसक्यो यार ढुक्क म्याच
होइन यिनीहरूले उठाउँदैन तर हो यार यिनीहरू कडा
डिफेन्ड हान्छ जस्तै च्याम्पियनसिप
That's what separates you, right? Like that's
दुई शॉट दिसमा हान्दैन म्याच यिनीहरूले तिर पल्दा
to notice the difference of how these players really are on that next those impeccable timings, not just again and again and again. And but Carry Esports, they've still got 2 attacks left. 13% down, so now they have to
That's right, otherwise the percentage points are really tough to overcome. Next Root attack, but it's no Royal Champion Shorts. It seems like all of those teams so far are really scared to go for Royal Champion Shorts. Going with the Angry Jolly and Warden play. That's the big question. Her starting up on the far right side. Can he I mean, that is his goal.
मेरोमा नि आछ
ओइ विधान जियाकिङले वार हुन त मार हानेर राखेछ बेबी
take out the defenses.
कति टाइम छ रे
डेढ घण्टा लाग्छ
त्यसो त
ल पेनिक कसम भए यस्तो भएपछि यस्तो मुड अफ हुन्छ नि
ओके मेरो अघि आदिले त्यस्तै भएको हो के म्या
तिमी त प्र्याक्टिस नगरेर हुने यार यिनीहरू प्र्याक्टिस गरेर मर्यो
सक्यो अब ओ धन्दा ओजी
ज्ञान किन बोल्दैन
आरसीले टाउन लियो हुन्छ यार यसले त बरु
आरसी मरियो
आरसी सही गरे एभ्रिडे भनेर चाहिँ हेर त फक्स फेरि कहाँ
ज्ञान कहाँ गयो
बोलेको थियो
यो आरसी चार्ज ड्र्याग हान्ने मात्र यार स्टोरीहरु
जित्छ लास्टमा
on her, which means he may be able to like get some. She's going down, and this means he has to use the troops are just going down too quick.
And with this damage, esports mode, I can't stress enough how much extra that damage is. Remember, the attacking heroes deal less damage, defenses deal more, defending heroes have more hit points and deal more damage. Equipment is capped as well, you have that decrease for them. So it really means if things go wrong, the defense is hit hard. That is what you see.
Oh yeah, double
gaming. We talked about their base building, and they clearly
predicted that entry.
Yeah, I mean, still having the
commentary.
मलाई दुईटा डिभाइसमा हेरेर होला
and exactly that has worked out for them. This means it's a great defense.
तर फेरि जुडोको मात्र एको आइरहेछ अरुको आइ
to 9 lead and at the same time as well the percentage
is immense.
40 total percentage points and
जम्मा 73 हानेछ यार मुलाले यो जत हाने यार
2-star 60% in this last attack.
I mean, you can
Value
offer
ni
all the
हाल्नु त यार
introductory
के
stuff,
हो
but at the end of the day,
नेट जान पर्ने के
to do to win the
मेरो
war.
prediction
Repotted
त
are
यस्तो
expected
बेलामा
to
कहाँ
go.
नेट जान्छ
They
यार
are
यस्तो उसमा
clever
त
enough to do that.
त्यही
यस्तो
फोडिन्छ
यस्तो
उनीहरूलाई
यस्तो
Stats
बेला
are
नेट
one
गयो
thing,
भने चाहिँ के गर्छ
just
होला
get
है
the victory and
त्यही
be
हान्दिनु
humble
पर्छ
enough
नो
to do that. I'm sure Repotted
तर
will.
यिनीहरू त मोबाइल डाटाबाट
POC
डाटा
guy
डाटा
puts
हुन्छ होला के प्राइभेट
What the safest approach here is, in their opinion. Like, is it just mass
POC
dragon? Is it like
okay, I
dragon
got it.
with a blimp or something? Like, that's really the
I
big
know,
question.
laugh
If
me,
they're
oh.
playing it safe, what would be the option here? Because I feel like
POC
anything
okay.
like
आफ्नै हो उनीलाई कहाँ यिनीहरूले दिन्छ
like the
त्यही त
Angry Jelly Queen Warren
आफ्नै
charge.
हो र सबैको सेम छ त
Have a certain risk.
तालबारे चाइनिजले फोनमा
स्पोन्सर हान्दै होला नि त मुला
सेम त पाउने भयो नि
Two-cell% approach, which Repotted is going to pick.
कहाँ सिओसीले दिन्छ यार
त्यसो भने
As a pro, like a
कता रिपोर्टेड राम्रो छैन होला सोचेको यार
the original plan, but just use spells,
Kita
and
terus.
things like that. I think it's when it's like
Sanchi Sahu.
90%.
Kinolak Sopri ho
That's when
kya?
it's a little bit more.
Well, you see
tricky.
that, Team
How
Jai.
safe you play things. I think they'll probably just
विधानको कम्पिटिटर हो यो सरोज भाइ भन्ने
safe. Don't try and hold the warden ability for the back end of the base or something like that, for
हेट
example.
मैं सरोज भाइ
Again, one of
लगको
those players that
उयसमा पुर्याइदियो यार बिदान के
last
बिदान भन्ने बोलाइ भने पनि
playing it safe, Itsu. Nah, let's do it.
वान स्टार
I
हान्दै
mean,
त
to be honest, like if you're well experienced with
कोही
SVG,
कसको हान्ने बेला भयो थर्ड हिट भयो
especially if you play the warden in a
लास्टै पहाडी छ मेरो पर्छ हामी स्टारमा नि पहाडी रहेछौँ त पर्नु भने त
early fireball, make sure that it's
केटाहरू
safer for this one.
केटाहरू
फिलिपले पाएर
David
भन्नु
Tessa popping up
अर्को
two
के
lanes.
अर्कै
Bala,
That's
Yusuf.
a really nice opening for the beginning. With
Time
those
भइसक्यो
players,
है।
Rexy was able to
Time by time.
everything is out, all about
Yusuf
the top
दाइले
side,
हान्ने
and
पर्ने
there's
हुन्छ है
quite
त्यो
some damage, so he needs to be careful.
You see 5
That was the bait, but again,
भर्खर यहाँनिर जाँदैछु म यो नेट स्लो भयो क्या
the non-defenses to just drive
Oh,
that
30
percentage.
seconds,
They're
30
the funnel
seconds back is
left
30
and right,
seconds.
so they have to go to the town hall and get that star, and then it's basically just picking off defenses.
99, 90 का हो तो 100 sure हो गए
Defensive buildings on the perimeter.
Uh-huh.
So like you said,
97 now.
actually, pretty safe approach here.
Yeah, he needs one more rocket on the far left for the mortar. That's exactly what he's doing right now as the Warden is pushing in from the chop side with CZ together.
कस्तरी मोटाले यार जहाँ खाले
Taking for the Warden, playing with the Warden.
अनुप दाइको
making
साथीले
sure
बिगारे के
that shot's looking great. Now it's all about
त्यही
how
त।
he approach versus those defending models. This defending hero
त्यत्रो चाहिँ गाइड हान्दा पनि बिगारे बिचारले
a lot of damage in one moment.
सुचन नै हो यार त्यो
The Warden
सुचन
can
पार्ट
go
2 नै
down
हो
so
यार
quick.
Yeah, pre-rage as well. This is a really important factor of just not waiting until your warden
No
is
more,
about to
yeah,
take the damage. Have the rage in ready because his health goes
रिपोर्टले जित्ला जस्तो लाग्यो मलाई त अहिले त यार
At this point, the warden
भने
is
है
on the town hall, so he is committing
उठाउँदै
his heroes to the
ये
bottom of the base.
तीनटाले
Feels
चाहिँ
comfortable with that, but he
यो
still
तीनटाले
has the
चाहिँ टिम
royal
उठाइदिन्छ
champion
जस्तो लाग्यो कि मलाई यो के भन्छ अरे
जेनरल कस्तो जोस चाहिँ हावे तर
but it will go down soon.
अन्तिममा आएर
अझै टिममा चाहिँ रिपोर्टेड त नन पेड होइन
The Flame Flinger is
हजुर?
such an important siege.
रिपोर्टेड त नन पेड होइन
होइन कि त नन पेड भन्ने मात्र हो कन्ट्याक्टमा यिनीहरू लास्ट यो वनको लागि भयो नि आउँछन् कि यो लाइक अब वर्ल्ड च्याम्पियनसिपको लागि मात्र भयो
हेर्नु आरसी हेर्नु ल आरसी हेर्नु ल
आरसी होइन एबिलिटी हान्दियो
It's just taking down those Archer Queen
मर्यो
त्यस्तो बेला एबिलिटी हान्दिने हो कि
At this point, 2 stars.
हुन त फेरि हिलिङ टोक रहेछ
70%. He's got
तीन हाने यार मुलाले
कसर मोटर मोनोलिथ तलको स्पिड
further here.
नाइस
For
हो
Grand Warden stalling out on those ice
हेर त
columns,
आरसी भ्यालु आएको है
really have much
किङ एबिलिटी होल्ड हान्नु पर्ने दादा
they would lose out
Oi,
towards the
Queen.
center. He's going to use them to get off that crusher motor,
Ball
keep
more
the
यार
percentage going up, but he's done what he needed to do. Reported
आउँदा
gaming,
आउँदैन के
getting
यो
the
यास भन्दैछ त
victory
किन
on
यो
this
तीन
one.
आयो क्या मुलाले
Great job
कोही आएछ क्या होइन होइन
and his team.
Yeah, and
Match
this
it,
already
man.
as well reveals to the other teams. Reported has 2 Warden shots.
ए पर्सेन्ट कुरा गरेर नि त पर्सेन्ट
Really good.
के थाहा मुला लास्टमा
कहाँ
के
पर्सेन्ट
भनिदिनु मुला
कहाँ पर्सेन्ट ल लास्ट अट्याक हो दाइ जितिसक्यो त ट्रिपल हान्ने
लास्ट
नि
अट्याक हो र यो
Getting a 94%
अब
म पर्सेन्ट क्रस हान्नु त त्यही भने है मैले पर्सेन्ट क्रस हान्दा जित्यो भन्यो
होइन नि एक एक स्ट्याक एट्याक बाँकी होला
That's why
यो लास्ट अट्याक हो कि
अट्याक
that's
सक्यो
how
कि
they
जित्यो
won it all.
त्यही त रिपोर्टेड सक्यो अब उताको
We've seen
ए
everything
क्यारीको
we need to
सकिसक्यो
know
है
about Reported in
69
this
you
matchup.
69
Being behind, spinning it round, having those quick attackers, the defense.
दुईटै एउटामा छोड्नु पर्ने
They look strong.
दुईटै एउटामा छोड्नु पर्ने
Win it all this weekend. Time
ल
for
दुईटा ट्रिपल चाहिँ
World
अब
Tell. Carry Esports. They will want want to go out on the high because they're moving down to the lower bracket, and we will then be seeing them later today. That's right, and you do want to have at least somewhat of a momentum going into the bracket, which is crucial because you have mentioned it. You're going to play again later today. It's not tomorrow or anything. No, you have to play for the top place and later on. And we have the last attacker getting ready for Carry Esports. Another 3-star, which would be many 3-stars in this second match compared to the first one. Player videos at the start based on interviewing Carry Esports prior to these matches as well. Shen had so much confidence, charisma, one of those players that really just puts it all on the line. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Fireball, but there's big damage here. He does get the head in time to protect that Warden. Yeah, really nice time here, making sure the defending Royal Champ is no problem whatsoever. The defending Queen took damage already from the Fireball, so now it's all about those Yetis. We have them walking in. We have the Ice Golems running into Spring Traps. So this as well was somehow predicted. Freezing gets him basically zero value there. You talked about the P.E.K.K.A earlier, Itsu, and not really getting too much value, but very nicely identified that there's not a huge amount of damage on this right side of the base, no ricochet cannons or anything to take them down quick. So you can set that funnel, have the RC running along that perimeter, trying to get the Yetis into the center, but the King locked on to that moment, so his ability will go on soon. He's frozen in time to protect it just that little bit longer. This keeps the P.E.K.K.A alive a little bit longer. They have a lot of going on in the core, and that Royal Champ on the top side, she has to stay alive, get those rockets out, and then this attack looks really solid. Very good. RC picking off those buildings as the Valkyries still have the P.E.K.K.A, but he's in a dangerous spot here where there's a clump of defenses in the middle. He's got to try and surround it from each angle. And what does he try and ice block? The giant ice blocked. Queen goes down. A little bit too late, I feel. I think the Queen would have gone down anyway due to the piercing effect of the fire spitter. Yeah, the Valkyries are trying their best to at least
Sorry, so you see both triple have GR line जितनी रह जाए हमले.
Slowly but surely.
GR जितिसकेको त्यो 1%ले गर्दा हार्यो.
Monisले 91% हाल्यो.
A great attack to finish off the ball. So maybe they can go into the next match with the heads held down. This one was all about reported gaming. Amazing performance. Getting that victory, moving on to the next round in this tournament. And I can't wait to hear what they have to say. Normally giving those interviews. And to hear those insights as well as to how
verified Nepal.
Yeah. Was the match going as expected?
Happy
with the performance as well.
Please
little confident. Great insight which we're going to as they're getting ready on stage, and with the match just happened, I think he is face camera. He was really in that match and felt the moment. Absolutely. It's great to see everyone here in Atlanta as well at Dream. The audience, celebration, all of the teams coming to this World Finals, putting on the best. But we're ready for that interview with Banks on the main stage.
Thank you so much, guys. I've got General X here with me from Reported Gaming. Arguably got to be the most important win of the first 2 days here on the main stage, right? It's good to get in that headspace. How much of a weight off your shoulders is that win?
Always the first match, always so it's pretty nice to start well and also to not fall in the lower bracket, so have a good chance tomorrow on and go for the upper bracket fight.
Experience on the main stage, kind of giving you an edge over Carry Esports as well. But you know what? Talking a lot as well. Judo and Itsu up there in the caster booth were also talking about how impressive your base has been. But at the end of last season, you ended it so dominantly, winning Worlds. Let's say. So, doing. What's prep been like coming into here? Do you feel like you've had to go
कसम
that
बे यो
extra mile?
चाइनिजहरुले यस्तो खतरा वारलक बनाएको थियो अब रातै बनाइदिनु
much did it like last year. Studied the opponents and prepared the best bases, which we thought will.
नेपाली पारा देखाउनु पर्यो नेपाली
I
पारा
have to say I was a bit nervous after the first attack because they did really well, but the bases hold strong afterwards, so I'm very glad that it worked out pretty well this time as well.
Yeah, it must have been a bit dicey after that first attack from them. But, you know, before I let you go, tomorrow you're going to be in that upper bracket. You're going to be facing off against Elevate, arguably the most, well, a lot of people think the strongest team coming into this competition. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like it'd be nice to just get a win over them, right?
I mean, if you saw 2 matches, then you know which team is better, so we'll see how it goes tomorrow.
यसपछि उठाइदियो हुन्छ है उठाइदियो हुन्छ
Alex, for joining me in this first match. You stay right there. I'm not going to let you run away just yet, but for now, let's head back over to the desk where they can break down the match in more detail.
डन दामी नि एरो हान्नु न सिधै जान्छ
Confidence from General X, adding that spice to the
Ausquick
interview.
दादा
Beautiful
दादा
stuff. It's
Ausquick
always great to hear from him. Went pretty great, he said. I couldn't have said it better myself. That match went really well for them.
Oh, दादा
And Clash Bashing, you're joining us at the desk. You were at that match.
दिनु है
What did you make of
किङलाई
it?
रन्टर छिटो छिटो मार्दी लग्नु छ छिटो
A little bit of a back and forth match there, but they're showing why they're the defending world champions here.
क्रसर मोटर ढल्ने यार
Yeah, and might look like with the strategies and everything, having some safer options with the more common
मैले त्यही सोचिरहेको थिएँ तीनटै रकेट ओर्न फाल्ने भनेर त्यही गर्नु आउँछ आएन के हो आयो
We had Carry Esports starting off
आयो आयो या सिजनमा हो केटाहरु
ओजी ओजी हेर्नु
They were quite nervous after that first attack with how dominant that was, because remember,
Poison.
pretty much used the Tome and the
फर्नेसमा पोइजन
just for cleanup in the end.
फर्नेसमा पोइजन
Yeah, it was a beautiful
सीसीमा
shot.
पोइजन
Maybe
दादा
they can use that to
विलाई नि
pull
हान्नु कुन
themselves
बताउँदा
into that
भयो
lower
भयो
bracket
छोड्दिनु
matchup. But even though we were saying Reported Gaming
यहाँ
didn't
त
get off
hat-trick
to a
हाने
good
यार
start,
1
we
स्टारको
got 90%, 86% just short of that margin.
Ability,
When you
ability,
look at how the attacks came in, they were still two teams kicking the wall
अघि
off
जहाँ
for
ओजी
them.
त्यहाँ
And I
हान्दियो
feel
हुन्छ
like being able to start with
यस्तो
those
छ
2
नि यस्ता
stars and
पेनल्टी
pull
पनि
yourself
क्लेम हान
together
र
to
अझै
then get the 3 stars, that says something else about the
पेनल्टी
team.
पनि
So
क्लेम
again,
हान्ने हो कि
great
यिनीहरुको त
job
Photo
to
na,
them.
हान्ने हो दाइ
We'll be
रुल
taking
इज
a little
रुल
bit of a look at the bracket. You can see our next matchup, Dizzy
त्यहाँनिर
Stamina
त्यो
versus
के रे
Navi.
जियन
That's
पनि
going
हो
to
नि
be
त
तर
exciting.
जियन
तर
पनि
तर
भन
त्यो
त
तर
Let's take
त्यो
a look
पोस्ट
at that
हान्ने
bracket
त
first and
अचम्म
update
भयो
everyone as to what's
आफ्नै
भने
गल्ती
के
क्या
थाहा छैन
आफै
मलाई
So
यो
our first semi-final upper bracket match is set. It's going to be Elevate versus Reported Gaming.
यो इनेको क्यानमा गए त म पनि प्रो हुन्थ्यो यार केटा
Our next match
कुन
is
क्लासमा
Stamina versus Navi, and then finally after that we'll have Tribe Gaming versus Shibai. And then
यो मुला
moving
विधानले
down to the lower
चाहिँ
bracket today,
के
and
गर्छ
now we
गर्छ
have
खाले
2 of our teams. Our first elimination
विधानको
bracket is
फेभरेट
going
टिम
to
हो नि
be
ज्यान
Carry Esports versus Milliseam
टु
MG.
टु
That will be the elimination matchup.
That's right. It is going to be at least one
Verified
of
Nepal
those.
भनेको
Unfortunately, but let's take a look at the. I mean, we knew the result. General X is the MVP with
भेरिफाइड नेपाल
50%.
कसको टिम हो यो
Absolutely.
यो जेनरल एक्सले त जहिले पाउँछ यार एमभीपी
That General X would get that. If he's going to get a 3-star, I think it's a full
बाफरे
conclusion.
क्लास
A little bit like
क्लास
Max from
ब्यासिङ र
Elevate.
जुडो
He's
हेर्नु
just
त
one of those players that
साइज
have so much about them, the personality, character, and
मजा
yet
पनि
they
भयो
can pull it off.
निरव र म जस्तै हैन
Each and every time.
म त्यस्तो मोटेन छैन यार
Some replays of that
यही
last
क्या
matchup
मग्नु
as we get ready for Dizzy Stamina.
यो के हो यार मोटो त मा अलिकति युसुफ जस्तो छ त यार न
युसिबी हो दाइ युसिबी हो
अनि त्यस्तै लाग्छ त यार अनुहार त के हो
त्यही हो
सुरुमै 300 जेकिन कस्तो खुसी भएको थियो यार
हेर न अनुहार म रुनै लागिसकेको थियो त्यो
डेन बिगारेपछि यिनीहरुको मोटिभेसन सक्यो के
मैले हाने छैन त यार
आवाज नआयो कि गायब भयो
गायब
यो म्युजिक आइरहेछ नि
Hello, I'm Carbon Finn, and I'm here with Dizzy STMN, who got the very first golden ticket this year. What has led to that success?
I think our team is very solid this year because we're not just
होमीको बेसा सेम होमीकै जस्तो एटेक हान्दै के
डीजीको सबसे खतरा प्लेयर को लाग्छ निरव दाइ तपाईलाई walk me through
मलाई त डार्क स्टार र सिन्टे खतरा लाग्छ
सेम मलाई म्यामथ पनि खतरा लाग्छ तर हगेको नि अस्ति एमएमजी बाट
फायरबल लिएर आए थिए नि
एमएमजी बाट केबाट गरे लास्ट सम्म
एमएमजी हैन बीएम लेगेसी हो कि के थियो हैन
So in the past 10 days we've been grinding so much, playing
तर यार यिनीहरुले चोक हान्छ जस्तो त लाग्दैन हो मलाई
between the game and trying to spot. What are you trying to predict what's about to happen, so you try to get ahead of that delay?
Usually the spotter needs to look forward, like look ahead. So if I know that a troop is about to engage, I won't tell him when there's 1 second. I see it before because I don't need to be focused on the dropping of the other troops and whatever.
telling you like तर नाभिको प्र्याक्टिस त डरो भएको छ यार यो लेजेन्ड लिगमा हुन त
मलाई ट्रिपल हान्दै
big source of damage is about to come, but he spotted earlier. Otherwise the spotter is almost like troublemaking if he's spotting too late.
You know you're at least first team that
यस्तो हुनु पर्यो के तिमीहरु पनि युसिफ दाइको भर मात्र गरेर हुन्छ
you don't have to say a player name, but is there a player that you're trying to target and try to bait?
Navi is the first team we're facing. We know how strong they are. They are a world-class team. Like they've been world champions before, so we didn't get a too lucky draw. But I think.
फेरि पास पनि हामी हारेको मज्जाले फेरि कस्तो नमिठो हार्यो नि ओभर धेरै लाग्यो
हैन जिएन जगा हारे
निरव
जेनसँग
हजुर जित्ने म्याचमा ग्यालेरी ट्रिपल हान्छ नि हैन जित्ने म्याचमा त ग्यालेरी ट्रिपल हान्छ नि हैन
यसले हान्छ
आउँछ क्या
ए ट्रिपल हान्छ यार स्टिकले अब
We're getting warm.
हान्दै ट्रिपलै हान्छ ल
मैले जब ट्रिपल हान्छु हैन जहिले हान्छ यो ज्ञानले जब हान्छ जहिले जित्छ बनाउँथे त मै
अनुदाइलाई लेट्सको भन्थ्यो त ग्रुपमा लेट्सको हान्दै
पर्सेन्ट लिएर आउने केटा हो
बाबा यागा
59 or 90 भन्छ यार पुरै बेज अफ तरिकाले हारे क्या हाम्रो
ओ सबसे धेरै पर्सेन्ट मैले हानेर छु त
अनि
स्टार प्लेयरले नि अनि त्यस्तो खत्तम हान्ने थियो अनि
यो म्याच त डेन्जरस हो
ओए लड़का सो हेर्नु न
आज त मुड खराब भयो यार
Sunday, Fluxy, Mask, Darkstar, and
ओए केटा तो अपोनेन्ट मलाई च्यालेन्ज गरे जस्तो छ
Nice one, gentlemen, and their opponents, they are a staple in Clash of Clans esports. Can they claim another world
वान स्टारको च्यालेन्ज गरे जस्तो छ के अनि यार हल्का एनर्जी लाएर बोल न यार
ओए म्यान स्टार्स ओ माय गॉड
काजुमा बहुत राम्रो खेल्छ यार
कजुमा त डेन्जर हो
काकु थ्रो जस्तो लाग्छ यार मलाई नाभिमा त काकुले बिगाड्छ जस्तो लाग्छ अहिले नि
काकु ये 14 को फाइनल हुँदा नि 2 स्टार हाने त्यही गाइन
सब नेपाल आइरहेको छ
They are Stars, Klaus, Kazuma, Yatta, and Goku.
याटाको सेकेन्ड टाइम हो
याटा दामी आछ
याटा त अति क्यूट लाग्छ यार मलाई
अड्डे अट्याक्सबाट हैन याटा एकचोटी 8th भएको अनि सेकेन्ड यो सेकेन्ड टाइम हो
Ladies and gentlemen,
होला याटा सुपर बोलर याटा
सेकेन्ड टाइम हो
यार
So that's it from me. I'm going to head
लास्ट टाइम नि खेलेको थियो
to break down what's about to happen.
पहिला बेबी ड्रागन देखाउँथे
Those team introductions, they are getting me hyped up every single time. I mean, this really is the clash of two titans.
Oh man, like two absolute titans in the industry. You have Dizzy, who have just been so dominant throughout the entire season, and then the absolute fan favorites, former world champions, and Navi over there.
अनि दाइले ओजी के गरे यार क्रसर मोटरमा दिनुपर्छ नि
All 8 of our teams are
त्यहीको आइप्याड हो
really
क्या
good at this matchup. It's definitely one to keep your eye on.
Yeah, this is for sure going to be a clutch match because I mean both of those teams now we have seen in the first matches were able to push I've seen that Dizzy skipped the question of Carbon a little bit if they would bait a specific player. So the question is still open. Are we going to see player specific bait? What's going to be the game plan coming into this match?
That's always the interesting thing. Like, same thing with Navi. We know that Dizzy, they've come up with some really creative attacks throughout the season. Can they use that to their advantage and maybe bait some of those entries that are a little bit more interesting? It's hard to predict any player's entry. That's a big factor, especially with those spring trap changes.
Yeah, I mean, if I can ask for something, by the way, I would like to see another minion Prince shows there. I mean, that was pretty cool. But in the end, we're going to see, I think, a lot of crazy attacks. And it's just something to highlight with Dizzy. They are the team with smooth in the entire game. They're not just super consistent, but as well creative. Where do we have to deploy
एकजनाले त 90 हानेर लाज बचाइदियो
but as well the pathing, the follow-up plan, which is so easy.
Identify base as fast as these players have to, and then executing. As we go ahead and take a look at Navi's lineup here, Stars, Klaus, Gaku, the Stars, they all look really, really good. We know what both these squads can bring to the table. But all that's wiped clean. We're here at Atlanta. We're here at the Clash Clans World Championship. What do you have for us today?
I mean, they are going to show for sure. And as well, they are grinding the new legend quite a bit. So this is now with the new modifier. You don't have the equipment reductions in the legend modifier, but still, you have the bonus damage on the defensive heroes, and as well the damage reduction on the heroes. So it is really close. So you can now get this practice in, which I feel like for a lot of those players are boosting their level even way further.
It's such a tough thing, especially for a more casual player. Like, you watch these Clash Clans esports and you're like, why aren't these pros 3-starring? It's those damage modifiers. And now with the more casual players like myself getting into that, like, oh my goodness, this is what they're playing on? It is so hard. And that's not even with our modifiers. So, it's a really interesting thing. See how everyone's feeling on this stage.
या त हैन के त्यो म हो के अघि देखि म्युटमा राखेर पो एक्लै बोलिरहेको छु
Clash Champs over here. Give me a spud. What's going on, Clash Champs? And Carbon Finn. He's taken some time off from being on the desk, so I've managed to grab him and drag him over here to join me. Right, we've got Dizzy Stamina going up against Navi. We'll get a vibe check from everyone, but I want to specifically come to you first, Clash Champs. What's the vibe going into this game? Who do you think?
They're
both extremely very talented teams. Both have been here. I see recognize a lot of the players. If I was a betting man, I'd probably go with Navi.
Ooh, he's got Navi in the books. Carbon Finn's looking uncertain. What about you, buddy?
My predictions were actually Navi when I submitted them there, but it's going to be tough. I don't know. It could go either way.
We've had a bit of a theme going on, haven't we, so far today, with Elevate taking the first win and Reported Gaming Experience is kind of taking the dub here on the main stage. Navi got that breadth of experience as well. And Dizzy Stamina, not having experience, but I kind of lean towards Navi as well. I feel a bit bad now. Maybe I should say Dizzy Stamina. But you know what? You guys at home, and of course everyone here at DreamHack Atlanta, you've all been voting to see what your prediction is for this match. So let's find out right now. Standing by. Navi are the favourites with 64% coming into this next matchup. Who's going to be? Is it going to be experienced? You know what? Let's test with the crowd. What do we think? Navi?
त्यही हो नि नाभी जति फ्यान फलोइङ त कसको छ यार Colle,
Crowd's getting excited. I know we're getting excited up here into. I think like anytime you do a poll like that, Navi are just fan favorites. Navi could be going up against a team of 10, and I think they'll still be favored 60-30. You know, like, that's just how much of a fan favorite Navi has been, and they're just such like a juggernaut in the Clash of Clans esports. They've been around for so many years.
Yeah, I mean, they have been on this high level for such a long time, and keeping up with that level is really impressive. For me, really the big question is what type of strategies are going to see from them. Attacks as well on YouTube, for example, so you can follow them. But as well, this means the other teams have maybe an easier time to scouting them. This is the first attack, maybe one of the first Royal Champion charge attacks, which is really strange to say.
Charge into the Root Riders. He does have a ton of invisibilities here, but does have that little bit of support with the overgrowth and the recall to bring that Royal Champion back. But the big thing here is getting the value, setting the stage, setting the pathing for these Root Riders to enter this base.
Oh, they are the first trap we have a spring trap as well getting triggered. So far, the Fox still alive. Can the Fox dodge some traps as she's stuck on that storage? Another spring trap, another spring trap. We have seen it.
Okay. Plays it safe and recalls because
the
there was more traps right there. But that RC was taking a beating. Now here comes the right into the Root Riders could go right alongside of it. They should be able to path down that left side along with that launcher going right into get that crusher motor out of the way early.
And it is gone. It's going to trigger right away, so it's not going to get away further, but it did its job. Can those Yetis now take massive for him? We have as well the client comes again. Look, and they get the job done.
Klaus Muller the legend में छैन काजुको फायरबल हान्दैछ
take out those ice golem.
वाइडन एबिलिटी कस्तो छिटो दियो चाहिदैन थियो नि
This nice protection still has the back end of this base. Not to mention, still 3 of those invisibilities that can be used to protect all of these troops, the heroes, whatever he needs it for. First invis goes down on the RC.
Oh, that multi-gear tower is so dangerous in another invis to keep that Royal Champion alive. The Root Riders are getting another invis. Remember, he has to recall it, so he has this backside power and another overgrowth to be used because
That's one thing we noticed in the last war time. Always a factor, and you always have to be aware of it. That's a risky play about those charges, as they do consume a lot of time. Root Rider should open this wall, giving access to the Queen. But remember that enemy Queen, she's dealing more damage. It's a weird trade-off there, but you have to get that Queen under control as quickly as possible. Barbarians still can access that last compartment.
कस्तो बेला अड्क्यो भने
there we go, spiking through, and this now
इले आफ्नो अड्क आर्यो हो यार
there was some troop getting deployed on the client
that Root needs to break the wall, get through there. He's got the frost, he's got the keys, remember those buildings got damaged. The Root is on the expo. The
RC एबिलिटी छिटो दियो भने आइसक्यो थियो यार
King goes down. I don't think he's going to have enough time. 14 seconds into the game. But it's going to be such a high percentage attack.
त्यो हेर न यसले RC एबिलिटी छिटो दियो भने सब आउँछ
storage being in its own compartment would have gotten tricky to really get what we've seen so far when we're falling short within those stacks. And Yana starting things off strong for Navi. And now the question is, what is
Klaus मात्रै हो के serious
Klaus really puts the pressure back over to
Klaus
like you mentioned, a lot of lower attacks out of that first spot.
यसको त रिएक्सन आउँदैन स्प्रे आउँदा पनि जे आउँदा पनि
tone setter to start this war. And you saw he was kind of smiling a little bit. I don't think I've ever seen a Navi player frown. They're always so humble and so energetic on the stage.
मैले क्लाउस हासे फर्स्ट टाइम त्यो एलिवेटको वर्ल्ड वारमा पाइले ट्रिपल हाने फर्स्ट अट्याक ड्र्यागन
remember,
त्यही बेला मात्र देखायो यार
so considering that you're going into a bait, it's entry. Super impressive.
यसले त रुट राइडर मास्टरै गरेछ
It's bringing in super with this army composition and a quick water walk into getting with the angry quick funnel in any of those corner compartments.
Looking like a strong starter here for Hog, and this is what we kind of talked about. These guys are so so good with these
Yes,
warded
no,
charges, just
okay,
identifying the value, setting up the base perfectly for how they want to. Now the Flame Flinger is going to go ahead and join the party over on the left-hand side. Remember, it's going to throw those fire mites, just deal all that damage. Each shot, more and more damage, and then after it's done, it's going to drop those Fire Castle troops out. But now the Warden is taking damage from the Expo. The Expo, one of those few defenses that can outrange the Flame Flinger, doesn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, the issue now though is the Warden has
तर
to take
सुपर
on the
एजी
Expo
लास्ट खतरा
because
छ
that
ट्रिपल आउनु
one
बेस
is
छैन यो त
outranging the Flame Flinger.
मैले अघि
Interesting
भर्खरै
that
आएको
Expo
छु,
is
बाहिर
getting-
निस्किरहेको।
he's
Hop
using
त
the
यो
hot
त
rod puppet on that World Champion, something which we're not seeing that often, to be honest. It's typically the Rocket Spear or the Haste Vial for really
सुरु गर्न
really
तर
World Champion
तर
charges.
तर हिरो
So,
इक्विपमेन्टले
let's
गर्दा
see how much value
तब
you
त
can
टाइम
get
भेल्यु
with
हुन्न है
that as the pathing at the bottom side is getting set up
कारण
slowly.
15 मा यत्रो बेर वाइडन वा हान्नै पाउँदैन थियो
And especially, like, it depends where he pops that hog puppet. Like, if he's over there by that scatter shot, the crusher mortar, that poison tower throws, those hogs could get ate alive. But at the same time, a few
Well,
of
the
those
three
hogs could get out
handings,
front
yeah.
and just soak up a few traps, and maybe that's the play.
स्नेक ब्रेसलेट
We do have
स्नेक
the jump spell
ब्रेसलेट
right in
रहेछ
there
यार
to give
दुईटा
access
जम्प
to the next compartment. Remember, Super Yeti's not like the Root Riders. They're not going
Ete
to open
to
those
core
walls.
त
So
खाइदिने
you do
भयो
need to
त
support them, whether it's with
उनीहरूले
jumps
त
or
टिकट पनि
earthquake
13
boots
14 13
from the
14 हामीले
king. So the
निकालेको
jump
हैन
spells
निकाल्दा
go ahead and
टिकट
give them access further into the base.
Yeah, and there were a lot of string traps.
झन्डै वान साइड एरिया हान्यो
Which is
यार
not optimal for him. The poison
होइन यार
is
तर
making
गिगाबमले बचाउँछ
as
क्या
the
हो
Eternal Tome is running out. The
ओइ ल
Gigabomb was not
सुपर
tanked,
एजीले
and the
त
Warden
डज
took a
गर्यो
lot of damage. Now we have air traps hitting those healers, and he
यिनीहरूको
needs
टिम
to have
अलिक
them
खोडी
alive.
भनेको त्यही प्लक्सी त हान्ने अरू त सब खतरा हान्ने किलर
One is
किलर
barely hanging on there, goes down.
हान्दिको हान्दिको
Queen
ए
is also
त्यही
taking a
माथि
lot of damage from that
रुट
crusher
राइडर
mortar.
मात्र हान्ने
Forced to
खाल पनि
ability,
छैन
the
क्या
Flame Flinger
पुरा
pops over there on the left side, bringing out
प्लक्सी हेर्नु
three
प्लक्सीले
Yetis to
कि त
support
सुरुमै
that
टिमले
push.
जित्छ अनि केही
King's
गर्नु
on the
पर्दैन दुई हान्ने हुन्छ
exterior
कि
with
त
his ability,
हार्ने
and the
भएर
crusher
सियर
mortar
हार्छ
is a
त्यस्तो खालको
lethal
यो
टिम
विनर लस बेला त फ्लक्सी जहिले हल्किन्छ यो त फेल हो
Yeah,
यो
yeah.
त के हो होइन आयो यार आयो
इन्टारेस्ट देखा त ओए
आरसी एबिलिटी छ हौ
एबिलिटी स्वैग हक पपेट हक पपेट
ओए
युज गर्छ यार
ओए
And they are showing why they were in our monthly
होइन
qualifiers.
तर हक पपेटले बचायो यार त्यो क्याननको अगाडि
Again, just giving our golden ticket team such a hard time. They were the first team to qualify, and then they came back each and every month and made it so difficult for other teams to qualify.
Yeah, they have made it difficult, but in this
कति
first match, it
हान्यो
seems
यार
like they are making
ल
it
हेर
really
न
difficult for
यो
Navi
ट्रिपल
because
हानेर
they're
खुसी छैन
starting off
याताले फेल हानेर
strong.
त्यति खुसी
Hawk
थियो
with the Super Yetis getting the job done. Really nice yes, for taking
बिचारा
advantage
अनारे
of
त्यस्तो
that
छ के
Flame
गर्ने
Flinger. It is the strongest siege when you give it the right person to the
के
right
हो त दाइ
hands.
कस्तो हो यो त
Because,
खतरा
it is
प्लेयर हो
not
कि
easy.
यसले टाउन
It needs
15 मा
a
हुँदा
lot
त
of help.
$50,000 छाप्यो होला यार लेजेन्ड लिगबाट
It is crazy good.
Yeah, you and I were talking about that over
17 मा नि त
the
छाप्यो त
difference between you using a flame flinger and me using
20
a
मा त
flame
बरु
flinger is
त्यस्तो
so
छापेन
different
दाइ टाउन
because you
15
have
मा
to
त
know
10 वटा आइडी लिएर खेल्थ्यो नि रुला रुला
like
बाप रे
Expo,
बाप
tanking the Expo with that
केटा
ward
हो
with the
मेरो
Angry
ट्रिपल
Jillet,
हेर्न
just
जाऊ बरु
excellent
म्याचमा
play, such
खतरा
a beautiful play. And
को
then
यो
even that
बोलेको
hog puppet at the end, I was worried those hogs were going to get ate alive.
उमेश
They were
बोलेको
fine. They were
उमेश
perfectly in
ए
there.
म्याच
Crusher
भइरहेछ
went down. But next up, it'll be
सक्यो अघि
Kaku from
टिजिएन
Navi.
टिजिएनको
Needs a 3-star
उमेश ब्रो
respond
कति वर्ष हो
as we see Flux
उमेश
with the
ब्रो
fun
कति
face
वर्ष हो
there.
I mean,
बाह्र हो के म्यानेजमेन्ट हो के बल्ल
well, let's see how that goes.
के हो
See
र
another Super Yeti attack. I mean, this seems to be now meta.
सबभन्दा
Quite
सानो उमेश
excited.
भयो क्या
Super
अहिले
Yetis getting
म
used
भने
a lot by
म
those
थिएँ
close
म पछि
combination with
सरोज
the
आयो
Angry
अब फेरि
Jelly.
उमेश
Want to set up the funnel, but right now
बिरान
at
पनि त
least
थियो
the
नि
siege which is
बिरान गरे
selected
त्यो
is
के
another
अरे
flame
बिरान
finger.
के
Do
बिरान
we
स्पोर्ट
see
खेल्नेहरू के
nice setup?
स्पोर्ट
Seems to
खेल्नेहरू
be the case. But remember, with this setup, he needs to take down this
ल
Expo
ल
with
ल
the
ग्लो
wall
एभर
block.
आयो
This
है
is
केटा
the crucial part of this attack.
The Expo and that mortar, but the mortar obviously right there in front. But that's why you run that Angry Jelly. You get the first 35 seconds of the attack, so that Angry Jelly is going to allow that Warden to target only defenses, and that's going to
यो
push him
गएको
right
त
into the
म्याच
Expo.
मलाई
And now the
यसको
Expo going down.
यसको त
It's gonna
एक
set
थोपा
the
भर
tone for the
लाग्दैन
rest
भने
of the attack.
मलाई
The pathing is
होइन
beautiful.
यसले भर्खर त हान्थ्यो
Pathing is really beautifully set up so
यसको
far.
नाभिमा यही हो क्या के सबसे अलि
हो भने
हुन्छ अरे झ्याकझ्याक लाग्ने के
एक थोपा भर लाग्दैन यार यसको त मलाई
होइन यसले भर्खर त हान्थ्यो
सुपर एटी मिठा भयो र
बाहिर गए बाहिर गए
होइन आउँछ होला भित्र ओइ ल
बाहिर गए
आयो आयो आयो
आरसी 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 मर्यो आरसी
मर्यो
Two of those Super Yetis stuck on a wall. One does
बाल
come in
फुटेर
and
चाहिँ
the
Super
Warden's
Yeti
home
ले।
to protect everything.
दा
But he
भन्दै
needs those
बिगारे
Yetis to get back
मैले
with the
मैले
group.
ठिक गरेँ यार
Those walls are
डिजीलाई
open, and now
भोटानेर
they're going around.
मैले पनि
मैले नाभि लेखेँ थिएँ फेरि पछि डिजी हालेको तर के काम
मैले डिजी हालेर ठिकै गरेँ जस्तो लाग्यो
रिपोर्टेडले जितेर
Now he has some Yetis on the
नत्र
back end, which
गोल्डन
might be
क्लास
not
मेरै
too
हुन्थ्यो
bad, to be honest,
मैले
because they are
रिपोर्टेडलाई
completely
नि
fresh when
भने
it comes down to those electrolytes, and they can now carry on the back end, but there's still a lot of base left. As the
तर अघि
flame
नै के त्यो
fingers keep
तर यार
pushing
अझैसम्म
and
नि
take down
आउँछ
everything
आउँछ
after
जस्तो
building the
देख्छु
far
त
left
यार
side.
होइन आउँदैन
And
आउँदैन
he
भन्ने
definitely
मलाई
those Yetis getting stalled into that compartment. It seemed to be a little bit of a factor as he lost a
त्यो
lot of
आर्ची भए हेर न त्यो त्यो
Yetis are still
सुपर
pushing
एटी
along
भएको
very
साइड सब
strong, but it
आउँथ्यो
is very thinned out. You still see that flame flinger over on the left side.
भाइले
There's
गएको
seven
सुपर
Yetis in there to help take out some of this compartment.
कसम
But
यार
this
त्यो
one is
आर्ची
definitely
बचे भए
going
त
to fall
आउँथ्यो
short
होला
of
यार
Down
सुपर एटी भित्र
And
भित्रै
if you
हुन्थ्यो
take the
लेफ्ट साइड
percentage
सब
points,
फिङ्गरले
I mean,
खाइदिरहेछ
this has to be one of the lowest percentage attacks which we have seen
ठोक्क
so
बेच
far in
त्यो
this
Gap लो त मैले जस्तो हाने यार
It's not so far at least getting to the 70%.
मैले जस्तो हाने कि
Now getting a little bit
खै
higher with the
69
flying
हान्थ्यो
castle
क्या
opening
यहाँ
up.
69 मात्र
Super
हान्दैन
minions
टाइम
pushing him in
फेरि
above the 70%
होइन होइन
point,
भे अनि
but
त्यत्रो
still
रोटेर
is
प्र्याक्टिस
not
गरेर यहाँ
the
सुपर
attack
एटी
now
किन
being in
हाने
this
बे
position, especially with Dizzy getting the 3-star early
प्रो
on.
हो नि
Yeah,
त
it's going to be a lot of pressure over to them, and this one is just creeping up to the mid-70s here. Obviously, every percentage point is going to matter. They're going to have to get a triple or a big one-star defense, which is less likely at some point in this war, and then they have to make up some of the ground on defense. And with a team as
अब एउटा
consistent as
तिन तारा
Dizzy
हान्दिएपछि
Stamina,
डिजीले
it is
चिलिम
going to be
फरियो
so
नि
hard to
यिनीहरू
do.
Yeah, and as we're watching the last
डिजी
couple
त
of
अब डाक्टर हान्छ होला
pick up
कि
more
त
percentage
त्यो
points.
अर्को के
Let's
अरे
just
त्यो
go a little bit
गड
more
के
about base speeding because
डिजीले
let's
त
see those
प्रेसरै
couple
परेन
of
कि
red mines on the
आनन्दले
back end
हान्छ
there. This is why you try to spread them out like 3
अब
to
यी
4
किन
of
प्रेसर
those red
लिनु
mines
अब
because
चिलमा
they're
हानिहाल्छ
taking
नि
down the test loons.
सिन्थेटिक
And this
डार्क
means you
स्टारले
can
टिन
hide
हान्छ
the
जो
black
दुईटा
mines
मध्ये एउटामा
behind that.
मलाई मलाई
Because,
मलाई
well,
सिन्थेटिक
this is
डार्क
when the
स्टारको
healers are going
क्रिएटिभबाट
down
हेर्न
early
मन
on.
छ
This is
यार
how we can defend
सिन्थीले
those
बरु
flanks.
हान्छ
फायरबल हान्छ
You
लाग्यो
see
दुइटैले
always those smaller groups of red mines on
सिन्थीले
the
चाहिँ हान्न
outside.
सक्छ
Trying to
फायरबलहरू
target those
एउटा
test
नि एउटा
loons early in the
फाइबरबाट
beginning.
ठिक आउँथ्यो
This one, entry point was not
लास्टमा
predicted,
आउन
but
सक्छ
the
बरु
base
आयो
did
भने
still really
होइन
well defend well.
सिन्थेले बरु
Picking
ड्रागन
up
हान्न
this
सक्छ डार्क
80%
स्टारले चाहिँ
there
फिक्स
at
फायरबल
the end. So anything
Bro,
that Dizzy X
Einsteinको
puts
पनि
up
फायरबल
above
त
80%
खतरा
is
हायो
just going to add to their
Oh,
advantage.
yeah.
Another 3-star here is very devastating.
क्रिएटिभ के उसको भए क्रिएटिभमा हो कि अस्ति मैले के गरेँ नाभिसकेको
तिमीलाई इन्डियाको त्यो जतिन इन्डियाको त्यो जतिन भन्ने थाहा छ जातिन कि के
त्यो पनि खतरा खेल्छ जतिनले
ओहो त्यसको फायरबल पनि अति बवाल छ यार
We're all expecting
डेजर्ट
Dizzy
लिग
to
पनि
be
सही
that
हान्दो
team,
रहेछ त्यसले
which is bringing in the fireballs, which is bringing in those warden charges.
यार मुटै अफ
He
भयो
didn't start so far with the warden charge, but the warden
त्यसलाई
charge
जिआरमा
simply
बोलाउनु
didn't
पर्यो
follow
क्या
up. Is this now going to be something different?
आउँदैन
That's the
त्यो त
question as we're about to load into the
अनि
next.
दाइले भन्नुपर्दा उसलाई
And
नि
there's still a ton of war to be played, and we have Darkstar as
त्यसलाई त
our next
अफर पनि
attacker.
आयो होला नि तर
Definitely one of
खोइ
those
यार
more
त्यसले सिग्मा
creative
स्क्वाडै
players.
छोडेन
Let's see what we have brought to the table, and we do
Yeah,
have a
Sigma
little bit of a
squad,
hodgepodge
yeah.
here. We have the Rocket Loon. We got like one Yeti. We got an Inferno Dragon, a couple furnaces in there. So this is definitely going to be a fun fireball attack here with this Warden.
यो एलिभेटर यो त मलाई लास्ट ट्यापै लाग्छ यार
Much chaos, that's for sure. Starting things off with the warden charge at the bottom side, the furnace to support him. He wants to make sure that the attack is going a little bit quicker as he's going into 2-0.
यो टिम जे नेपालबाट
फिङ्गर
च्यानल
भ्यालु हेर
के
न
कुरा हुँदैछ बे
के बेस हो
It can be really time consuming, that is for sure. So let's see how good this is going to work as, oh my. At the top side, he has set up the Flame Flinger and used an Inferno Dragon to take down the defending Minion Prince to make sure that that Flame Flinger can take down so many buildings at the top side.
Such an OP play up there.
लिएर
How do
आइहाल्यो
these players
फायरबल
think of those things? Like an Inferno Dragon, very rarely
हेर न
do you see
आम्मामा
players like
त्यो
Darkstar
12
just
o'clock को भ्यालु हेर न अब
using those utility troops in there to take down that Minion Prince. And now the Flame Flinger's going to take
त्यो
down that
अति
multi-gear
यार
target.
वार्डिङ
Warden is
बच्ने
hanging on
वार्डिङ
for dear life down there. He does have to rage him up, but the Warden should be able
किन
to
हान्दै
get
जस्तो
this
लागेर
time
अहिले
down now
चाहिँ
with that rage.
Yeah, the tunnel is
होइन यार यो त आउँछ होला
walk towards the far right side.
बेसै
and
खाली
see if he's
भइसक्यो
going to trigger the
अँ
gear
ल
or
खोइ
he's
त अब
staying
वार्डिङ
out
त
of
अमर
range.
होला नि अब
And then he's setting up his heroes on the far left side. So this
वार्डिङले अब
attack so
सब
far is
खाइदिन्छ
looking
यतासम्म
beautiful, but you
आरसी
always have to
गिया
keep an
गिया
eye on the time as
रिस्कै
you're moving
लिँदैन यार
through.
मलाई त्यो
Warden
इन्डी
is
यसरी
not
हेर्न
triggering
लास्ट
the
लोभ
gear
लाग्छ
bomb.
भने
We have now the Archer Queen on the far right side, which is a surprise to me.
ओ यार यसले किन त्यहाँ फाल्यो बे
Remember, he'll get drawn
म त
towards
उता
that
माथि
queen
पारमा
as he
हाल्छु
gets
मैले नि त्यही
so they
सोचिरहेको
could actually pair up and kind of work together. We see super minions on the top
माथि
side out of that flinger.
यिनीहरूले क्या
Getting taken out by that flinger.
यिनीहरूले त मिस्टेक गरेको
There
नि
goes
केही
the ice
नयाँ कुरा हो
golem.
कि जस्तो
RC is
लाग्छ
going to go ahead and join on the left side and would join up with the king actually. So kind of heroes
Yes,
all
the
throughout the
खेलना
bottom
खोजेको
section of his base.
Gauntlet ल्या
ओए
हात
जाए
I mean, just the way
गॉन्डलिन ले
he's
रहा
like
था
really somehow
Well
splitting
done.
this space up is incredible. We have the Warren working at the bottom side, the Roach
अरे
on the
यार,
left
फेरि
side,
हान्दियो
King
यार।
tanking for the Roach
होइन
here,
यार,
but
त्यहाँ हेर न,
Queen
अब
is
कोर त
taking down
आँटीले
building
खाइदिन्छ नि
after
अब।
building.
And it's
मल्टीले त
only
त्यही
the
हो क्या?
ways that
हेर न ल
how
आमा
these gears are in.
अनि गन्टलेटको भ्याल्यु चाहियो नि त्यति नै हो बे
Those
यसलाई
three multis in the middle are tough. But remember, the number was 80% from Gaku. So he's already at 90% for Darkstar. Darkstar is just pushing that advantage. Here come
यो
the
त
Rocket
ट्रिपल
Loons. Here come
हान्यो
those minions. The Royal Champion is in with those Infernos.
ओइ 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 ओइ
They are
वाडेन
defending.
वाडेनले
Oh, the
चोकाने
Warden
हेर
gets
न वाडेनले
pulled
चोकाने
over.
हेर न
So now the Warden will
होइन,
target. He gets
तिराइसक्यो।
taken out. The healer should take it out. Can he get through that last multi?
तर यार यो स्निजी जति खतरा पेट त अरु कुनै
What we were expecting from
Poison
Dizzy.
swag,
They're the
poison
number
swag.
one team when it comes under those
अर्को
warning
होइन,
charges.
टाउनर पनि
And
निकालिदिन्छ यार
Darkstar
यसले।
showing that right here.
बब्बाले
The scary part
मलाई
right
मलाई
now
थाहा
is
थियो
there is
डिजीले
another
चोकान्दै
player on
हान्दैन
this
होला
team who's just so good with those
Bola,
fireball attacks.
Navi,
I mean, this is not going to
Navi,
get any
Savi,
easier
अब
from this point on. And
होइन
Navi
तर
is
डिजीको
in big,
तीनटा
big
मेम्बर चाहिँ
trouble.
फकै आफै
Dizzy
पुराउन
is such a
जिताउन के
hard team to
तिनटा के
base build against
म्यामर
because they are so
यो
versatile.
यो यो यो
They'll
डिजीमा
use
प्रक्सी
Brewbats,
मात्र हो
they'll
क्या
use
अलि
Super Jetties, they'll use Fireball, Rocket Loons, but also they use
बट
Fireball,
नपर्ने
Rocket Loons in the
यो
most
बुमबाट
creative
आएको होइन
ways
यो
you've
के भन्छ
ever
अरे अर्को
seen.
म्याक्स हो
And
के
that's what
भन्ने
I
अरे
love
यसको
from this team. I
म्याक्स
wonder, it
मास
seemed like it was going to be a little bit closer, but that
थाहा
Royal
भएन
Champion just hung in
यसलाई
there
त मलाई
and got
चिनै
it.
थिएन हौ टाउनर 17 सम्म
Yeah, I mean, he had even like
बुमबाट
bad
खेल्थ्यो
luck
के यो
with the
हो
Warden
र
following the Giant and still was able to 3-star. Really,
Kazuma.
really impressive show. And
बुम
now
भन्ने त
it
प्लेयरको
is
नाम
possible
बुम
for
हो
Navi
एउटा
to
थियो
यसले
just
काजु
somehow
काजुमाले
get his
ट्रिपल हान्ने
team back
अलिकति
into
भयो
this
भने
match.
आशा आउँछ
Everything
यसले नै
but a
अघि भने
3-star.
सक्यो
And it's only
यो
getting
स्टारको
harder.
लिड
At
भइसक्यो
some
यार दाइ
point, impossible.
यो टाउन
Yeah, they're down
17 भरिमा
2
सबसे
triples, but also
कन्सिस्टेन्ट त यो
percent
रहेछ
on
है
top of that. So they have to get a triple here, and then they have to hope for a defense. That's the big thing. You can triple, but if Disney get a 3-star,
होइन
they're
होइन
just matching you.
काजुमा
And hoping for a defense for Dizzy, we have seen so far how that works out. So you have to really take this match into your own hands. And at this point, with already two-star attacks, Navi has to change this right now with their next attack. Coming up then any second, Sigma is in and we're going to
यो
jump
डिजीको
in
एसटिएमएन
right
भनेको के हो
as well. And we are going to see
डिजीको
the
दुईटा
Rocket
स्पोन्सर
Loon
हो
attack as
दुईटा टिम
well.
हो के
I have said at
पहिला
the
डिजी
beginning, I
मात्र थियो
think the
पछि
Warden
चाहिँ
charge
आएको
or in general Rocket Loon attacks are going to be the meta and most crucial part attacks for this World Championship.
They are very
ल ल ल
crucial, very meta, but
आमामा
they're
हेर
also
अन्त
so
हेर त
difficult. All it takes is one little mistake
Sabi
and the
nga.
whole attack can go
Nakakatawa si
sideways.
Kiran
But these pro players are so great at navigating. Look at that. Oh my goodness, those headhunters did some work up there getting that Royal Champion taken out early. Here comes some Rocket Loons and
Duita
take out
छाडियो।
Finger
Expo now.
set
Just
अति
picking
छ
up
त यार
great value to start this out. Setting the tone here. Here comes that Warden. Here comes that Fireball.
ओइ
Early
ओइ
onto
ओइ
the
ओइ
pressure
ओइ
order.
ओइ ला
Oh,
ओइ ओइ
भाइ 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 नाभी
हुन्छ अहिले अरे
Oh no,
Warden
this
पनि
is now
दुन्छ
going
क्या
to be
अब
so
Finger
tough
पनि
to
गर्यो।
recover. The Warden is going to charge
मलाई
into
भित्रै
two
पर
heroes,
आइरहेको थियो
3
क्या
multi-arch
हैट
towers,
यार
ओइ
and a mortar
निरव
crusher.
नाभी आजै जान्छ जस्तो छ घर यार
that is
हो भने यार
devastating.
त्यस्तो
Things
बिजी
over there just
यस्तो
did
बिजी
not
त
get
नहुनु
covered by
पर्ने हो
the
यार
Fizzes.
तर यिनीहरूले जिते पनि तल ब्र्याकेटबाट आए
It's
अँ,
doable.
आजै घर जान्छ मलाई थाहा
It
थियो
could
आजै
be
घर जान्छ
difficult, especially with that king now coming out to visit that warden.
मलाई
Notice he
त्यस्तै
does have a
लाग्छ
slot up
नानीको
counter, so
कस्तो
he's
पर्छ
aware that that warden is
कि त
going to
ट्राइब कि त
go
बुझ्छ
वार्डन
होइन
वार्डन
but still the
Oh.
timing.
होइन
Remember,
वार्डन
those
त
defending
बच्छ
heroes,
हेडन
they
त
deal
खान्छ
20% more damage. That warden,
केही
10%
गरी
less
बुम लोवर
damage.
ब्र्याकेट
So
झऱ्यो
you
भने त
have to get
सिक्दै
those
त्यसपछि
headhunters in on time and get them dealing the damage.
ट्राइबले भनिदिन्छ ट्राइब झऱ्यो भने पनि
Versus the Warden, this is not really fun.
होइन यार
for
ट्राइबलाई
the
त
Warden
जित्छ होला
whatsoever,
नि
except
नाभीले
he's keeping it out of range. That is really nicely done. But then we're
कसम
having
बे
2 multi-arch towers on this back end.
बिचाराहरूको लक
Town Hall
नभए भने कि
should
के
get
भन्नु यार
picked up
कतिसम्म
somewhat easily,
चोकान्न
but he
सक्छ
still
बे
has to make sure that he's increasing the percentage as much as possible because
जिआरले भन्दा खत्रै चोकान्थे त केटा
and it's really not looking the best.
बा नत्र त त्यहाँ फिङ्गर भ्याल्यु हेर्नु न कस्तो हान्छ
तीन आउँथ्यो यो तीन आउँथ्यो होला है तर त्यो फायरबल नगएको भए
Down on percent. At some point,
यो
you
मुलाले
have to
अझै
get a triple, you have to catch a break. But the break was just there for Dizzy on this one as that
के गरे
fireball
मुलाले
misses
एक
its
मिनट
mark.
मात्र भइसक्यो के मुला बाहिर बाहिरको भ्याल मात्र तान्न लाग्यो क्या जाने
त्यही त नि अब ट्विस्टर हान्छ
कसै मात्र तान्ने
अब आरसीले डाउन
Into
हो
the
क्या
90s, maybe even flirt with a
त्यो
3-star.
पनि
ओ
नआउला
यार यसले कस्तो छिटो आरसी फाल्यो हौ
That
आइसको
Town trying
हुँदा
to use some loons to push her in. But there's now even traps
In
on
vision
this
त
far
एउटा
left side against that Royal Champion as well as
युज
Warden
गर्ला नि
down.
अब
And the Warden is down. The Royal Champion
Warden
has to get the
is
Town
down.
Hall. And
गरेन
again,
बे
ओइ ओइ
oh wait, Town Hall.
Wait,
Oh,
wait.
he's going down.
ओइ
It was close for a for a second. That is right.
इनबी बारे
But
में
again,
यूज
you're
करता
right.
मारी
The
जगह से बारे
percentage is very low, and that's all.
डीजी ले 15 स्टार हान्ने रे क्या
It's like, what if we didn't miss that? How does this attack go? How close does it go? But we'll never know because we didn't miss it. And now it's going to be barely 80% here.
But really the biggest takeaway from here is how much those pros are trying to set up the flame finger. This is one of the most crucial things, and surprisingly, the Warden Charge Fireball is actually not about the fire. It is a nice thing to have, but setting up a flame finger, which is going to work for like 2 minutes on some area of the base, is just so valuable. So even invested that everything to set it up, and if that fireball would have hit, that would have been a complete different ball game. But in the end, it's another defense for Dizzy, and they have now the chance of taking a lead of 3 stars, and this is so far. Could be so far the most
some of the goal pass bagi
It's definitely the way it started. It seems that way. I mean, we haven't really had a war get this many 3 stars in general. So the fact that Dizzy are playing like this is just absolutely insane.
STM,
You're right,
STM,
just
STM
the
is
value from those flame flickers. It's such a valuable thing, but it's such a difficult thing. Sometimes you do have to make those commitments, and it distracts you for just that split second. And all it takes is that one miss, that one building uncovered, and your fireball has gone astray.
Is this high risk?
अब सिन्थेले आएर फेरि 300 जान्छ ढुक्क
सरस पनि गएछ
And then it's so hard to
मेरो त रिपोर्टर लैदियो नि
for sure true.
रिपोर्टर लैदियो
We have DZ getting ready with their next attack, and we have because we have checked with him, and this is how you actually pronounce the name, which so far over all of those years,
That's right. We've always said Senthe because that's just kind of how we say it. But he spoke with Banks and he let him know that it's actually Senthe. So we will try to respect him and get it right here. It's, how we are with our names, but starting off with that RC heavy investment with the Royal Champion chart. Going to go right into the top. Poison Tower might slow her down if she doesn't take it out, which she might be going there next. Is going to make an investment. And now that Royal Champion go ahead and top her ability, use that haste valve, get through the top.
मलाई लागिरहेको थियो सिन्थेले ड्रागन हुन्छ भनेर
एक तारा हानेर उताबाट अब दुईटा एट्याकमा दुईटै हान्छ
तिमीहरूले याद गरेछौ डार्क साइडले फायरबल बाइक के हान्दैन सिन्थेले बरु यो र फायरबल हान्छ नि ड्रागन
ओए मर्यो
अनि के हो यार एल त के भ्याल्यु ल्या जस्तै देखिदिन्छ
डाक्टरले फार्मा रुट राइडर पनि हान्छ नि दाइ खतरा तरिकाले हैन र
हो र
त्यो फर्स्ट यो के गोल्डन टिकट जित्दा खतरा हाने थियो रुट राइडर यस्तो हरि भ्याल्यु जित्यो
म त देखेको छैन यार एलले रुट राइडर हाने सिन्थेले हाने
रुट राइडर पनि
होइन म बुझ्दिनँ यार एलले यस्तो थोरै भ्याल्यु ल्याएको त्यही नि 90% कटाउँछ क्या
The Dread Trap is going to delay things a little bit, and it's going to rotate the minion prince in front, actually. The dragons are now catching up again. The Black Man is getting blocked as the king is moving now to this bottom.
rocket wall
Handful of rocket balloons in the clan castle, maybe expecting a ground attack on this base. But Sante going to the skies with our first dragon attack of the war, and things are looking really, really strong. Lots of dragons still up really good, especially with that overgrowth. Minion Prince things are looking great. How does
मलाई त
it feel
बुमले नै
this
फाइनल
last
जित्छ
farm
जस्तो
as that
लागिरहेछ
overgrowth is going to wear off?
Yeah, the overgrowth is going to wear off in just a couple of
What's your
seconds. There's a lot of poison tower.
दुईटा एडिङ ट्रिबल त आउँदैन
Dragon's fading. There's an Inferno Dragon. Watch the baby Inferno Dragon. Oh, does not get the Minion Prince. I think the defending Minion Prince along with that Monolith. And there's an air defense there. I think this is going to be just enough to hold this one back. But look at that percentage again. High percent into mid-90s here. 92, 93% maybe from the Phoenix. Now Phoenix will get taken out. But another 90% attack, and Navi have not been able to capitalize on this.
That's right. But, I mean, they have now the first defense. This is like the only thing they can hope for right now as things are looking more and more tricky for them. But this is then for Dizzy so far 8 stars. Only one attack not getting the 3-star mark, but still way above what we have seen otherwise from non-2-star attacks.
Remember, we started the day with a 10-10 war, so through 3 attacks, they're already at 8, well above average so far here in our World Championship.
तर मलाई बुमले 12 भन्दा कम स्टार हान्छ जस्तो लागेन यार
From them Last year we saw
I
them
never
kind of
this
get that golden ticket and then just lay low. This season they got that golden ticket
Elevator
first
the
month. They played
this
every single month after that. So I think it kept them fresh and
Kosko
kept them
attack
kind
bhane
of aware
kosko
of
attack
what their opponents are doing. They played Navi who knows how many times throughout the season.
Oh
So
yeah
they're so familiar
त्यो
with
त
their
अति
opponents.
छ यार
And we have Klaus
Creative
going in next for Navi. And
पहिला नि
we're
यस्तै
saying it
हाल्थ्यो
every
हामी
single
खेल्दा
time.
खेल्दाखेरि
Hey,
यार
the story has not changed. They
अस्ति
still
त्यो
need
फायरबल
to
र
get their 3-star. It's going to be, again, the Rocket Loons with the fireball.
Alien
Can
Fireball
they
Rocket Loon
make
लिएर आयो है
it work? That is the big question. We see 3 earthquakes, which means he might
हैन
go for
यसले त
some
हक्स
really
हक्स
nice
ठीक
fireball
छ
value.
Gonna
Oi,
be-
Klaus
that's gonna be
Niza
close
आएगा?
for sure. 3 invises, so he's probably gonna have to do quite a bit of setup here.
Well,
Or
Hachi must
maybe
have
even go with a quick fireball. Obviously, we'll have to see where he gets that all going. He's going actually really quick with the fireball, only using one of those invises and just taking out that left compartment right there, and that'll allow this warden just to have a nice little path around the outside of the space,
मन
and
लागेको छैन
even
होला
into the middle a little bit later.
त्यही भने है
Yeah, now he's trying to set up the flame
Kastari
flinger
खेलिरहेको
on the top side, but you can
यसै
still
हार्ने
see
उसै
it
हार्ने
though.
नै
Just by
हार्नु भन्ने
now,
होला
if you see like in somewhat outside X-bow, you can pretty much guarantee to say they are going to
And
test
Max
that. They're
Leader,
going to
Flux
some
Leader
type
तीन
of
हान्दैन क्या
traps
दुईटैले
to really make sure that the
हान्दैन,
investment is
हान्दैन।
as hard as possible.
अब
As he's
क्रिया
now
नहारे
just
नि
using
म्याच
flame finger on the
जितिसक्यो
top
त
left
फेरि
side.
5%
Get
टु
the
हान्नु
Moja
किन
Arch Tower and the air defense up next.
एउटा टोक हाने नि ल
Trying to
ठिकै
maybe
छ
get the
क्या
Expo.
जसरी
Here
नि
comes a
जित्ने
balloon and then some
दिनै
rocket
हो
balloons,
यो म्याच
testing it out there, and now that Expo go down.
मैले
That's
हैन
the big thing.
यो
Getting that Expo out
प्लेन्सको
will
साइडमा
allow
चाहिँ
that flame
ट्राइबलाई
flinger
भोट
to
हाने
help push the warden in, but also pick up all
लोवर
those
ब्र्याकेटको
buildings. You
सेकेन्ड
just talked
म्याचमा
about it. It's you. That
के
flame
सोचेर
flinger is
गोर्खा
the most
रक्समा
valuable
गोर्खा रक्सको
siege machine
पोस्टमा
in the game, just because
आँधीलाई
what
भोट
it can
हालेको छु
do
यादै
if it's
छैन
allowed to work for its full almost 2 minutes.
मैले त
Edit
नानीलाई
गर्दैन,
नै
edit
हालेको छु
गर्दैन।
यार त्यहाँ चाहिँ त्यहीँ गरेर रङ हुन्छ जस्तो
That
लाग्यो
thing can like 2 or 3 shot your hero. It is scary. So this is why we're
Carry
seeing
squad
that
elimination
he's
कसले हाल्यो
invested. He needs to use
Carry
another
squad
move.
Mills
That
हाल्यो।
cannon is in there as well. Can he keep everything alive? So far, it looks really nice for him.
को छ यार
As he's
मैले भोट
pushing
हानेको
forward,
याद
and
छैन
the flame finger's doing exactly what he's hoping for. Oh, Rocket
ओइ
Loons!
ल मऱ्यो वाइडेन वाइडेन मऱ्यो वाइडेन मऱ्यो
तिमीहरूलाई होइन फन फ्याक्ट भन्छु कि
आमा मामा ओइ
I
ओइ
mean, the healers are still going, so I'm assuming he's fine. He's barely okay. He's back up to full. He's back up to full. Oh my!
How did
को
that
फन फ्याक्ट
work?
बचायो
I
यार
feel like those Rocket Loons could have one-shot the warden.
से बाहर
Yes, you see this
कस्तो
kid in
यार
trouble.
मेरो
This is
मेरो
so
वाइडेन
bad.
मेरो
Wizard
वाइडेन
is
भए त
handling it
मरिजाउँ
from the top side.
बस्दैन
His heroes at the bottom side are now trying to
नेपाली
push
वार्डन हो नि त
for even more value, and the warden is the instance who has to take down the core.
तर खोइ यार मेरो किङ र क्विनको भ्यालु त एक थोपा आएन
I
त
do not know. Flame Flinger actually gets one shot off, which will actually weaken up that CC.
पहिला यसले के एउटा हिलर लड चार्ज
Valkyrie
हान्थे
is actually out of the claim.
Oh,
Now,
warden! He's
मऱ्यो
falling.
वाइडेन मऱ्यो मऱ्यो
oh, Warden's following the Valks. That's going to be a problem. The Valkyries get taken out,
Raise
but now
the-
the
raise the
Warden's going to be
one
in
No,
dangerous
yaar.
territory. He's in range of the town hall. He's in range of the
आम्मा
cross
कस्तो
border.
बचाउने
Here
वाइडेन
comes that royal
Warden
champion.
के
She's
बात
got
छ,
to save the
अब त
Warden.
बाध्दैन
Keep
नि
that
हामीलाई।
Warden alive. Here
अब
comes
त
the
छैन
town hall
नि
takedown with
Town
that
hall
royal
त लिँदैन।
champion. It's a
लिँदै
save, but the
छैन।
Warden has
आर्सी
been taken
फाल्ने
down.
The warden has
Archie
been
Fanny.
taken down, and this
Hey,
means at this point is just
कस्तो
again
क्यारी
about the percentage.
क्यारी स्कोर
Navi
भन्दा बेइज्जती
cannot
त
get
यिनीहरूले
the first
खेल्यो
3-star in this match.
रोइरहेको क्या हो
The
यसलाई?
base
लो
playing of
पर्छ नि
Dizzy so
अति लो
far is
हानेछ कि
flawless.
So good.
यिनीहरूको
Like,
क्वालिफाई
this
पनि
is-
लास्ट
you're-
त्यो के अरे
Dizzy and
पोइन्ट्स बढी
Sarah,
भएर
this is
मात्र भएको
exactly
हो
what
पोइन्ट
you're
चाहिँ त क्वालिफाई भएको नि साँच्चै
on
यिनीहरू
the
त्यहाँ
World Championship stage, just holding a team like
लास्ट टाइम
Navi
क्वालिफायरमा
back
खेलेको भने
time
पनि
and
हुन्छ
time
होला जस्तो
again,
लागिरहेको छ है
and
यस्तो
you
पाराले
see like some of the frustration there on Klaus's face. Like this base just gave him so many issues as the attack.
रुन
It
लाग्यो
was one thing after another.
कहाँबाट
Yeah, I feel like
चेप्सनमा
even
पर्दैछ
things went in his
गएर
favor
फगाइदियो यार
with the
क्लाउडलाई
warden
रुम
not
लाइसकेको
going
थियो
down
मुख खुलाएर
right away versus the
बसिसक्यो
Rocket Loons, and still he was not able to get even closer to
हिरो
the
हिरोले
90% mark. So
हिरोले
bases are
हेर्न
defending
स्प्रिङ ट्र्याप
again and
अत्तियो
again.
भने किङको
And
एक
this
थोपा
is so
भ्यालु
far
आएन त्यो तल
looking really solid for Dizzy. They're up next
Royce, क्या
again.
हो?
I'm just looking forward at this point of what they're going to throw in next. I mean, we have seen so many different strategies. If you're not
यिनीहरूको त
the
अर्को वर्ष
second round already,
स्पोन्सरसिप जान्छ
and you
जस्तो
have to like face them and like, oh, okay, we're going
डाइरेक्ट
to
छ हो
versus some Royal Gym
यो
Charges,
टर्न
this, that,
17 त
whatever.
फक्क गरेको पुरै
There's so
कुन
many
टुर्नामेन्ट
options.
जित्यो होला बे एउटा मलाई यस्तो
It's so
भन्छ
tough. And
वर्ल्ड
they've
वारमा
seen
जिते हो
them,
त
and they're so good
वर्ल्ड
at it.
वारमा
And
जिते हो
now,
त
like really, Navi, all they can
जित्यो
hope for is
नाभिल?
a 1-star because they
अबे
can
पैसा त
खानै छैन
कमाइन्छ त
क्या।
नि एप्रिल क्वालिफायरमा सेकेन्ड भयो
big defense and the way that
पैसा
Dizzy are
कमाएको
playing,
छ तर
त्यो कन्टेन्डरै भएन के लाइक
It is
खेल्न
not
मात्र
going
आएर
to be easy for
जस्तो
sure,
तिनीहरूलाई
and we can be
जित्न मात्र आएको
excited to
छ
see
तिनीहरू
what Dizzy is going to bring up
Oh.
next in this first round matchup. We have Mask going in, and he is bringing in the Dragons again, making sure that we have that deep Royal Champion charge. Let's see if he's going to go for the Town Hall, which we have seen so many times with his attack strategy, but he's going this time around for a completely different approach.
That Royal Champion in to pick up as much value as possible. If she can cut her way into the middle of the base and just get through that multi-gear tower, maybe get through the monolith, get through one or two of those Infernos, that would be insane value. But it's all about setting the pathing here and getting her into that section. It's a harder thing. Like, obviously, we can sit here at the desk and say that's what he needs to do, but actually doing it is a whole different story.
I was about to say that invis to redirect her to the core was great, but the problem was there was no follow-up invis to keep her alive. And the esports was just so flashing. Just a couple of shots and she's gone.
It doesn't take much, especially with the multi-gear cannon there, the ricochet cannon, the expos. That Royal Champion went down. So now Mask is going to have to adjust the plan. Does he go straight into the tunnel? I think he's still going to send the Dragons from this 3 o'clock position over on the right side. Should be still somewhat through the tunnel, but there is that risk that they follow up through that storage, through that ricochet cannon, and kind of avoid the town hall still.
There's now we have to find out how is that going to work out for him. Is he going to go for the town hall? Some Dragons go for the town at this point. Or are things going mainly for the core? He's now trying to redirect them to the town hall to get the second stone. But how many more percentage points can he get? This is right now the best thing which Navi was hoping for.
Yeah, it would have been even better for Navi if they would have skipped through that. Mask doing a great job using those extra visits. That's one thing. When your Royal Champion charge doesn't go down early, goes down early, you have those excess of invisibility spells to kind of use throughout the base, and you use those perfectly to get those Dragons onto the tunnel. Now with that second star secured, it's going to be so hard for Navi. I mean, look at the scoreboard. This is Dizzy's fourth attack, and they already have equal stars with Navi.
It is not going to be easy whatsoever. They would need to
RC मारेर धरि गाकुको अट्याक भन्दा धेरै पर्सेन्ट हान्ने पे गाकु क्लास
on the other side, a miracle on the other side of Dizzy.
स्टारको लागि नि कस भइछ अब लास्ट
I'm not sure. Maybe
Star से
not
भएको
finding the attack button or something.
Cancel out.
It is not going to be easy.
You know, the big attack button is hard to find sometimes there too, but this will push Dizzy.
Lalo हाने मज्जा आउँछ.
So you're right.
क्युसी लालो हान्छ
Navi to get a 3-star, push them to
यसै हारे उसे हारे लालो हान्ने
even then,
स्टार
like
छ
the
क्या
percentage,
Oh.
Navi's percent have been so low throughout. It would have to be such a low
अन्तिराको
one.
त्यसको त
It would
भर
have
पनि
to
छैन
be
आउनु
absolutely
फिल्ममा लालो हान्छु यार
massive
कस्तो मिठो है
But we know the Fluxy in that 5 spot is so
बेक्सनसको
aware
स्ट्रिममा
of what he
जसरी
needs.
पनि 3
This
हान्छ
attack
यार
is actually creeping up way
कस्तरी
higher than I thought it would, to be honest.
टिमको वर्ल्ड च्याम्पियनशिप पनि यसले फेलै हानेन
Crazy
हैन
considering the Royal Champ went down. in
स्टार
the
चाहिँ
core.
एकचोटि फेल हानेन
Really
सबै
well
लालो
saved by Mask, and this is again, like you have said it
खतरा हो
earlier.
यार यसको लालो भन्दा नि हिरो सुई हो के आम्मा मर्दै पर्दैन
This is really where those top players can shine.
यस्तो भन्दै टाउन
Dizzy now
टिममा
with their
त
10 stars, 2-star lead,
यो अब
going
स्टार्सले
to the
बाहेक
last
अरूले हान्न
rotation
सक्दैन
of
भन्थे
the attacks.
Yeah, I know in that situation, like my RC goes down in the middle of the base, I just panic, send all the Dragons at the town hall, and I'm like, whew, 54%, that was good. But no, not Mask. 85% 2-star on like a pretty big failure.
अहिले फायरबल हेर्न मज्जा आउँछ नि त्यस्तै
Great composure from this Dizzy team.
लालो हेर्न सबै मजा आउँछ
Navi have to get a 3-star to have any hopes, but let's be real here. It's that
Euro
hope
time
is very slim to none.
Yeah, it is like copium at its best. It is just, you have to hope for a miracle. I mean, that is the best way of putting it.
एप्रेन्टिस वार्डन पनि एयरमा सेट हान्न मिल्नु भन्ने के
Dizzy was able to defend Navi 4 out of 4 times.
Boom Academy ले जित्यो भने कसले
Get
लान्छ होला
their first 3-star at the same time. Finishing
के
with a
कसले
3-star,
लान्छ
even if you don't win, would be like a, I guess, momentum, which is quite nice because remember those teams who are going down to the lower bracket today, they have to still play an elimination match later today.
Yeah, that's the big thing that we haven't really talked about a ton is 2 teams will be going home or eliminated from our tournament here today, later on in our 5th and 6th matchup. So all of these wars are super, super important. You want to have that momentum, especially if you can stay in the upper bracket moving into tomorrow. That is massive. But here we go with stars. Not too many Root Rider attacks in this war. Yada was the only other Root attack. It's such a very consistent, good attack throughout the meta, but you do see a lot of players kind of shying away, going to those Super Yetis, going to those Rocket Fireballs. But now, Stars, with the war on the line, electing to go with this deep RC charge into Roots.
And the question is, can he get enough value to really make the heavy investment worth it? Yes.
Wait. She's hanging on.
1 HP मा छ यार.
I mean, that is
ओए दामी
really
रिकल
dominating
यार.
spell as well.
रिकल
And
हाल्यो.
at this point, he
Literally one
only
HP
has the
बाँकी
recourse
छ
for the Rudy Poyer. Nothing else.
Lo siege
on
very
the spell
खाली
side.
छ त.
That's one thing I don't like about this attack is Roots really needs some kind of support.
अब त छोड्न सक्छ मर्छ होला नि त्यो आरसी त यार.
अनि कस्तो छिटो आरसी फाइलले बे 1 HP हुँदा हुँदै पनि
तिनी आरसी त हिलानी होला.
भने
Rarely see this.
मेरो भए त खाली मेरो भए त खाली के मोड थियो
त्यो स्कालर सर्ट ठ्याकै हानेछ नि त्यो बेला मर्नु पर्ने थियो के.
मेरो आज आरसी यति टाढा थियो नि त्यो मोटरको 3 फन्का खाएर मरिरहेको. मोटर रेस्ट आवर रहेछ आदि हेर्छ आरसी नि मर्दियो के.
स्पेले छैन किङ फाल्छ नि है अझै आइफुल नि होल्दैन
बल्ल फाल्यो उता. किङमा आउँछ
हैन हैन किङ बाहिर खान्छ.
Remember, no more spell support. All the spells are gone. It's pretty much what can the
लान्छ
Roots
के
do
तिनीयो
here with all of this healing
माथि
support.
मर्न गयो नि
Kings in
यार
there
आरसी
obviously providing some nice tanking on the bottom side with all the snakes. World champions in there, but look at the backside of that base hit too.
There's a lot of base left. That is
क्रसर मोड नि छैन यार ट्रिपल हो जस्तो लाग्यो.
clean. So he's doing a great job keeping
अलिकति
everything
तनाव
together.
दिने पोजन टावरले हो तर
त्यो अब आरसी मारेन भने त फक्स कस्तो छिटो मार्यो. वार्डेन नसमाइ भन्ने त्यो वार्डेन
मार्दै वार्यो.
That multi-gear tower, the multi-gear
टेन्टी
tower.
गराउँछ होला यार दुईटा
Diggy stun! Dizzy
असर मोटर किन रे
आउन सक्छ.
There's a free
आयो
ultimate champion. And this
हेडन्डर
is
फाल्न
looking
छिटो.
really good for Stars. Queen
हाल्न.
ability pops, action figure gets that giant out. King's
ability.
ability and Stars gets
Then ability.
Navi on the board with a 3-star. Finally
ठिक छ
get
यार.
through one of these
स्टार्सले
difficult
हान्नु
dizzy
पर्छ.
bases.
स्टार्स ओपी हो.
Navi has arrived
यिनीहरूले
at
उस
the World Championship.
टाइमिङ चेन्ज गरेछ
Unfortunately,
यिनीहरूले स्टार्ट
a little
सरी
bit too
फोर्थ
late, but
हैन
at
पहिला.
least this means that
I'll
for
last
their
my
match
bottom
later
line.
on, they are hopefully ready there.
कस्तो
But
ननसाइलेन्ट
wait a
हो
second,
यहाँ
the
बालै
first
छैन
part of the
भने.
miracle has
खुसी
happened.
त हुनु नि यार
The question
अलिकति
now
भयो
is,
नि.
does the second part of the miracle
Match
is going
हारेर
to happen?
खुसी
Because Dizzy still has the one attack left.
हाँसिरहेछ त.
I mean, anything's possible.
एउटै हातले
It
खेल्छ रे हो.
is a very
दुईटाले
crazy
हेल्छ.
possibility. I think it's
मिडल
like
फिङ्गरले
it
हेल्छ
would
नि.
have to be like
त्यो
low
भने.
70s,
चिन्ते
high
खेल्छ नि
70s,
मिडल
something
फिङ्गर
like
यत्रो
that. I don't
लामो
have
लामो.
the exact math, but it would have to
एलेन
be
त्यसरी खेल्छ नि.
really
केले
epic
डोनेट
failure.
हेर न यसको.
Yeah, and a 1-star. So like
In a
low
1-star.
percentage
चिन्ते
and
खेल्छ के
1-star.
सबसे खतरा
I think
त्यस्तो
Flexi
यस्तोहरूले.
knows better that he has to go for just a
को यो
safe
क्वाक
choicer
भने?
option. And
क्वाक
let's see
भने
what
हाम्रो
his
न्यू
choice
मेम्बर
is going
उमेश.
to be for this attack. He is going in with the funny face. Is
फेरि
the attack
asking
going to be
me
funny as
for
well? We're
the
going to
group
find out
ma.
as he's
सब
going in.
सबजनालाई यस्तै
We
यस्तै
have
खालको
the
फोटो दियो भने
Root
जस्तो छ है
Riders as
सिरियसली.
well, with two overgrowth. The town hall somewhat far on the outside, but he's just
Different
going
pose
from the
वाला
far opposite side. How is that
उनीहरूले
going to turn
सिकाउँछ
out?
होला है.
Let's find out.
Obviously,
Sir,
any
sir,
two-star
legend
wins
कहिले
the
हुने हो,
war, but
sir,
if this is a 1-star,
Legend?
it needs to be
Legend कहिले हुने त तपाईँ?
66%.
हेर अलमोस्ट
Navi
कति धेरैजना
down by
कति धेरैजनाले यस्तो
35%
ट्राई
here, so
त्यो हानेको हो.
66%
के भन्छ
will win the war
Legend
for
नआउने
Flexi.
legend.
Obviously, any 2-star wins the
आउने
war
त
as well.
टिया 18 मा
Ooh, the redirect to get
दाइ
that
झन्डै
multi-gear
गर्नु पर्यो नि त नि दाइ
Destroying
टाउनले
his
जोड्नु
opponent.
पर्यो
Tier 18
पर्यो.
Now going for the heavy investment when it comes down to the
अब
World
आउला
Championship
अब.
charge, getting the multi for
हेरौँला दाइ
as well.
हेरौँला.
मैले स्पिड ट्याप बल्ल हान्न लाग्यो यार
Tower
मैले
as well.
थाहै थिएन स्पिड ट्याप प्रब्लम टाइम.
The last spear.
ए
Great
ठिकै
pickup
छ
there,
यहाँ
getting
मर्जामा
that
आउनु
poison
बाँकी छ
tower
अझै.
on the way. And now look at this line straight to the town
म त
hall.
अस्ति भन्दै आउनु भएको थियो.
Great path of destruction.
दाइले
These
हेरेर त
Root Riders
म्याक्स
just
छैन भाइ तिम्रो आइडी त
trounce
गरिदिनु.
right onto that town hall 17 building and secure
सबैले
it.
म्याक्स
And
गरिसकेर
that was
चाहिँ म
just
थाहै
such a
थिएन.
beautiful setup for Flexi.
There were a lot of red mines. Are there black mines behind that? Let's find. Okay, there is a. Okay, no.
मलाई त नाभीको
black
बेस
mine for
बिल्डर
those
पनि मन
healers.
पर्दैन बे.
But the town hall is just so
Oh,
close. It's so hard to miss that, I feel like, in this
त्यो
position.
नाभी
The Ice
नाभी
Queens are
स्मिथ
trying
पनि
their
हो
best to lead
एन्ड
troops away from the
Navi
town
end
hall.
of a snake.
But I mean, the king, the queen,
End होइन
everything
end.
charging forward.
End भन्नु.
And the town hall is just going down as
भिरान
much
पनि एउटा
as
बसेर यस्तो
ब्लु
जुवालाई
प्रिन्ट पनि
बसेर
हाल्छ
भिरान.
he has
त्यसको
reached.
आर्चीहरू
And he's still
ल
got so much left. He's
म
still
त
got the
माथि
super
जान्छु
cover,
भनेको
he's still
थिएँ
got king and queen ability, and it's looking like
गयो माथि नै गयो.
Flexi will secure the victory for
Flexi
Dizzy.
didn't
Movement
find
momentum
Massive
in the
money.
upper bracket. Obviously, we still
Oye,
need that
cambio
50%.
de
हेलो अब
All
त
those
यो
troops
त
still on
फेलै
the
हो.
board. It feels
ओइ
like a
ल
sure
वार्डेन
thing.
आइन्डो अझै रहेछ
48, 49.
अघि मलाई त्यो के अरे
50% right
क्यारी
around the
स्कोरको
corner.
पक्ष
There's the
कति होल्ड
victory
गरेको
for
हो म
Dizzy
त
X
वार्डेन
Stamina.
Let's see,
बसिरहेको
can he
थिएँ
still 3
वार्डेन
star?
अटोमा
I
नगए
mean,
भए त
that would
स्वागै
be
हान्छ
pretty
त्यसले.
epic to start things off with 13 stars as a team.
Flexi लाई सबसे मजा
let's
खाक्यो है.
find out as the Root Riders
त्यही त
are pushing through. The
Top
king
ला 100
queen
त्यसलाई
having
easy
her
2
abilities
star
go
हानु
more in.
यसले 3 or loss यसले 3 or loss सिचुएसनमा जिताउन चाहिँ सक्दैन यार
सेलिनो जस्तो छैन के
मैले त्यही भन्दा थियो सेलिनो नै हो सबसे भन्दा
सेलिनो यो डिजीमा आउनु पर्ने के कस्तो पावरफुल हुन्थ्यो होला यिनीहरू
trying to get some damage in, maybe even take out the multi, but there's some red air ops going off as well. All the traps feels like have been pulled as he's still working through here. The healers are still up.
Pato the Portuguese
effort on the core is giving him a tough time. It's staying up for now with more hero ability. Can he make this work in time? Only 20 seconds left.
Yeah, but ultimately, so aware of what his team knows when he needs to step up and get that 3-star. He also knows when he needs to step up and just get that safe, secure 2-star. And I don't think his team is going to be upset with him putting up with 94% attack here. I mean, it's such an epic performance here from Dizzy. Ends up actually at 93%. And Dizzy are showing you why they were our first team qualified, why we saw them each and every month taking down a fan favorite, the points leaderboard winner, Navi.
Such an impressive showing. This is all you can say. The way how they have started the match, the way how they put pressure on Navi, that was really impressive. That is for sure. And this means Dizzy going further in the upper bracket, while Navi dropping down the lower bracket and still having to play the first
मेरो फेभरेट प्लेयर त
later
स्टार
today.
थियो यार
Yeah, and making those lower bracket runs are so much harder. But Navi is one of those teams that we saw throughout the season make some of those epic lower bracket runs. Always ended up coming up short because they did win throughout the points leaderboard. But we saw them make some very impressive runs throughout the season. We see our teams walking off the stage. But I mean, Dizzy X stand out. They looked
impressive.
Yeah,
highlighted earlier, just like the
15
meta,
minutes
like how the strategies are shifting.
11
I think
बजे
it
सुरु
really favors them with having so strong
मार्क्स चाहिँ राम्रो क्याप्टेन
fireball
जस्तो लाग्थ्यो
attackers.
मलाई
But I feel like
मार्क्सको
we should
यिनीहरूको
find out a
क्याप्टेन
bit more about this match. So let's go
हैन र
to
बोल्ने
the
त्यही
stage.
हो के बोल्ने त त्यही हो
Dizzy Stamina taking the victory up here on the main stage. I've got Mars.
हैन
here
अझ
with me.
त्यसले
You know what?
बोल्नेहरु
What a
यसले
way
गर्छ
to make an impact.
फाइनल
Your
16 मा
team
चाहिँ त्यो
stepping out
ब्लक
onto the
जित्यो के
stage, opening up that war with back-to-back triples. How were the comms when that first happened? Did everyone kind of breathe a sigh of relief? And was everyone really positive, or you all just zoned in?
यिनीहरूको क्याप्टेन कोड नै भनेको छैन यार
Starting with 2 triples.
अक्सी हो तर बोल्ने चाहिँ यो
Tried
छ के
and keep the calm. Like we kept telling each other, focus,
English
it's
on
not
the
over
left.
until it's really over. So we try not to watch defenses ever. Just watch the teammates attacking when we need to help them. Doesn't need to affect our mental. Then if we triple, we cheer all together. If we get a defense, we cheer all together. And if we fail, we just give a nice try and go next.
From like Chinese team creative
the people watching at home and the people here at DreamHack as well. Transport us to like 30 minutes before you come onto the stage. What's it like backstage? Is the energy high, or is everyone just really calm and focusing in? Do you guys communicate a lot, or do you zone in? What's it like backstage?
खै त्यो हाम्रो
I think
टिम
everyone has
जिआर
its own ways
स्पोर्ट्समा
to
एउटा
approach
खतरा प्लेयर थियो
a
के हो त्यसको नाम
match.
क्यारी
Personally, my
हैन
team is quite like
Oh,
joking. We like to
त्यो
talk a
छैन
lot,
त्यो
laugh a
खतरा
little
खेल्थ्यो नि
bit,
यार
and then we just let the
Oh, yeah,
silence
but
happen
I
when
think
like the war is about to begin.
त्यो त गड थियो क्या
And
हैन र
then from
टाउन
that point on,
17 को
everyone
त्यसमा
takes
टाउन
everything so
17
seriously. We just try
को
and
सबसे
cheer each other
सबसे
up
सुरुमा
before
हार्ड
getting
बोर्ड
on
आउँदा
stage,
चाहिँ त्यही हो यार
and go
सबसे
through the
छिटो
plans
अड्याप्ट गर्ने
together. Everyone just tries to his best,
त्यसको
but
खतरा थियो के
keeping the focus there and getting into the
रोटेट
zone.
I mean, we've spoken a lot to a lot of the teams after their matches today here on the main stage about who their future opponents going to be.
Yeah, Rooney
tomorrow. But next up on the stage, we're going to have Tribe taking on Shibai. Now, Shibai being the more unfamiliar team that you probably haven't played against as much, and then obviously Tribe Gaming who have that wealth of experience. What's your view on who you face against tomorrow, or who you think is looking dominant out of those two teams?
लाज लागिरहेछ है बिरनलाई बिरनलाई लाज लागिरहेछ रे
Particularly, I think they are both insane. I respect them so much.
कसले लाज
They're
लाग्यो भने
also, so may the best win.
May the best win. Thank you so much, Mars, for joining me here on the main stage. Stay right there. We're going to head back over to Bash and Itsu. We're going to break down that match.
Great interview there, Banks. Man, Dizzy X looking so good throughout that war. Man, how can you not be hyped after that kind of performance?
ओए नीरव जत्रै छ यार यो त मोटे त
Just the way on how they were performing
यो
from
त
the
अझ
beginning,
सानो हो निरव
how
त
they
अझ मोटो
started
छ
into the
अरे
match.
गाडी
We
दिन
have
त
heard that from the interview. And there's a really great insight on like how the players are getting into the match, getting ready for
खोइ
the
यार
match
म
behind the
त्यति
scenes.
मोटे छु जस्तो त लाग्दैन
That's what I love to hear, and it's also
Big
like
sir,
those
big
little
sir.
friendly rivalries, but also at the same time, he acknowledged, yeah, those
तर
are my
मोटो छ
friends,
हैन
but at
भाइ
the same time, when we get up here,
नीरवलाई
it's all
नीरवलाई नि
business. It's time
अनुहारमा
to go.
कालो
It's
पेन्ट गऱ्यो भने
ready
मार खेल्ने
to
भन्नुहुन्छ
get down
क्या
to game time, and that's what I love seeing from all the
Nice.
players. It's all friendly backstage, it's all good and lots of banter, but once it gets here on the main stage, it's all business. As we go ahead and take a look at the results here, obviously STM getting the victory 12-11, but they kind of let this one through out.
बिदान कलबाट
Yeah, I mean, just the showing on how they performed,
छ त अनि लेमन
especially the beginning. It was
मार्क
just
हानेर
so
पनि
hard
अहिलेसम्म हानेको छैन
to
यस्तो
really, like,
हान्छु
I don't know,
बेस्ट मार्क
get
हानेछ
into
होइन
the match for
अहिलेसम्म
Navi.
हानेको छैन हटे
Corbin, you're up here as well. Like, how does this
ओए बिधान वारन जाऊ
felt as a
बिधान
spectator?
वारन जाऊ टाइम सकिन्न
It was amazing. Just to be watching the 3 stars
सुजनले
coming in.
हानिसक्यो त्यो बेसमा
The 3 stars
यो बिदानले मार्क हानेको बेसमा ट्रिपल हानेन भने म बिदानलाई किक
with
हान्छु
Navi being a fan favorite,
अब
going
डाफीमा
down
अब
to the lower brackets.
मेरो 3 स्टार भनेको मेरो 2 स्टार हो गाइस
Remember, we
Keep
did
in
see
mind.
that Dizzy STMN was the very first team to get a
हार्छ
ticket,
रे यो बार
and they did get every single qualifiers. So they proved why they got the first ticket. They proved why they are here.
अरे भने मेरो
Incredible match from them.
Yes, 6 star West
From
गयो नि
them throughout this entire season, I
छोड
think they've just been
तिमीले नानी
one of
यो
our
बार
most
हार्छ
consistent teams, and I think that's what
Draw on
kind of
something
goes
like
to
that.
say when you play month after month. But it's, I think I'm hearing in my ear. Yeah, MVP
त्यो
ready. Who
वार्ता
do you
यार
think it is?
Well, let's find out together.
So that's
Because, I
the
mean,
goblin
has
lore
been one of the
हानेको
3
रहेछ
stars
यार
it
दुईटा
feels like,
वार्ता
and it's Dark
अब त्यो
Star.
त रस आइडियो नि त तल लास्ट आइडियो
So impressive how he split up the base, having
आफूले
heroes
हानेको हेर्नु छैन
everywhere at the same time. Talk
मैले
about
त एउटा
what
फेल
that
हाने
does.
होइन
That man is just incredible.
Ah,
And I've
Sagar
heard
King
he
बाट
has won
तिमीले
quite a
हाने
few
हो
of those creative masters.
सागर
You
किङ
know,
आइडी
how we
छैन
see
के
this
मसँग
World Cup.
He has, and it just shows how
त्यो
he
Accept guys, accept.
proves it even on the
अगुवाले
stage
के
in
हानेछ
esports
भनेर
mode. Those
Accept,
rocket
guys.
loons and the fireballs from the Grand Warden is
Correct.
so
Accept
strong. But we're now jumping into the
माको
bracket to
सम
see
वार
where we
सकिसक्यो मैले त वार
stand
नि हानेर
with
यार
Dizzy X STMN advancing to the next round.
ओइ सूर्यदाय अलि ढिला वार चर्छ
Going to be up next, and the winner
म
of
त छिटो
that
हान्ने
is going to
अब आदत
take
भयो होइन
कति 11 बजे
if
छिटो
you
छिटो
lose this
छिटो
next
हान्छु
match,
क्या
you're going to
सर्ट
be going against Navi down in the lower bracket, which we will have both those matches today.
Oh,
We'll
डाफेमा
send
सुरु
both teams home. They come all the way out here to drew back Atlanta.
डाफेलाई बचाउने
After the
मान्छे
first
नै
day, they
ढलेछ
could just be eliminated like that.
त्यो अघि
It's a heartbreak. That's the way that
त्यो अघि स्पोर्टमा एउटा हान्दै थियो नि सुपर एपी आइमी त्यो पठाउ त फाइबरसँगको
any kind of sporting, any
सुपर
kind of
एपी हान्छु क्या
competition.
म त्यसमा
That's the way it goes.
फेरि वान स्टार फेरि वान स्टार
के भने के भन्नु त
All of the teams have it in
सुपर
their
एपी
own hand in terms of
फाइबर
the
आर्मी
preparation they
चाहियो
were putting in on
फाइबर
basic,
आर्मी
the
छैन
meta
नि
read
बस्नु
and how they're
Totally.
down the other team. But I feel
फाइबर
like
फाइबर आर्मी
the
बस्नु
next match, which means let's take a look at the
भोला
kickoff
निकालेर
times.
बोल क्या यार मुखदेखि
Then we are right
अघि
into
अघि
our next
क्या
matchup.
हँसाइदिएर यार मैले खतरा हाने नि इक्वल इक्वल बिर्सेर मात्र हो रे इक्वल बिर्सेर इक्वल
विधान विधान
Wait, God.
Wait, सुजल दाइ
हजुर
तपाईँ क्यालिफोर्निया होइन टेक्सस होइन
क्यालिफोर्निया
टेक्सस भएकोमा त त्यो
फायरबल रकेट लुन आर्मी भने होइन कि फायरबल
लेदर
सुपर
फेस आउँथ्यो होला यार तपाईँलाई काट्न टेक्सस भएकोमा लेदर फेस आउँथ्यो होला के हेलोइनमा
टेक्सस म्यासेकर
टेक्सस म्यासेकर कसले हेऱ्यो
मैले
उसलाई सोध न उसलाई भन
Clashers, I'm here with Tribe Gaming, and
So
we have
build a
already
Texas
a couple
order.
of questions for you guys. You had a lot of close finishes over the last couple of years with the World Championship. So what have you learned over those years, and what are you planning for this year?
I think there were many lessons to be learned. I think we have had different
यो
rosters,
इज्जु हो
as
नि
well,
हो
different players and
Wait, the
playstyles.
पछाडिको को हो त्यो?
I think just overall learning from the mistakes
Picastro
is the most important thing, that you
Picastro
don't
छैन
repeat what
टिममा
you've
अहिले
done before, and that you're just strong as a
Like
unit,
त्यही छ
work
ओइ
together, talk to each
ओइ
other.
ट्राइबमा पनि निरव रहेछ हेर
Double check
त्यो
some of
मोडेललाई
your teammates and just going at it yourself.
Tribe Gaming is really known for as well their base building, and just a few weeks back we had the Springtrap rework. Based on
निरव कतिवटा टिमले खेलेको
your assumption on how
त्यो
big
सोफामा थर्ड
that
नम्बरमा
rework
बसेको
of the
के हो त्यसको
Springtrap
नाम?
will have on the competition.
Nibrex.
हो यो बरु यो हटेर त्यो उ नहट्नु पर्ने के त्यो अर्को खतरा लालो प्लेयर थियो है
since the Springtime
Yo, yo.
rework.
के
So we
खेल्न
don't
यो
really
यो
know what people
Yo,
are
yo, yo, yo,
changing.
Jojo 23.
People are also doing more mistakes on
यो त
stage.
ओपी हो यार
So this might be the biggest
त्यो
difference.
नट नेब्रेक्स
Tribe is
पनि
known
कम
to
प्लेयर हो
be
यार
an emotional team, and as well,
Oh,
do you
nee,
think
यसले
that
त
those
Triban हाल्ने
explosive
देखेछ नि
emotions
मैले
on stage are going to be an
It's
advantage for you?
नेब्रेक्स
in
हटेर
this
बरु
type
त्यो
of
नहटेको
competition?
इन्जुरको चान्सेस बहुत हाई थियो होला
People cheering in the crowd for us will have a huge impact on our matches.
Exorcist पनि
We're
हटेर छ हैन
this year here in
Exorcist र
Atlanta,
Nibrex को भयंकर
Tribe's home country. So yeah, we are all expecting a lot of Tribe fans in the arena. Our matches
अमेरिकाको सबै
will be very electric.
होइन, जर्मनी हो।
We'll see a lot of emotions.
जर्मनी होला नि हैन
From the bottom of my heart, I want to thank
German.
you, especially Tribe.
Temper,
The big
temper,
support of us, our
Germany.
fans,
Picastro
family,
Brazil.
friends.
यो
We're really
Picastro
grateful
त
for
बोलेकै
everything
बुझ्या छैन होला
that they do for us, that they support us with, and
हेरिरहेले
Huge thank you to you guys for
केही बुझेछ
playing,
नि
and
के
best
भन्यो
of luck for the competition.
thank you very much for
चारवटा चाहिँ
having us.
अमेरिकाको
We look
हो क्या?
forward to playing, and let's put on a
होइन
good
हौ
show.
जर्मनी भन्दैछु त
जर्मनी चाहिँ होइन सबै
सबै जर्मनी हो पिकास्ट्रो ब्राजिलको
Two more teams
Yeah,
are
मेरो
left to
भाइको
make
team.
their
Picastro
debut
त एडिभेटको
here
पार्ट
at
होइन पहिला
2025 Clash Fest live from DreamHack Atlanta. Emotions are
Down
already
15 man.
running
2023
high here, and you know
16
what? It's only going to get worse because we're going to
You
be
got an
setting
MVP on
the upper
there.
bracket after this match, and of course our lower bracket where some of our
Down
teams
15 में तो
will
next
be
level
sent
तैयारी
home
ना
by the end of today. But
What's
first,
Clash was the next
to come
level
out
too.
here onto the
कति
main
लगातार
stage,
कति
one of
म्याच
the most
गरेको बनाएको थियो
recognizable
प्यारले त
esports organizations, not just within Clash of Clans esports, but mobile esports as a whole. Go crazy for Tribe
बर्नर थिएन
Gaming!
क्या साँच्चै त्यतिखेर न बर्नर
थिएन
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 बर्नर पिकास्ट्रो थियो क्या के
लोपेज थियो अनि पिकास्ट्रो
रिक्रेज लालो गड यसले इलेक्ट्रो ड्रागन हान्थ्यो कि टाउन 15 मा खतरा
इलेक्ट्रो ड्रागन हामीले त निब्रेक्स होला नि
त्यही त निब्रेक्स भनेको
यो पनि राम्रो छ क्रोनोस पनि राम्रो हुन्छ यसको चाहिँ भल लाग्यो
They
you know,
are
Dios,
Kronos, Nabrax, P. Castro, Temper, and Riquires.
मलाई तर यो रिभाइभमा आसिङ भाइ कसैको पर्छ
Thank you so much, Tribe
Definitely
Gaming.
helps,
You may now take your seats. And our final team to make their 2025 World Finals debut right here onto the main stage. It is Shibai!
What were you going at?
I'm बिदात 69% हाल्न छ के गर्छ
यो सिबाई किन अनि एमएलसी देखेर बे
अघि अघि कसकोमा हो मिलिसम्पमा जर्नलिस्टको टिमको
विधान दाइ
चाइनिज
ल आयो
ओ यो एउटा जितिदिने भए त
मैले एउटा
फर्स्टको किनारा होला नि
डेन्डेनको साथी
किनारा होला नि
ओइ त गुन्डा
यो
SN1
SN1 ये हैन
सुबेन हो अब सुबेन SN1 त
यो चाहिँ
सुत्दै किन चुपचाप
यसको नाम के थियो क्या यसको नामै बिर्सेँ यार मैले सेभेन होइन सेभेन नै
सेभेन त यो हो सेभेनको छेउमा
सबसे लेफ्टको नाम के हो यसको
ओइ हो कि नि सबसे पुरोले चस्मा लाउँदो रहेछ के
आफूले चस्मा लाउँछु भनेर के अरूलाई चस्मा जति प्रो भनेर
त्यो सबसे लेफ्टको
Thank you so much, Shibai. You may now take your seats. Okay, we got the newcomers going up against the veterans. We know that Shibai have what it takes.
मलाई थाहा छैन यार स्टुडेन्टको कपाल यत्रो लामो छ भनेर
They can be unstoppable. I'm so excited to see how
यो
this
सुबेन
match
भने
turns out. But for
SN1
now,
हैन
let's head back
अनि
over
के
to
भने
the
चाहिँ
decks.
किनारा
I'm so excited for this one. Our last two teams have made their grand entrance to Clash Worlds. Tribe Gaming, Shibai, two juggernauts here. This is a pretty important board. We've kind of spoke about it already. Winner will go on in the upper bracket. The loser will go down to the lower bracket and have to play the elimination matchup later today, Carmen.
And that elimination match will
त्यही
be
हो नि
against
बिचारा भोटै छैन त अनि के
Navi.
गर्नु
What a team you have to go up against. You do not want to lose here, but the experience across the board, there's actually a world champion on both rosters here in this match. The one world champion is P. Castro. He won it back a few years back.
Please, Boom
And he's trying to
Academy,
be the
जित्नु
first
पर्छ
ever to have two. No one in Clash ever has won two world champions.
मलाई
But
उसको
their
सुबेनको
opponents
हेर्दै हेर्नु छ
also have another world champion.
सबसे बेसी त रिकी रेस रहेछ यार
The first
Back
world
to
championship.
2019, and that's way he won it, and he was the
क्लास
MVP.
सुरुमा आउँदाखेरि
Way
मलाई
has been
किन
a
आउँदै थियो होइन
juggernaut in Clash Clans
बेला
esports.
के भनेर मैले
From the
बेला कल
beginning,
गरेपछि
we've seen him playing under different banners, but as Carbon said, there
देखा नि
that relationship with Nova, Nian, Severian, Wei, and Subin here.
ओइ ल
Kind of like the dark
हिटेटै छ
horses,
नि
although we've seen them playing under different
कम्पिटिटिभ
banners like
लेभलमा
Boom
थर्ड पार्टी
Academy.
मात्र खेलेको
They
छ नि त
did
यिनीहरूले
qualify through that Chinese
स्पेसल टुर्नामेन्टको
qualifier,
मात्र
which
हिटेट
is
देखाएको
completely
भने
separate from our
यिनीहरूको त
main
किनेको आइडी हो यार यिनीहरूलाई
Qualifying through
यिनीहरूले
there
किनेको
is
आइडी
still
भनेर
अघिको
such
स्ट्याट
tough
अघिको
competition.
स्ट्याट चाहिँ
Making
अफिसियल
it
मात्र हो
here today for the World Finals. And we saw
सरोज
some
तिमीलाई
of these
तिमीलाई
players
थाहा छ
who
कि नै
last
यो
year, they
सुबेन
were
छ त
under the
यसको
name
आइडी लोकल
SubBLTX.
नेपाल हो
So
नि
they
यसको एउटा
have
आइडी
some world stage experience,
पहिला
but
टाउन
some are new.
भएको भए
Some
थियो
are
अचार
able
छोडेको
to
थियो
now attacking under the lights
सँगै
with
खेल्यो
a
होइन
very
मसँग
तिमी
good
खेलेको
time.
मसँग
With world
मसँग
stage
फोटो छ
experience,
यसको
veterans like I
सँगै
mentioned,
खेलेको
P. Castro does have the world title to his
सँगै
name,
सँगै खेलेको
but
नि
Tribe Gaming overall has
ल
been unfortunately
तिमी
known
थिएन
as
होला यार यो
runner-ups.
6 गेमिङ
They've
नेपालको
gotten
स्टार्टिङमा
second
थियो
multiple times. They've come
पछि
third,
त्यसपछि
fourth.
गएको
They've almost got every single
टिममा खेल्दै थियो
placement except first.
6 गेमिङ
I
नेपाललाई
think that's
खेल्यो
going
नि
to be
त
the
अहिले
story for Tribe. You know
पैसा
that
लिएर
they're
खेल्दै
feeling
फ्रीमा
this is our year. We can
फ्रीमा
finally get that first place. But looking over to
किन
the
नेसन
other side, Shibai, tons of world's experience. But we
फ्रीमा
do
भन्दा
see
नि
चिन्जिङ
गोल्ड बाटो
चिन्जिङ
new
छ
player,
त्यो
Nian, Subin, new experience here on the world stage. But remember, Wei, having that world championship winning
नेपाली
experience,
जस्तो छ त यार
that
यता
brings so much to the table for a squad like this.
And when talking to the
Surya
players
jस्तै
over the
एउटा
last few days since they flew out here,
एउटा निरव जस्तो छ एउटा
asking, who do you think is the best team? Who do you think has the best odds of winning it, right? Of course, they believe in themselves.
यो चस्मा लाउने मोटे
A lot
मोटे
of
मतलब
people will
साइडको
say
किनारा
Elevate
होइन
as number one, the favorites. And then the two other favorites,
Budo,
the
Budo.
two that we
होइन
have here right now, Tribe
Budo,
Gaming
किनारा त
taking on
सेकेन्ड वाला
Shibai. Tribe Gaming's been
लेफ्ट
doing
साइडबाट
such a
सेकेन्ड
great
वाला
job,
किनारा
and then Shibai is going to be an under
Budo फेरि को हो
dark
त?
horse. We're going to have to see, but I'm hearing that we've got a little
त्यो
vibe check to go check
सेभेन
in
त
with
गएको
with Barney. So let's go hear what
यिनीहरूको
he
त
has
नाम
to
पनि थाहा
say.
छैन
I'm never going to live that down, am I, Carbon Finn? You're going to call me Barbie from now on, aren't
No,
you?
double,
And
double
that
like that, huh?
is so upsetting. But you know what? We're here for the
अर्को
vibe
कसले
check.
हेर्दै
I'm
छ
walking behind the Tribe guys here right now. I'm going to have a quick chat with Kronos. How are the boys feeling? What was the last thing you said to them before you came out onto the stage?
Nothing really. I think we're all just very focused. I think we're ready to go and let's see what
Full
happens.
time Ready to go? Let's see what happens. The vibe check is feeling strong back here. Shibai looking like they are zoning in. They're all wearing jackets on the stage. I don't think it's particularly cold in here. I'm surprised they're not sweating. But you know what? The vibe over here is what really matters because the audience are giving off vibes right now. How are we feeling about Tribe Gaming? That was to be expected, let's be honest. How are we feeling about Shibai?
ट्राइब गेमिङ न्याभी एलिभेट जस्तो टिम सधैँ हाल्न वर्ल्ड च्याम्पियनसिपबाट
You know
हट्दै
what? We
हट्दैन
could see a dark horse victory over
Elibert
here,
last time
or Tribe
खेलेन नि।
Gaming could storm the stage like we've seen many a times in
Last
Clash
time
of
को
Clans
तिनीहरूको
esports.
टिम
We're going to do your
खेलेन।
audience predictions
खेलेन।
right
Qualifying
here,
नै
right
नभएन।
now. I'm going to find out who
RPG
has
थियो
predicted
RPG
who in this upcoming match. Let's find out.
सिंक्रोनिक
आरपीजी त 3 सिजनदेखि देखिरहेको
Tribe Gaming, 67% of you have said Tribe Gaming are going to take
What?
this
Last
victory.
time,
But we've been wrong before. I'm not going to be devil's advocate, so right now I'm going to leave you and I'm going to let you
कसैले
enjoy
दुईचोटि
this
जिते
match.
होइन
Let's head
नाच्छन्
back over to Bash and Itsu. Have fun. Carbon, in fact, sorry.
सिन्क्रोनिकले
Thanks,
रेकर्ड
Barbie.
तोड्छ
Just kidding, just kidding. But Tribe, Tribe, obviously a fan
Yo,
favorite. I
yo,
think that's to be
yo.
expected. We kind of saw in the last war Navi fan favorites, but the war didn't go their way.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was talking to some of the
yeah.
Tribe players at dinner the other night, and they're like,
Hmm?
man, we feel like we got a
I'm
really
cool like
tough
this, but I'm
matchup
doing
against,
it.
Shibai. So we'll have to see how this
दुईटा
one
मात्र
comes out. As
सुपर
we
हिट
do
लिएर
have
आएको थियो
Super
यार
Yetis, only 2 Super
होइन कि
Yetis
यो
here
वर्ल्ड च्याम्पियनसिपमा
in the
चाहिँ यिनीहरूको
competition from
पावर
Meow.
फेरि कसरी यता आउँछ
Yeah,
त
with that Queen and the Angry Jelly pairing in to start. Warning
यो
with that rage
यिनीहरूको
help
अनि त्यो
boost the
छ नि
Queen up
के
and an
भन्छ
Invis
आइडी
right
स्क्यान
away on that Wizard Tower to reroute that Queen into this
यिनीहरूको आइडी किनेको हो नि
compartment.
यार
Maybe that's an Invis didn't
कम्युनिटी
want to
खेल्ने
use it.
सब
He
आइडी
used it
किने
later
आइडी हो
on in an attack, but either way, he was able to get the Queen out here, pulling out a bit of the clan castle of archers, and then
exceptional
those
case
who
of
Wait,
found
furnace is here,
furnace.
furnace is
So you
here.
can poison
कहाँ
up the
गयो
furnace and the furnace mice to take it out.
हिलरमा गयो क्या
But there's probably still
होइन
maybe
र
ice golems or
Archer
something
आएको
else in there that didn't get lured out
स्निरीमा
just yet.
गएको रहेछ
And that's always that difficult thing. And here
त्यो
comes the
त्यो
two
हनी
ice
ब्याजर
golems that you were
भनिन्छ
just speaking
आर्मी
about.
के भन्छ
You
अरे
want to deal with those ice golems.
Wait,
Wait, furnace, 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 furnace.
If your troops are just
Oi.
sitting there frozen, just taking on damage, there's
होइन होइन
no way
वान
they can
वान
survive
एचपीमा त
in this
बच्छ
esports
वान
mode.
एचपीमा त
Getting these
बच्छ
ice golems out of the way with the queen early is a
1 HP मा
huge
बच्छ
pickup
र
from Meow.
Yeah, with even a
Okay.
wizard to the bottom side, trying to
Wait, no,
distract that
धेरै
ice
HP
golem down
बच्छ
there.
कसरी
Can he secure it so it
एउटाले
doesn't
मात्र
pound
छोडेर
back
हो
to
कि?
the Queen and the Warden? Either way, with the
पहिला
wall
त्यो
break
एउटैले
and Super
मार्थ्यो नि
Yetis now deployed, they're going to move their way through into the
सूर्यको
top
attack
compartment,
गर्नु
but he
पर्यो
is going
कस्तो
across
काम
from
भइरहेको
this
हुन्छ
town hall,
यार
so you have to power through. And so that's why he's got a log launcher to
हामीलाई
try to
हामीलाई
open up
एउटा
these
एउटा
walls,
हिलहरू फेरि
leading them right
लाग्नुपर्छ
through the
हामी
core,
त
and eventually able to try to secure that town hall.
It really feels like a
त्यसको
old
त
school
फोकसै
traditional
हुँदैन यार
smash with
अट्याकमा
that log launcher in there. Even has the apprentice warden. You don't see a ton of
कहाँबाट
apprentice
बिस्तार
wardens in
ल्याउनु
there, but it's a nice utility troop. Now that royal champion going to join the party. There's only 2 super yetis on
Iceberg
this, but
Super
this is
Yeti
a
लाई दियो
general approach here for the super yetis. You bring that
Super
royal
Yeti
champion
को
into
किन
that far
गरेको?
flank, and that pushes
दुईवटा
these super yetis even further. And look at that
वाट
log launcher continue to push.
लिटरली
With that
लग
log launcher now
लन्चरको लागि
opening up
मात्रै
even
हो बे
another Super Yeti coming out under that rage right away.
Wait,
as
wait,
he
wait,
avoided
wait,
that
wait,
spell
wait,
early.
CC
With
मारे
the
चाहिँ
royal
एउटा
champion
Import
still
गइदियो
on top.
सुरुमै।
Scatter was distracting on the king, but it was kind of distracting on the snakes as they were jumping the walls, even pairing in a skelly. But a town
Awesome
hall
यार यो त
has
ट्रिपल हो
gone
यार
down, even an ice golem deployed to the bottom. He's
Ice
got
golem
the
छोडेको
Invis
र नि
ability.
त्यहाँ
The
Ice
king
golem
ability
छोडेको
still
हेर्नु न
intact. He's continuing powering through to the backside monolith and the enemy queen.
दे
She got so low, but remember with those
कस्तो
electric
होला
moves, she gets just
ल
a little bit
वेट
passive
कोरको त
healing.
गायब छ
Still has
RCM
the
टिको,
royal champion ability,
RC
gonna
मोरे।
have to force it out. The hog puppet will
हाँ,
spawn out
hog
those
puppet?
hogs, but the
Hog
pressure
puppet?
mortars there,
Hog
they
puppet?
get absolutely destroyed, but it looks like it locked
Hog
onto the
भयो
royal
hog.
champion actually.
Oh, yes, we have the RC
Oh,
now
yeah,
moving
yeah.
down. Monolith stays up, pops the king
Hog
spot
puppet भयो के hog?
through these defenses, but with an enemy queen still alive, the king does not have the phoenix. He goes down,
So, yeah,
and we have our first
The team
defense
switches
here
कस्तो
of the
दामी
match.
हाने थियो बे
P.
के
Castro
भयो यस्तो
holding strong.
So close, but so
कोरमा
far.
भन्दैछु त
I
अझै
think if they
धेरै
would have
बाँकी
maybe
छ
got a little bit of a
साउन्ड
different
कम्पार्टमेन्ट
break
हेभी
there
भयो
where the crusher mortar maybe locks onto those hog riders instead of the RC, maybe even the monolith. It could have
मलाई
helped
क्या
out
यो
a little
सुपर
bit.
एटमा
So
होइन
should push
किङमा
up
त्यो
the
स्पाइकी
Archer will
बल
get this
अस्ति
down
फुटेर
and be
कोरमा
at
हाल्नु होइन
90%,
त्यसमा त
which
ट्रिबल आउँछ जस्तो फिलै
realistically
हुँदैन
is
मलाई
pretty on par with what we've seen
त्यो
throughout
आउँदा
our
नि
first
हुँदैन
3
यसको
wars.
स्पोर्ट मोडमा
Yeah,
त
great percentage. You don't want to be into the 80s
स्पोर्ट
and
मोडमा
even get
हिँडेरै
down
खाइदिन्छ
to
मलाई
70s.
कोरमा
And then
जानु
at
अगाडि
that
अनि
point,
कहाँबाट हुन्छ
you know you're going to have to win on the star game. But
त्यही
being
त
able
मेरो
to
लागि
hold
नसुने
and
iPad
have
को
that
त्यो
shot with the other attack still to
iPad
come.
त्यहीको छ के
But
आफ्नो
if
आफ्नो
we're
होइन
taking a little sneak peek, is there a little P. Castro? Because he has attack first many
कहाँ
times.
हुनु
Almost every
होइन
time.
होला नि
He
त्यस्तो
very rarely does not
यिनीहरूको
go
iPad हो
first.
के
But not only that,
COC
he's
के
so
के
good
थियो
at
त्यस्तो
it. He is
त्यस्तो
such a
हुन्छ
high
अनि
hit rate
अनि
player
त्यसपछि
and
अब
handles
यिनीहरूको
that
आइडी
pressure. I
सेयर्ड
remember
भएन
back in
यता
2023,
अब
he
फेरि
was
अर्को
playing
टिममा
against
त ब्यान
Chile, won that
खाएको
world
छ अनि
championship. He just came out
सेयर्ड
every
हुन्छ अनि
war, just set the
सुपर
tone
सेल
with
क्लिन
3-star
हानिदिन्छ
after
नि
3-star, and that's why you have a player like P. Castro in your squad.
But can Tribe turn their luck around from years
Castro
past?
सुन्नु न
They've always been runners up
सबैसँग
so
M4
many
iPad
times.
M4 छ यार
They just can't
अनि कोही
get
त
over that
11
hurdle
मा मात्र
first
खेल्छ कोही सानो
place.
मिनीमा
But
खेल्छ
here it is with dragons coming in and
कोही
angry
स्यामसङकोमा
Jelly
खेल्छ
onto the king. So he he can go and charge straight into a compartment of defenses with the giant gauntlet. But a troll Tesla to the top side, taking it out with the balloon, so the flame flinger can work, and I like the value. Have to keep your eye on that mortar that's to the top side, because it will eventually lock onto the flame flinger if he doesn't deal with it. But a couple giants to tank the shot of that multi-arch tower, so the RC can move in and try to clear this value.
फोनमा खेल्थ्यो क्या हैन र
Here for P Castro, but notice that he didn't start the
मेमो
world champion right
चाइनिज
at
को
the
पनि थियो
beginning.
यार
So it's
एकजना
gonna have
टाउन
to kind of
फिफ्टीमा
like
सुपर
manually
ड्रागन
count
हान्छ
those
त्यसले
timings, which can get very tricky when you start
यत्रो
multiple
ड्याङ थियो अनि
You
फोनमा
start
खेल्थ्यो
with that world champion right at the start of the attack, and then you know, like, around the 7 and 3 mark. That's
PC
about where you
खेल्न
need to
पाइन्छ कि
be.
नै?
And
Rubber
depending
cycle
on where
thi-
you adjust it. But when you start her just a little bit later, that timing gets just a little bit more
आज
sketchy.
सेटअप त अति दामी
Obviously,
गरे
we can
यार
all
यसले
count to 4, but when you're doing it under this kind of pressure, it just adds so
Uta.
much to the attack.
At this
Gayo.
point, can he get the RC to the Town Hall? If he does,
Town Hall
powers
ni
her way
nikalcha
through.
होला।
That would be some nice
Invis.
value. Invis to reroute. Yes, the RC does lock on the Town
अझै
Hall.
5 वटा MB
Because
है
if you leave a Town Hall like that
माथि
in
नै
the
गयो
floor
भने
with
चाहिँ बेस्ट
really no buildings around, it could be a huge pain to
Yeah.
try to secure the Town Hall, and it could lead to 1 stars.
She's still going. Check this out,
Wait,
Carmen.
तीन-
Going down for
तीन
the
जस्तो
scatter.
देख्छ
She
है।
can get this poison tower out. That's a huge pickup. Still one more.
तर
Invis.
ड्रागन
The
लास्ट
Spear Fox
विक
still-
छ क्या
yeah, Spear
ड्रागन
Fox
त
still
भन्नै
close
सकिँदैन
up
के
the
हुन्छ
CC. This is
Time
an
पनि हेरौँ न।
crazy royal champion charge for P. Castro.
He even
last year,
timed the
fourth
Spear Fox, pulls out the rest of the CC. Great
यो
job, and
मैं
even has that
prediction
final
wrong
invis
पारिदिन्छु
left.
क्या
With the dragons now coming through, the
Mm,
Lava
yeah,
Hound
Russian
is going to
Russian
trigger
Lava
the
Hound.
Giga Bomb, trying to pull any other traps, which is a very nice Hound, actually, so it can protect these dragons, and no other traps looks to be
Maybe
in this
maybe
bottom
let's
side of the
play
space at the moment.
Red air bomb there on the outside for that baby dragon, but the baby dragon
Inko
has
त
no
हाल्छ।
issue with it.
Time
He's
खेल्नु
going to go
जस्तो
ahead and
लाग्यो।
make his way on the outside of the
Time
base.
खेलको
Still
chance-
have
so
vulnerability,
छोटो
still have
लाग्दैन
that
खेल होला।
minion principality, along with that last invisibility spell that can protect these troops. But man, the
Dragon
Royal
किन
Champion
बजाइरहेछ?
did such a great job gutting this base out.
Offside हेर
This
नि त
Minion Prince, once you line up this shot, it can be a lot of value to
What
slow
ability
things
do you
down
know?
on the backside. He's waiting patiently.
अब
Even
अब
still,
हेर
there you
ड्रागन
go.
यस्तो स्प्लिट
Comes
भयो
right
होइन
on through, hits a few of the Teslas and even the air defense, but it
What ability
grabbed
कस्तो
that
हो?
sweeper,
अब
slowing it
एक
down.
एक गर्दै
Ward
सबै
ability
मर्छ
goes
क्या
off.
अब
King steps in, now steps out back in to stay
Nice.
protected. But is it enough dragons to push through the
होइन,
backside?
damage
That's
छैन
the
त्यहाँ
question
अब त।
where it can't hit
यो त
anything
तीन
here,
होइन यो
so
त
it's
फेल हो
useless against these
माथि
dragons.
माथिको
Time
बेस
fail.
गरेर
The
कम्पेयर
Wow,
Phoenix
time
is
fail
on
हुन्छ
this minion prince, so he's going to come
minion,
back
minion.
invulnerable for
Ramsey
8
out
seconds
Queenले
after
देखेको
that,
छैन।
but he's so healthy in there. I
Time
don't
fail
even
भयो
know
ल।
if he's
Time
gonna
fail,
take
time
it out. Queen is going to be a distraction on the far side. The multi-gear tower is just such a nuisance. The
यस्तो
Crusher
मिठो
Mortar
भएर
went
निकाल्यो
down.
नि तीन
Tons
हान्दैन
of
नि
dragons,
यार।
but look at that time,
तर
Carmen. 10 seconds
यसले
almost.
क्लिनरले यो
Time is the
त्यो
issue.
क्यानन बाँकी
It's
छ नि
gonna
त्यो
be
पनि
a
लिनु
time
खोजेको
fail
जस्तो
here.
लाग्यो
He's
क्या
got the minion prince, a few dragons with that warden still alive.
Alright, so
But
Queen for
unfortunately,
distance
not
पनि
able
टाढा हो
to
के?
power through the back part of this space, and it's a
त्यहीँ भए त आउने रहेछ प्लान
96%
त दामी गरे
two-star there for P. Castro, which is
That's
just
level
still
six.
a bit above, right?
Who's
That we
bigger than
saw from Shibai, and that is a still small lead. You
Samsung
want to
at
get
least
that
sponsor
3-star
answer.
to keep the star advantage.
Dominic
So far right now, it's tied.
तर म बुझ्दिनँ यार यो इज्जु जुडोहरूलाई कहिले काहीँ कुनै फोन कम्पनीले स्पोन्सर हान्दाखेरि तिनीहरूले आइडी त्यही लगइन हान्छ नि होइन तिनीहरूको चाहिँ कस्तो सेयर नभएको
That's a
आइडी
3-star. So they kind of catch a break there
Winner,
with
it's
that
got a
time
equal.
fill. Beautifully executed attack there for P. Castro.
लेजेन्डमा नि
That's
त
the
स्क्यान
one
माग्यो
risk,
त्यहाँ पनि
especially
त केही
in
भएन
esports mode. Those long RC charges.
अहिले हालेको हटापार हुन्न होला
You
कि
have to just
त्यस्तो।
get everything cooking as quickly as possible. We'll see 7 be our next attacker going up against Chronos bases. And if Shibai can get a 3-star, they'll push the advantage and push a lot of pressure over. And it's going to be that Super Yeti. Only 2 Super Yetis again. It seems to be like this is their signature attack.
Yeah, with
मलाई तिनवटा सुपर एट थोरै लाग्छ यिनीहरू दुईटा बोकेर आउँछ यार
It is.
CCमा एउटा
I
बोक्नु
see
छ
2
नि त।
earthquakes, and when you have 2
के
earthquakes, a
गर्ने
lot of times you go for the
Save it
clan
for
castle,
Ichi,
but he doesn't in this case. He's able to grab the scanner, grabs this area, and there's no. The scatter remains up. The
Scatter आएन यार
builder kept repairing it. So the
हेरी
builder
जाने
trying to
एउटा बिल्डिङ
set
मात्र
a
होइन र
quick funnel, but that area
multi archer
not
मात्र आयो
funneled all too much here as the queen is
बाहिर
going
गयो
to
भने
the
भयो
bottom side of the space, but obviously he wasn't going for the clan castle. He still has
Funnel
the
भयो,
poison spell,
त्यति
which
मात्रै
is
हो।
what's meant for the CC. But he's going to have to make this push
Daily
through.
charge
I do see
हाल्नु
3
पर्यो नि
balloons, so you might want to get those balloons down in front of these
Hello,
healers
Yatava.
soon, so you don't pull any red air bombs.
Yeah, and we see them on the outside of bases very
यतिकै
often.
भएन हैन
One thing
मलाई
to keep in mind, we kind of talked about the difference with Legends mode, but here in esports mode,
ए
there's
ओइ
also
ल
equipment
अब रिकल
modifiers.
हान्ने किङ
So
क्विन
those fireballs are a little bit
No.
weaker. They're -6 levels, so that's why you see him bringing in those couple of
आमामामा
earthquakes. But unfortunately for him,
पुरै अपोजिट
the battle builder was able to go over there and heal that
Dragon
scatter.
भी
shot.
हाल्नु
That's why
हेरेर
it
त्यो
remains.
Yeah, the scatter
यो
shot
एउटा
is
स्क्याटर
now
ढलेमा
locking on the
कस्तो
queen,
दामी
dealing quite a bit
पाथिन्थ्यो
of
यार
damage, and the healers need to switch targets onto the queen here.
मलाई त्यो
Moving
क्लाउड
through,
भन्ने
the
प्लेयर
booger
थियो होइन
does
पहिलाको
trigger
पालि
the
कस्तो
tornado
खतरा
trap,
खेल्थ्यो नि
pulling out the clan castle.
क्लाउड
But
भन्ने त
back,
जिआर
the
स्पोर्ट नै
town
थियो त
hall is going to be safe toward the end of
त्यही
this
त
Daddy
game.
भन्ने त हो।
be
ड्रागन
very risky.
ड्रागन कस्तो
Not
कस्तो
only
हान्छ नि
risky,
इलेक्ट्रो
it's
ड्रागन
scary,
के
Carmen. That's such a
लजिकली
long
के
way. I wonder if he goes ahead and throws the royal
त्यसको
champion.
ईसनन्तु होला
Royal champion in
त्यसको
there
नाम
on the left side along with the king to kind of just push
छ्याट
everything
त्यसले
through the
राम्रो
middle of the
हान्थ्यो
base.
त्यस्तो
Ultra go ahead
झारे
and open
तोरी
everything up. So now he'll just have a direct path.
This scatterले सबै
Super
खाइदिन्छ
Yeti's through. They're taking so much damage, especially from that scatter shot that remains. Can he get all the way through
हेर
the
नि
town
त्यो
hall?
एउटा स्क्याटर शटले
Opens up
कस्तो
that
ल्याङ गरे
extra Super Yeti.
सब त्यसले खाइदिन्छ
No, he's
त्यस्तो
got
गर्ने के
through with the king to the left.
नेपालमा नि
Does
सिओसी
die.
ब्यान हान्ने हैन
He's come
छुट्टै सर्भर
through.
दिन्छन्
The
नेपाललाई
log launcher is already done.
अनि
Why
पछि
is that?
नेपालबाट
He's
एउटा
stuck on a wall. So
नेपालबाट नि
she'll
एउटा
join.
छुट्टै टिम
But
दिन्छ
the
के
town hall
यहाँ
is
जो खाना हेर न वान
एउटा एप त रजिस्टर गर्न सकेको छैन मुलाले सिओसी ब्यान हान्छ
आफूसँग वान स्टार हान्दै बे ल
निरव हाम्रो प्रेडिक्सन मिल्छ
and ignores everything else. But I don't think she's going to.
No, there's no shot. He needs the giant
RC
half
थियो
of
त
that
खोइ त
action
RC
figure equipment to pop through there somehow.
जानी
But he's
वान
just
हान्यो क्या
getting shredded here by the defenses, and the giant goes down.
चिङचङ
Onto that clone
पैसा
queen,
खाइदियोस्
and unfortunately for
पैसा
some,
खाइदियोस्
it's
फर्स्ट
gonna be
कनिस्टर
a
है
star.
फर्स्ट कनिस्टर
जानी मार्नु जस्तो लाग्यो मलाई
Defense on a huge risk
चिङचङ
play.
पिङ पङ लिङ पङ लिङ पङ
Sending that
जसलाई
log
सपोर्ट
launcher
गर
from the top side
जसलाई
of the
सपोर्ट
base,
गरे त
not
जहिले
able
औकात
to
देखाउँछ
open
बे
up those core walls
Ni
near
hao,
the
ni
town
hao.
hall.
लास्ट
He
इयर
needed
रिलिसिङलाई
it, so it gave him
सपोर्ट गरे
access. He
मैले
took
लास्टमा
all
गएर
the
औकात
risk.
देखाइहाल्यो
You see, there's
Ni
not
hao,
that many
ni
buildings and
hao.
defenses
Baik थियो,
left after the town hall
Cincang.
even stand up.
यतिकै छोड्दै हान्यो हैन र
Close, but he forgot the one
पुरै
critical
opposite दिखायो
star, which is the town hall.
ब्याकअप प्लान
And now
नराखिकन
that
हान्यो
is
के
almost just like Tribe getting a triple themselves.
Cincang.
They'll have
Ni
the star
hao.
lead, and now Shibai is going to have to really make a comeback.
You could see some of those walls were
There you go.
destroyed, so it
Opening
only
doors
would have taken
to
maybe
hide.
one or two more logs to get through there. That log launcher just took a little bit too much damage.
Yeah, and even
Unfortunately,
more
for
damage.
some, but that's the one risk you run when you run an attack like that. When you're going all the way across the base,
Stubborn
you
didn't need to
understand the risk. Now, if you're Tribe Gaming, you almost feel like that time fail for B. Castro is kind of rectified with the 1 star there for 7.
Yeah, 1 star is still possible to make a comeback. We've seen it happen before. A lot of these other matches, it's a bunch of 2 stars. Some of them we are seeing multiple
पहिला
triples,
चाइनाबाट
but
कुन
doesn't
टिम आथ्यो
happen
गरे
every single one of them. But the captain is now up. Kronos step into the plate with 10 rocket balloons to use in that fireball as well. Fireballs are risky, but he does have 2 poisons, which definitely means he's not going for a clan castle to try to remove that, as I am trying to look. Where is... Oh, it's next to the town hall right in the middle.
Yeah, Clan Castle right there in the middle. I wonder if he just goes for the Crusher Mortar area.
Hawaii.
Scatter shot to take out the Crusher Mortar. So great pickup right
Jigga,
there.
jigga,
With
jigga.
Fireball. You don't want to have to worry about that.
म त म्याक्सिन द मोटरतिर जालागी भनेर उ
मार्दिनु मार्दि
Balloons out in front. You don't want to be losing your healers. That's a big pickup. Where does he set up this Flame Flinger? Right there. Flame Flinger goes in. Be aware of that Expo. He has to do something to
ट्राइब
get that
जित्नु
Expo
हुने
off of the Flame Flinger. Maybe he brings heroes into the right side to kind of negate that, but that's something
त्यो
he
यार
does not
दुईतिर
do
हानेछ त
a
यार
little bit later.
He does have 1 invis. You could
चार्ज
do a
पनि
little bit
दुईतिर
of an
हानेछ त यार
invis trick,
नयाँ
making the building in front of
यो
the
स्पिन
ground
रिकल लालो हान्न
balloon
भने डेथ
snipe the Expo to protect a flame flinger. So he could possibly try to do that, but it is risky. As the Lord is trying to continue his way to the right. We do have a queen ability getting popped right away from the left side. It have 1 rocket balloon going in, pulling some air skellies. But there is that furnace now coming out of the clan castle, and even more air skellies going to the queen's healers. He pulled his queen back.
So I was wondering, is the queen going to get pulled back, maybe go to the right side? And that's exactly what he's going to pull that queen out. Oh, does she go to the right side? Here come all those clan castle troops. Warden's going to have to deal with those rocket loons.
खोइ त वार्डन मोरै या
There to go ahead and get them under control. That Flame Flinger is still going, but watch that Expo. Watch that Expo. Expo locks on, but maybe he's content with the
खोइ
value
म
he
क्वीन
got.
बचेको गरे आम्मा
Well, he's going to probably look for that warden to then path his way to secure that town hall. So he's got to stay focused. Cannot lose this Grand Warden as the king. We see an earthquake boots going off to the top side. He's kind of shaking his head there. He's not liking some of the value as the king has died. One world champion. That's the warning going in. RC can be insurance for this town hall.
The king and queen just got like nothing from that top side. They got shredded, but it is going to have to be the RC to save the town hall takedown. She's going to go to the bottom area, go ahead and throw the Seeking Shield and the Rise here right at the town hall, and this is just a save me attack. Kronos, things not going the way he wanted. It really did seem like a strong start. It seemed like he got the value he was looking from the Flame Flinger, but that king and queen, they got 8 alive, and then the warden, he just kind of got destroyed there on the bottom side. It just all fell apart really quickly.
Yeah, unfortunately, and there is the
Invis
kind
कसलाई
of trick
दिएको
I was
त्यसले
talking about.
यो
Making
यो
that
मलाई
first
डार्क
building
स्टार
invisible,
सिन्थे
sniping
अनि
the building
आइन्स्टाइन भाइ
behind
जो
it.
जसले फायर
In
बल
this case,
हानेको
he went for
सबले
that air
रिकभरै
defense so that the
हान्नुपर्छ
rocket
लास्टमा
balloons can try to get a few more buildings that don't target air down, which they were able to grab that expo. So he's racking up the
Recover हान्न
percent
नपाइँदा
one by
त्यही
one here,
सेलिनो
88.
आइन्स्टाइन
And no,
डार्क
does
स्टार
not get
अनि
into
फ्लक्सी
the
त क्या
90s there. So nice attack
सिन्थे
from Kronos. But again,
तिनटैकै
they
फ्लक्सी भन्नु
have the lead because of the 1-star that came in from 7.
Interesting enough, Shibai actually pick up 1 percentage point from
पर्सेन्टेज
that.
पनि धेरै
Obviously,
फरक
they're
छैन
down
यार
on the star, but the percentage game is still
यो
very close.
ट्रिपल
Only a 5%
गेम हातमा हो
difference
क्या
between these two squads. So if Shibai can find a 3-star and hold Tribe to another defense, they're right back in this thing.
Yeah,
We'll go
it's
to 4-2
anyone's
attack.
game still. Tribe just is looking to get those 3 stars to really take that lead. But if we see
Clash
a
Royale को
3-star
Golden
from
Knight जस्तो छ
Shibai,
त
they're
नि यसो
back
कपाल
in it because we've just gotten those 2 stars from Picastro and Kronos. But we've got the Tribe fans. They are celebrating. They are rooting for their team. They are trying to get them over that hill, get that first place prize. They always come so close. But now we are jumping back to Shibai. Can they get that 3-star? Trying to take down Nebrax's base. It is 2 Lava Hounds here with 7 Rocket Loons, a couple
यो
Root
मात्र बच्चा
Riders.
रहेछ यार अरु
Wow,
सब
2
बुढो बुढो रहेछ
Hounds. That is quite interesting.
Very heavy investment here for this Royal Champion charge as
यत्रो
well.
बच्चा
Lots of
मलाई
invincibilities, does have that 1 overgrowth of support along with the recall to pull her out of there. But you're right.
सुटो न
One
सुटो
at least
देखिन्छ
sends
त
one to
म्याकुरी
maybe like pull out poison spell tower, and then maybe one to try to trigger the Gigabomb. He's gonna go ahead and redirect, but he gets
मर्यो ला ला ला
spinning that Royal Champion.
Oi.
She's gonna be visible for just a second.
गयो बाहिरै गयो
But he's not gonna be able to get that full value he was looking for in the
No,
core.
really, no.
So many spells in the spring trap, so launching the Royal
मैले
Champion here.
उठाएर
He wants to also keep the
घुमाइदिएछ
Spirit
के
Fox
गरे यार
alive.
आरसीलाई
He
बिचारा
grabs the monolith,
Pull her out.
grabs the multi, he tries to
गयो
time the
छोडिदियो
Spirit
उठा
Fox and
उठा
pulls her
उठा
back with the Builder
राम
Hook going
राम
down, but he wanted
तर फन्डल त
that
राम्रो भयो
additional
त
multi to go down.
तर
And
आउँदैन
one
हौ
of the
म्या,
हेर्दै
things
जानु
that he
हेर्दै
also wanted to grab
हेर्दै
is the
जानु
Clan
त्यो
Castle. You can
कोरकै
pull that
कोरको
CC out early,
इन्फर्नलले
you don't
हिलर
have to deal
सब
with it
खाइदिन्छ
in
अब
the core of the base.
Yeah, but you don't want to risk losing that Royal Champion. It's such
यो
a
लामा
big
हुनले पोइजन
investment,
टावर ट्रिगर
and
गर्ने
losing
ट्रिक
a
चाहिँ
big
अब
piece of the
सिकिराख्नु
puzzle
पर्यो
that
यार यो
early
चाहिँ दामी
is
लाग्यो
such a devastating blow. But now look, that Royal Champion, she's starting to get some of that
तर
healing
36
from all
पेस
those
एउटा
healers.
लाभाले
Root Rudders are out in front
त्यो पनि
taking,
हेर न
but look at this. Those ice golems, they're coming out and they're going to
Oh,
freeze
you-
up all
was
these
you
units.
doing
They're
that
gonna
or
grab
was
the
you
scout
doing
shot,
that?
ल
they're
म्या
gonna reap
दुईटा
the
लाभा
ball.
पुगेर
That's
आएछ
just
बे
so
यसले त
devastating.
With the Warden Eternal Tome still
ठीक है
intact,
ना
he's waiting as long as possible to use it. When the
use
Gravity
it,
down south, looks like the roots in
त्यस्तो
every
पनि
direction
होइन
path right
तर
towards
ओजी
it, which is
ओजीले
going to be a
गर्दा
problem,
हुन्छ
taking all that
Wait,
damage.
wait,
He
healer
might
भयो
as well, so he
बच्चा
does
बच्चा
indeed use the Eternal Tome to help protect him.
तर
And
कामै
now
छैन
he
नि
has
तर
a
मरि त हाल्छ
defensive
हिलर
minion prince. It looks like Royal Champion
Healer
able
पनि
to
हाल्छ नि
take him down pretty quickly. There's a couple Rocket Loons to the bottom side. Doesn't have much left other than the key ability and
खेलो
one
यो
wizard
टेक्निङ
to
ल
use.
वार्डेन
They
मऱ्यो
use one of
सक्यो
those lava hounds on that
Heck,
air defense over there by the queen to pull that poison tower out. So there's no spell on that poison tower, so it's not going to slow down his troops. So that's why he brought in that extra lava hound. A great play later in the attack, but at this point,
चाहिने
everything is
चाहिने
fading, and he's
बेलाको
going to have
राम्रो
a tough
हाल्नै
time getting his
नसक्ने
percent.
रहेछ बे
Just racking up
Ding
percent
dong,
slowly,
yeah.
but if you're down on percent in this war, it's going to be hard to come back since you had that 1-star. We do have that giant
एउटा
giant
एप्रिल
coming back
डिस्वार्डनले
around from the
जाइन्ट
bottom
क्यानन
side, trying
निकाल्यो
to
कि
join in with the, well, the queen was there in the core. She did go down.
मेरो
A couple
गोल
giants as
बसाल्यो
well. And it's in the 80s here. One
Goal
final
pass
wizard
होइदियो
will go down to the more to the top side.
Goal
Won't be able
pass-
to grab
goal
much.
pass चाहिँ
But
गयो
this
अब
giant should be able to grab at least the sweeper and this air defense. So
एउटा लास्ट हो
very nice try. Nebrax does hold the defense here for Tribe Gaming, and the giant goes down to an 82% that we are seeing here. And they are down in this match, unless there is
There's an archer down there.
one little archer that has
Or
a
maybe
dream.
there's
Or a
oh,
snake?
Oh, snake. Yeah, there's a snake. There was something down there.
छैन म यही छु
83% will be that final number. A little bit below par, a little bit below average here. But at the same time, the way that one was going, it could have
सरोज
been
पनि
a
यही
lot
छ
worse.
सरोज दाइ चाहिँ
Keep your team
जानुभयो
in it. And this has been a pretty defensive war. So you're hoping you can pull Tribe back yet again
तर
and still be
तर
alive.
हो यार यो
Two
सरोजले
star,
भने
two
ठिक हो
star,
क्या हो
two
म्या
star, two
सबको
star,
आइपुग्यो
and one
रहेछ
star.
डेभलपर
No
मोडमा
triple
खेल्दा चाहिँ क्या
just
हो
yet, but Tribe does have the advantage when it comes to stars. They will be up next, but the attackers that we still have include Ebrax, Akira's, and probably their closer, Temper. He loves the attack last. Tribe does kind of switch up their lineup sometimes, but it's not sticking to a similar lineup, which a lot of these teams tend to favor because then they can get used to attacking in that order, especially if you're a leadoff attacker when you don't have much time to plan.
Yeah, and that's why having a player like a P. Castro on your squad or a Max for Elevate, it's just such a valuable thing. But Nebrax will be our third attacker.
This is a very important
attack. A 3-star here almost puts the score out of reach for Shibai. The defense keeps them alive. So what can Nebrax bring to the table against Meow's base here? Can he get the 3-star? Can he propel Tribe into the next round? Or will they give Shibai another chance to get back in this war?
I'm guessing dragons are the play. Yes, they are indeed. 10 dragons, 10 invisibility spells. Keep your eye on that Royal Champion charge. You cannot lose her. If he runs that RC into a bait and finds a tornado trap, a bunch of spring traps, then it can be devastating. So he decides to send the RC from the top side near that Giga Bomb.
Nebrax was one of our most impressive dragon attackers throughout the season. It's almost a guaranteed thing when you see Nebrax, he's using dragons because he is so good with them and he can just do some things that other players can't. The way he can just keep his Royal Champion under control and redirect her throughout the base is just so impressive. She does soak that Giga Bomb early, but remember, she does get that passive amount of healing. So as long as she's not visible, you can see the health bar starting to grow.
With that Earthquake on those defenses, able to help clear this whole right side compartment of defenses with the Royal Champion now backtracking. Now continuing into the Poison Spell Tower. He gets that, and he even triggers the Tornado Trap, which is very helpful, so he won't encounter it with the Dragons later on.
And he even picks up that sweeper there, which anytime you're using air, even if you're not going into it, it's always a nice thing just in case. Now, Queen will go ahead and join the party. He does actually have a Battle Blimp selection. Traditionally, you're going to go with the Siege Barracks on this attack, but he may be just sending that Battle Blimp straight to the Town Hall so the Dragons don't have to deal with it as long, which that would be a beautiful play. And here comes that Battle Blimp right over the top curve.
Awesome, triples in Ryanos.
That was a little while ago, where once that blimp leaves the circle of the Warden, it will no longer stay protected after a second, but he does land, able to go for the Town Hall, raged up those Yetis, even worked through the Furnace. 1, 2, 3, with that going down. The Queen right to the top side, the air defense. We have the Minion Prince that is in the core of the space. If he pops the ability now, perfectly hits these back-end defenses.
Especially those
this
scatter
is
shots.
hard move
Slowing
for
those
you.
scatter shots down is massive. But the one thing was that Blimp maybe could have been just a split second earlier because his Dragons did spread out a little bit into the middle. So he didn't quite get the concentrated value that you like to see from the Dragons. He's still going very strong here, don't get me wrong, but could have maybe focused a little bit of that firepower into the center of the base.
I really liked that Minion Prince coming back to life. Look at killing the
the
defensive Minion Prince. He's trying to hold his breath. Is it enough? The multi's a big pain, hitting all these Dragons at once. The Warden's trying to fly through. The Queen is behind the Giant, trying to get out for the Queen. The Queen's not going for the Ricochet King, but the Warden's
Ani.
He's gonna get the 3-star
That one Rocket Loon barely had any health, was able to get into that scatter shot dead zone, take it down, and Nebrax, one of the most animated players on Tribe Gaming, you know he's feeling pumped.
Goera kulilihe result change nanim kya ho?
Absolutely, and that one just dodged a seeking airline and able to get that triple for Tribe Gaming. Not only do they now have a triple on their side, they have a 1-star defense as well, which is a 2-star lead. And in a competition like this, especially in esports, the esports mode, that feels like a mile.
Oh yeah, especially with only a couple of attacks left, Carbon. It is a mile. Shibai have to get 2 triples essentially here and then hold Tribe to 2 2-stars, but with that back-end lineup of Rakiras and Temper, it's going to be so hard.
It's going to be a tough task for Shibai, but it's always a possibility. They have to get 2 triples here and hope for defenses to try to make that comeback. Wade is a world MVP back in 2019. He's continuing to compete throughout all these years, and to think that he's still making it the highest stage in Clash, it just proves how good you are. But let's see, can we have an answer from Shibai? Taking on Rikira's base. Good luck.
Subin looking like a straight-up menace to society here in that epic pose down. Coming in with the Root Rider is a pretty traditional setup, it looks like here. Does have the one overgrowth spell, only a handful of invisibilities, so it doesn't seem like anything crazy here. It seems like a very, very traditional Root Rider play, which I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, it does move those air skellies out of the way of the Raw champion, so it doesn't cause any distraction as the RC is moving her way through the scatter in towards the air axe, but one by one does have 3 earthquakes here, Bash, which he can try to pair in with maybe the Queen's giant arrow for something.
Giant arrow with the love launcher. Town Hall, multi, CC. If he can keep it alive, especially with this multi going down, the Monolith, oh no, Monolith is locked on, Monolith is locked on, oh no! That Monolith taking down that log launcher is such a huge play. Not only does that go down, but look at this, the wall is not open to the Town Hall. He does have a wall breaker to get through there, but also that multi behind the Town Hall, the CC, I think those were intended to be taken out as well.
Just the multi in the Town Hall, both going down. He would not have taken all that damage, but he does overgo the backside, continuing trying to power through. Isn't enough as the Roots are making their way left, though. It looks like the healers have path.
Okay, the boom lower में जोड़े
हो तो मैं भी तो बैठ गया हूँ. King, since the Roots will not target it. Warden now fails from the Roots, which you really want the Warden with the Roots and the healers, so you can then have that rage to benefit the healers and heal them up quicker.
Oh yeah, त्यो चाहिँ हो. टाउन 14 में वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप जीता फर्स्ट गेम में लोअर चले हैन.
तल आउँछ के.
बडी वर्ष अगाडि कुरा गरेर
but the multi-gear tower
And
takes her down.
Town 16 में पनि ठुलै टुर्नामेन्ट त्यस्तै गरिरहेको थियो.
This being a 2-star,
17 में.
all but locks it up.
Yeah, unfortunately not going to be able to pull through in this one. It really came down to that log launcher not freezing the monolith in time, and the log launcher getting popped to be open and not continuing those logs through the town hall. To take out the town hall, monolith,
community में जसरी खेल्दै
set
यहाँ
up a
त्यसरी
great
खेल्दै
funnel for the Roots to the left side of the space. He's letting it play out here, but Tribe right now are looking so good. Two more attacks, one from Rikiris and one from Temper.
Especially when they came into this match kind of feeling like they had that tough time. I mean, we've seen them do some really amazing things. Getting through that Chinese qualifier is no easy task. But again,
नेपाल र इन्डियाको टिम जान दिन्न के हालिन्छ के नि बहानाले
early just set the tone and then piling on a 3-star on top.
अनि इन्डियाबाट जान्दिन्छ होला यार ऑडियन्स छ नि त
Very impressive. And when I actually
इन्डियालाई जान दिन सक्छ नेपालको त गर फाइदै छैन भन्छ होला
I asked them which team were they kind of really wanting to face. They said Tribe Gaming, right? The first team that they got matched up here. And these first matches, well, these teams have had a lot of time to prepare for it. It's the upcoming matches that's where it's a toss-up. You don't know who you're going to play, so you're going to have to start planning for all of them. But really, these first ones, they've had a lot of time to try to design specific bases for these attackers. But the one thing with Shibai, you don't have too much info as you would have with the other teams because you don't see everything that's going on the scene with the Chinese qualifiers and the attacks that they come in with. But they know pretty much some of the top of attacks that everyone's going in with. They try to defend against those, but Tribe's been looking really good so far.
And it's really just kind of like what variations of those meta attacks are you going to see? And it seems like Tribe has just been so well prepared. Check this out from Rikiris. 11 total rocket balloons for his Root Rider attack. And it's going to be a heavy RC charge as well. Tons of invisibilities here, so this World Champion has to pick up tons of value. Might even look like he's going to push her in towards that Town Hall.
Last year पनि Chinese team लाई हाल्ने नाबिने त्यो लोयर
I think he can get her in there.
double rage compartments. You have to keep your eye on those. Where is this RC going to go after this? Ricochet cannon, invis to the top. Does she go? Okay, yes, into the Crusher Mortar. And the nice thing is you pop that RC ability, so she was able to advance past the Crusher Mortar, and while those invises were still active, continuing to route that RC straight to the core, getting that value. Now it looks like she's going to the left, continuing to go into this rage spell tower. He can take that down. No, you can recall her. Does he recall her? Rage spell? Yes, perfect value right there.
Great pickup. Here comes some more rocket loons, just taking out some of those outside buildings. Now going for that multi-inferno. Trying to maybe pick up some traps there, it felt like, as now he's going to go ahead and start that Root Rider attack. It's going to circle in around the base counterclockwise with the pathing set up from that Royal Champion.
Yeah, with the balloons out in front of these healers trying to protect, you have the Troop Launcher trying to launch those balloons out in front of the healers to continue to protect them. But it's going to be fantastic with no rage spell on the backside, so he doesn't get hit by those raged up defenses. But we do have continued push through, still with a Warden Eternal Tome to protect everything as he's trying to make his way to the scatter. Distracts the Monolith with a Skeleton Spell, but we got a lot of defenses back there with that Minion Prince.
And remember, with this kind of attack, you don't have that additional spell support. Sometimes having that one overgrowth, especially in the area where that Minion Prince is with those Fire Spitters and the Monolith and multi-gear tower, having that one overgrowth could be a big difference maker, but when you commit to that heavy RC charge, you just don't have that. Here comes that Royal Champion, or the Warden ability, and that Royal Champion's going to surge forward to take out the Minion Prince here. A nice play from Mercurius, but the question is, can he get through the back end of this base? That Minion, or the Royal Champion rather, gets taken out right after taking out the Minion Prince.
Unfortunately, the RC went down, which means that she wasn't able to finish off that Monolith, so he tries to sneak in a few rocket balloons to try to take the Monolith down. Will it be able to take it down with a death damage? No, it just damages it a little bit more. Does have the King's ability with one super barb left. Tries to sneak that one little minion in, and the minion that could not take it down, but he does grab the Tornado Trap, continues around the edge, only 24 seconds left. That Monolith is just proving to be a pain.
The 2-star here is fine though for Rikira's. Tribe Gaming are already up by 2 triples. They're already up on percent. This will push them up to 9-7 with 1 attack each for each squad. So it's kind of similar to the last war we saw. Shibai have to triple and then hope for some epic failure. A 1-star attack from Tribe, which we just rarely ever see.
Very nice try there from Riqueras. Unfortunately, a few things just didn't go right. But hey, a great percentage, and they are looking fantastic as there is only 1 attack left that is coming in from Shibai, and that is going to be Wei, the 2019 MVP. Is a previous world champion, but he knows they're down by a star from the triple. They're down by a star from the 1-star. The best they can get is 10. Tribe's already sitting at 9. So a 2-star from Temper, no matter what happens here, would lock up this match.
Shibai need a 3-star here, and then Temper would have to just melt down and have a 72% or lower 1-star for Shibai to somehow win this war. But there's still a chance. There's still a chance. You never know. But Wei will be brought to the table, and it's going to be that Super Yeti attack with just those 2 Super Yetis. He is electing to go with the Troop Launcher here. Here comes that early Warden Fireball, just taking out that right-hand compartment. I've seen them using the Log Launcher on this one, but so far he has the Troop Launcher.
Looks like there's a couple of red air bombs to the edge of this space, and some air skellies taking them down. Will he be able to toss them to the top side? More air skellies through here, or is he going to come back down to the bottom where he did decide to wall break through. So he did do that, so we'll open up another section of this compartment where the Crusher Mortar is, but he doesn't open up that wall. Just barely waited as he pairs in a super wall break. One of them actually goes to the far left side. Hopefully the Queen continues into the court, but he does have that recall, so he probably wants to pull this Queen and Warden back after this compartment goes down.
Massive, and then pulling out the Flame Castle also, especially that Furnace. You can get the poison down now on the Furnace and get that taken out. Getting the Fire Spitter, oh my goodness, he's just picking up value after value. Queen's a little bit distracted here, but here come the Ice Golems as well. Full Clan Castle pull. Does he pull her out now? Yes, there goes the recall for that Queen. Amazing value from that Queen Warden charge.
Setting up that funnel so that right side is down. Now the Super Yetis with the recalled and redeployed Warden and Queen.
अब COC-मा मजाले त्यो सानोबाट मा कत्रो ठुलो
We
पार्यो
have the Ice Golem that on the offensive side throws those defenses, continuing to push his way through. But did he just ice block something there? He must have ice blocked maybe some of the Super Yetis from that monolith.
Does switch it out to the log launcher as well. He did have that shield launcher selected. The log launcher is going to allow him to plow forward, open up the on the top side. That's going to keep the Yetis, the Queen, and the Warden all in the middle of the base. I love this play from Way. It feels like this is exactly how they execute this attack, and it feels really good. Goes in world champion's ability, getting those hogs out. Now the Town Hall is accessible. Everything is open, and Way is looking like a dominant path through this base.
King ability still intact. Ice Golem to the backside, distracting that Ricochet Cannon. A fantastic touch there, so his RC stays protected, but he even freezes it up once that Ice Golem does die. The Queen's continuing through the backside. The Giant getting distracted on the wall, so now it switches. I think we have some Furnace Mites that are actually coming from the top side, slowly but surely making their way into the fight, trying to hit these defenses in these buildings. The one final Furnace is going to eventually disappear, but the bottom buildings are still remaining. Remember, a 3-star here would still have to get a 1-star for a lower percentage from the final attacker of Temper, but Way, a great attack, putting your team up to 10 stars, which is the answer from that 1-star. But unfortunately, Tribe did get a triple of their own, so they are in a very comfortable spot where they just have the 2-star, and a situation like this could 100% change your plan on the fly to make sure you send maybe a blimp to go for the Town Hall. But the update did change the Warden ability, not protecting the blimp flying across. Depending on how the base is designed, we'll have to see where that Town Hall is placed.
No such thing as a super safe blimp anymore, Carbon Fence. We did have those changes. As those troops leave that Warden's Eternal Tome for 1 second, they are no longer invincible. So Way did get the triple, which means Temper. Any 2-star wins it, but if he does 1-star, it needs to be above 73%. 72% means that Shibai wins, 74% means that Tribe Gaming win. But if he gets that Town Hall 50%, Tribe Gaming win no matter what.
So when you think about it, sometimes when you're the final attacker, you might not have the best hit rate because of a situation like this where you just have to go for the safe 2-star. You can completely switch up your plan to make sure that goes down, and that safe attack would not result in that triple. So Temper, here we go. As the Warden is placed to the far left, we do have the Angry Jelly on him. No Fireball to use, only 1 Earthquake, as this Warden is charging his way through to help grab these initial defenses to help set up the funnel for the Root Riders. But Bash, I see an overgrowth. Sometimes what they try to do is overgrowth that Town Hall, and when you do, the timing could be off and it could lead to 1-stars.
Not just they. We've seen Temper in this exact situation need a 2-star and overgrowth at Town Hall. Temper is not afraid of risk, but he does have a Battle Blimp selected at the current time. So after this Warden does his little charge here, gets the value, gets everything set up, we may see that Battle Blimp go right over the top and go right for the Town Hall. We have uses the invisibility to protect him as those Clan Castle troops are starting to get taken care of as well.
With 2 skeleton spells being used to try to distract the Monolith, Multi, and Ricochet Cannon, out comes the Rocket Loons and Ice Golem now, but the path is coming through to the bottom. We're going to see that blimp go for the Town Hall. Warden ability protecting it. Okay, we do have the Ice Golem freezing it up, but it's fine. He's still in the ability, staying protected. Blimp makes it to the Town Hall. He freezes it up no matter what to stay protected. Town Hall goes down. Now it just needs the 50%, and Tribe Gaming will be advancing in the upper bracket of day number 1.
This has definitely got to feel like a relief for them, getting a tough opponent like Shibai out of the way early.
That
lower bracket and playing elimination matchup here later on today. It is a tough thing, but it's just the way that Clash Clans esports go. 2 teams are going home today, and we will find that out shortly after this war finishes up. But here we go, Temper just working through here, just trying to get as much percent as possible, but let's be realistic. Like you mentioned, when you're in that 5 spot, you know your job. Get that safe 2-star, get the victory for your squad, move forward, and keep your head up. And another kind of thing we haven't spoke about. They don't have to play anymore today, so they can kind of just start shifting their focus towards their opponent tomorrow.
And I saw Tribe out here earlier before any of the fans were watching, and I asked them, are you going to be sitting in the crowd watching the earlier matches? And they said yes. And I was like, oh, why are you going to be watching and not backstage preparing? They wanted to get the feel for the environment. They wanted to see how it is for the other teams, and it's paid off. They were able to come through. They get that first game match victory, advancing to round number 2. They are done for today, but we have 2 more matches scheduled after this. And those 2 matches are going to be elimination matches, sending 2 teams home. They worked so hard to get to this competition all those months ago, getting those golden tickets. And just like that, if you have an off day, you could be going home. But still, I mean, you're going to be taking home some nice prize money, $20,000 if you're coming in the 7th and 8th spot. But you wanted that first place prize, $300,000.
A nice little chunk of change. I mean, who doesn't want $300,000 for playing Clash of Clans? That's amazing. But at the end of the day, only one team can get that huge $300,000 prize and the title of our 2025 World Champions. We still have a long way to go. We still have 2 more days of Clash Esports. Not only that, we have 2 more awards today. But let's throw it to the stage with Barney and see what Tribe have to say.
Thank you so much, Bash. I've got Kronos here from Tribe Gaming. Make some noise for Tribe, guys. Come on. Home crowd. Kronos, I want to talk to you a little bit about adapting on the fly being such an essential part of Clash of Clans esports, especially at the level you guys are at. When you're essentially, in a way, gifted a 1-star by your opponents, does that change anything for you guys strategically or for any of the plan, or do you just continue as is?
Offensively, we continue as is. We have the 2 best base builders in the world working for us, so I have full confidence in them. The traps were good. I think besides the 1-star, we also had very good traps in place, especially the RC Travelingos Nyan. Yeah, just a really good effort from the base building team, I have to say.
Yeah, fair enough. Shout out to the base builders out there as well, because yeah, you guys did a phenomenal job there. Now, one thing I wanted to talk about was, you know, how animated you guys are on the main stage. It's such a great thing to see. Honestly, for the viewers, it's amazing. You guys really play into it. But do you feel like competing here on the main stage with a live audience gives you guys an extra gear?
I think so. I think something that is important to note is that on stage you feel the nerves. I've been here before a couple of times, and you still feel it, and the whole like letting it out like helps you with that, and it's just relieving in a sense.
Fair enough. Obviously, you've got the fans here as well cheering you on. Essentially, you guys have a home crowd as well. Is there anything that you'd like to say to them as you go ahead into the second day of competition?
Hey, it's great to be in the land of freedom. USA! USA!
Kronos, thanks so much for joining me in this post-match interview. We'll see you later. With that, the upper bracket and the lower bracket are set. We have 2 more matches that are going to take place right here on the main stage, and they will both be elimination matches. The is going to get dialed up. It's going to get sweaty. It's going to get nervous, and I can't wait. But before we get into any of that, let's get over to the desks so they can break down that match.
어제
Well,
net
unlike
right kinas
Chuck
dunia
was not Kronos leading
Baldwin
the
भनेको
USA chance, but
Baldwin
what a
छैन
beautiful
कलेज
performance
सुन्दिने होला
from
हैन
Tribe Gaming, and welcome back.
No,
What did you make of that last match?
I mean, that was a crazy match, but I feel like at the same time, the important game-changing moment was really the 1-star, and especially then the 3-star right after, really have given them a big lead.
Yeah, that 1-star is game-changing right there. But what is also game-changing, the stats that we are seeing here. 1-star, triple coming in from Nebrax. We saw from that one side. But the 2019 way also coming through with a 3-star of their own. Percentage still was on Tribe's side. So Shibai knows that even if they had that 2-star that one was turned into, they still would not have had the war. They still would have got on percentage. They still would have lost that. But you know, once you come in with the 1-star, it's a gut feeling, and it affects your teammates, even though they may say it not. It really does.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, everyone's like, no, it's okay. We're a team. We're not worried about it. It's okay, Seven. Pick yourself up. But at the end of the day, you know in the back of your head, it's like, man, I was that guy this war. I don't want to. No one ever wants to be that guy. But you're right, Carbon. The percentage advantage, Tribe just kind of dominant throughout.
Yeah, that's for sure. Really, really solid with the average percentage, because we have seen this now in multiple matches. Those can be really game deciding later on, and we had Nebrax, the man with the 3-star follow-up with the 1-star defense. So really great job to him, and a deserved MVP title for this one.
100%. Nebrax with the Dragon showing how to take it down and getting the triple for Tribe Gaming. They advance to tomorrow. They can take a breather. They can sit in the crowd. They can watch the final set of matches and possibly who they could be facing. But if they make the run from the upper bracket, it could only be in the grand finals from the teams that are coming up next, because these are lower bracket matches, meaning they have to fight every match to stay alive. They lose, they're out. And it's such a tough road trying to get from the lower bracket all the way to a grand finals and force that bracket reset.
Especially in a tournament like this where it feels like we have 8 stacked teams. It doesn't really feel like there's any standout team that is like, oh, that's a bad team. It feels like all 8 of these teams are just so close this year.
Yeah, we have as well the first set of matches now. We have seen all of them have done really, really well, and most of those matches were really close as well, showcasing how difficult it is to really pick your favorites and who's going to come out on top. And now with the lower bracket happening next and tournament lives on the line, it's not going to get any easier at this stage.
It's not going to get any easier, because the next 2 matches that we have, well, the next one coming up is going to be Milliceme MG taking on Carry Esports. So as we're preparing for that one, we're going to watch some highlights from this previous one, because the next are the elimination matches.
ऊ चाहिँ हो के अरे अब होइन एमजी र को हुन्छ अब एमजी र क्यारीमा एमजीले जितिहाल्छ क्यारी आउट भइहाल्छ
हैन यार क्यारी स्ट्रङ यार त्यो किलहरु लडमा हाल्नु
है मलाई त एमजीले जित्छ जस्तो लागिरहेछ
एमजी स्ट्रङ छ तर क्यारी पनि बवाल छ के त्यो रुलर पनि हान्ने जस्तो छैन यार
अर्को त चाइनिजले जित्छ होला नाबीले हक्छ जस्तो लागिरहेछ फेरि
नाबीले त चाइनिजले जित्नु पर्छ भनेर बसेर आमा भन्दा पैसा लगाएन
कोसँग लगाउँथ्यो कि बेटिङ हो
1x bet बेटिङ
लागिरहेछ त्यहाँ लिगल हो र
यहाँ त लिगल छ नि त
हो नाइस रहेछ त भने
युएसमा त लिगल छ त्यो ट्याक्स तिर्नु पर्छ तिमीले
विनिङको ट्याक्स तिर्नु पर्यो
स्ट्रिप क्लबहरु
Hey guys, Clash Bashing here with Milliceme MG. Guys, thanks for joining us today. Tell us what made this year your breakout.
Well, I think throughout the year, even though we had some difficulties, we realized we had a team that was actually getting better and better over the month. And at some point, we also, given the opportunity we saw we may have, we just started to work harder and harder.
You guys went flawless through the last chance qualifier to punch your ticket to come here to DreamHack Atlanta and play in the World Championship. Was there any special prep that went into that run?
I wouldn't say special. I'd say we just committed a lot to get all the bases ready and to be prepared as well in offense. I think the main difference was that all the team that actually had their golden ticket before were not playing there, so maybe it was more reachable for us. Other than that, we had a very strong preparation, but like we had on the other stage 3 preparation.
Milliceme MG made it to the top 4 last year. Do you guys feel any pressure playing under the MMG banner with a completely new team?
To be honest, I think we had some kind of a pressure at the beginning of the year because we were pretty much all unknown players back then, and we had a big name coming with us. So back then, we had a lot of pressure. But right now, given where we came from and what we have already reached, that golden ticket and be qualified to the World Championship, I think we're actually already very proud of what we have achieved. So of course, the higher the place we can get at Worlds, the better it's really for the image. But I think we are very proud of what we've done with this name so far already.
All right, well, Clash Bashing here with Milliceme MG. Thank you guys so much for your time. Good luck to you guys this weekend here in Worlds.
Thanks a lot for having us. Yeah.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, our first elimination match of the World Finals is upon us. They've survived the gauntlet so far through all of the monthly finals, last chance qualifiers, and now they're here, and they could be eliminated on day one. This is where the tension really is going to start to rise, so I'm going to need some energy from you guys, okay? Are we ready for our next match on the main stage? Ooh, okay, DreamHack, get a coffee in ya. Right, it is time to introduce your first team up here to the main stage. Go crazy for Carry Esports!
क्यारी र उसको सुरु भएको
They are Zikin, Denden, Kai, Ryuta, and Chien. They enter into this match with only one goal: to survive. And their opponents fighting for survival as well. It is Milliceme MG.
Thank you.
They are Yzma, Mr. C, Addy, Anat, and Nez 4X. It would be an understatement to say that the tension is palpable up here on the main stage. Two teams enter, only one will go through into day 2 of the World Finals. Let's head over to Itsu and Carbon Fin to break this one down before we head into it.
And the eliminations are here. One team will be heading home after this match, and the other will continue the run in the lower bracket. But Itsu, we've got an amazing match. Carry Esports taking on Milliceme MG. Milliceme MG, we're just one building away, at least in the 99% from Nest 4X, from trying to take down a team like Elevate and be in the upper bracket.
Yeah, and that would have been a crazy upset. And you said it, they were so close. So can they make it happen in this match? Because this one building can be all the difference maker in those two teams going head to head.
That's all it takes. One building, you don't want those 1 stars, you don't want those 99%. Granted, the 99%, 2 stars better than that 1 star. But can Milliceme MG finally get a triple? Carry Esports, they did get a 3-star, at least in their first match, so they were able to get over that hill. But unfortunately, it's going to be a tough road here in the lower bracket as we are taking a look at the stats with Denden, Kai, Chan, Zikin, and Ryuta. These are some really well-known and versed players here in the esports scene. But it is just a different game. You know, you've played on a stage like this. It may have been many years ago, but you do have the experience. Walk us through what it's like going through these players' heads right now.
It was a long time ago, that's for sure. But, I mean, it's right now all about concentration, as well making sure that your army is set. And something right now, which is as well different, is there are so many components. Your spells have, like, to be perfect. The troops the heroes, the equipments. There are so many things by now which you can pick as an attacker. You need to make sure everything is giving you the best opportunity to 3-star as we're looking at the lineup of Millennium MG. And for them, it is really, really as well important to have their star player. I feel like it's fair to say Nes4X, that he has clutched for this team so many times in this last attacking position. It is crazy.
It's insane what he's done. And after the first match, I went up to Nest and talked with him about his experience. Because every single one of these players, this is their very first time on a stage like this. And I asked him, hey, were you nervous? What were you feeling during that attack? And he actually said he felt no nerves. Crazy to think. Protos is up there saying, of course, they all feel nerves. But he said he actually felt no nerves. All of us here, it looks like across the board with the Millennium MG. But that's crazy to think. But now, do the nerves start to dial up with it being an elimination match? Because back then, in the first match, you had the ability to bounce back. You know, there was a second life. But it's going to be tough as we are getting ready for this match. Let's go ahead and check out the vibes here with Barney.
Listen up, everyone. I've been tasked with the job of taking a temperature check of the room before we dive into our next match of the day, which we're doing every single time. An atmosphere check, if you will. And I gotta say, it's pretty bleak. It's not feeling too good. Mistakes have been made, and I'm not quite sure how to set the tone. Because as you can see on the main stage, this is kind of the calm before the storm. Whoever comes out of this match on top will gain that little bit of momentum going into day 2. They'll survive, but their momentum will be the essential thing. Because not only do you have to battle your way out of the lower brackets, but you have to do it and then force a bracket reset in the grand finals. But that's 2 days away. Right now, we're focusing on the here and now. We've got the young guns from Millennium MG, with arguably one of the best players, in the world with Nes4X. We've got Carry Esports. Look at them. You can see them right now, just getting their minds together, trying to figure out what to do. I can't call it, so I'm going to let you guys do it. You guys have been voting at home to predict who you think's going to win this match. So let's get the predictions in and let's hear the percentage. Currently, 66% of you believe that Millennium MG is going to come out of this match victorious. Only time will tell. That's enough from me out here on the main stage. I'm going to send it back to the casters to set the tone before we go into our lower bracket.
Underdog since the beginning of this day. Carry Esports, they have to fight the odds. The community is going with Millennium, as casters as well have predicted them to win. But can they still turn it around? It's now all about keeping your head calm and delivering, because we all know how good those players are.
And here it is, kicking it off. Isma leading the charge yet again for Millennium MG. Handful of Rockaloons and the Root Riders. We do have quite a bit of invises, so the Royal Champion's going to start. Some red air bombs popping for that Rocket Loon there on the edge. But the Royal Champion is charging her way through this topside. Goes invisible with that Spirit Fox timing. Poison getting launched. Another invis. Does he invest every invis through this? He probably can grab the Town Hall if he can get the RC to path to the door.
That's the big question. Can he make that work? The next 2 invisibility spells are actually getting deployed to push further in. He has that Earthquake, the Royal Champion ability to push her further, and now he needs to make sure that he's dropping those invis spells. We have seen it earlier. He needs to make sure that the Royal Champion is not going down, because that is so crucial. Can he get even more value? That's the big question. So far, the timings are great.
The timing's fantastic so far with that Spirit Fox and the Royal Champion. Taking all this value. The Clan Castle's barely up. And doesn't go down too bad. He doesn't have an Earthquake or a Giant Arrow for that Queen to finish it off, which means he will have to encounter that Clan Castle on approach. But he does have a Poison spell to deal with it. Troop Launcher actually getting launched at the Queen. You don't actually want that to happen. You want the Troop Launcher to launch in towards these Root Riders so the balloons can spawn. As you see, one just spawned over the Queen. You want the balloons to pull those traps to protect the healers.
That is the important thing. Keep those healers alive. The next barrel is actually going to the Root Riders, and this means he has some of those protection loons in front of him. The rocket loons are getting out of that clan castle on the defensive side, but so far they're getting distracted. It's now all about this push through this backhand because there is so much space because there's only one skeleton spell in his army composition at this point.
Giants best with the king to the bottom. The snakes are jumping the wall. They're trying to get out in front as well. Warden does have the ability. Does he use it now approaching this final kind of section on the base? One by one. The healers, though, need to stay protected. And, of course, as I say that, a singular mind comes right on through. The Warden ability will make a huge difference. And there it is. It goes off. Trying to help push through this backside. Is that just a heal? I believe it's just the heal there. Trying to heal him up and with the benefit of that rage gem. And the Rush champion is even still alive, making her way through as the Giga Bomb gets activated.
What an insane Crusher Mortar on the back end. 35 seconds left. The King's ability is still there, and this might be the first 3-star of this match. He's pushing strong. This back end is somehow vanishing. And this base,
First 3-star for Melisime MG here in Elite. They get a 3-star, which is gonna now put pressure onto Carry Esports there. Isma is definitely happy. Getting a 3-star at a stage like this, with the lights on you, it is a hard thing to do, let alone with all the money also on the line. So they are in the lower bracket. Gonna have to push their way through it, but they have what it takes. Isma with that triple to start. Now he is going to switch from being that attacker to now trying to help plan his teammates, making sure that they're double checking their armies, double checking spells, and even those equipment. You don't want to have the wrong equipment on your heroes, and then becoming a spotter as well. But now Kai is going in against Ness 4X's base, and it is the 15 rocket loons. With probably that Warden Fireball, maybe. We're going to have to see with Rocket Loons coming to the bottom side into that mortar. Indeed it is. The Fireball with no poison. 3 earthquakes here, so he's wanting to remove the Town Hall and the Clan Council together.
That's a lot for him. Remember, those attacks are incredibly strong, but they can go down so quick. He's only facing right now Expo and Watchtower, and he has to really invest into that Warden. One of the most important components of this strategy is pushing around this bottom side, taking down defenses out of range. Support that Warden pushing further in as the Angry Jelly is making sure the Warden is going from defense to defense.
Warden up a little bit, which means now he's going to stop turning defenses after this ground expo. Turn around for the
Fireball त सबै मेटा रहिरहन्छ होला जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई.
There you go. 1, 2, a couple. He's going to go Invis behind and actually grab the core of the base, including the ricochet cannons. So that's going to go down. Now the Warden, he will actually step his way to the town hall, but the enemy queen is there. Watch out, the queen is being distracted now, so the Warden can stay protected.
Oh, that Warden is still taking a lot of damage. The town is firing as well.
बिचारा डरो नर भयो यार.
Where's the Warden going? No!
He's gone. The Warden was supposed to go grab the Town Hall, but he walked to the bottom side and said, no thank you, Town Hall remains. As we have the King ability going off, Royal Champion is going to be what has to secure this Town Hall as the insurance to take it down. A few Yetis still on the bottom side, grabbing the ground expo. Queen's got ability, 1 ice block to use, but unfortunately the Warden did not get what he was supposed to go for.
And the spell
That's really unfortunate. The Warden, I think he followed some fire mice or something. So I'm not really sure, but he's trying to now save that second star as the Queen is going for more buildings on this top side. The action figure actually turning around and going for the Town Hall. But at this point it's too late. He has deployed the Royal Champion. And it's now all about getting the percentage points up. Because second star is secured, but percentage points are just crossing the 70% mark.
Yeah, 7 rocket loons still to use with a furry ease. You can grab the percent to the edge. Maybe the rocket loons in the mortar to the far right over there. It will also grab the gold mine due to the splash damage. 1 final baby dragon to use. Gold mine will go down with that multi-mortar. Baby dragon to the right pairs in the freeze. So the rocket loons can try to go in towards this air defense. So the baby dragon can continue some value. But unfortunately, they don't go over there as a tornado trap actually activates. And the air defense does indeed remain up.
80% भने त लो हो यार यस्तोमा त
Warden not really following the original plan and having some different plans of I'm not even sure what exactly he followed. It felt like one furnace and a rocket loon or something, but this is as well some type of risk, I assume, playing that strategy. The Warden having different plans than the attacker, but in the end, Millicene pulling off with a strong start and a 1-star lead.
1-star lead is all you need at the end of the day, as many of these matches has come down to exactly that. But Carry Esports are not happy with that Warden. He went off to the wrong side. Unfortunately, had to completely change his plan. The World Champion was supposed to be used in a different part of the base to get the value, but he had to indeed switch it up and save that 2-star, which means that they're still in it. Not a bad percentage, nonetheless, from what did indeed happen, but now Mr. C. He's ready to go for Millicene M&G. Another 3-star here would just be such an advantage. Getting 2 triples while you do already have a defense. But it is now the Root Riders, handful of Rocket Loons, and the Invises to use. The giant arrow is on this. We're going to see this World Champion charge through. You can't do as deep of a charge because it doesn't have 8, 9, 10 Invises. So looking to grab the outside building defenses here.
Yeah, catching a lot of the giant bombs and traps in Zero at the beginning, but the Fox is even staying alive, even though he has gotten the exact value he was hoping for. So now it's all about getting that log launcher ready. The logs are rolling, the Queen is in there as well, and now it's all about the Root Rider push. Is the pathing set up as planned? Because, I mean, take a look at that opening. Everything flawless.
Very nice as the logs are actually moving through. You don't want the minion prince actually to be locking onto the log launcher, but it looks like he will because he gets in range. Headhunter tries to sneak in, slows him down as Yetis are coming out of the log launcher, continues to power his way through. But the King's giant gauntlet ability straight to the bottom side, taking out the enemy hero down there, which I believe was what the Royal Champion, I think, as he continues through. And the multi is down there, but he should be taken out pretty easily. But the overgrowth was used on the town hall. That could be a little risky because he's going to have to make his way back around, and that town hall is going to stay invisible for quite a while.
I am scared. I mean, he is now moving all around this town hall. The rocket spear was already activated. She's right now throwing them. And maybe the Tunnel waking up. Queen state. No, Queen. Turn around. Queen, what are you doing? No. Okay, the Royal Champion to save the day.
He's so lucky the RC was right there to be able to lock onto that town hall, save that 2-star. It was a risky play, and it didn't result in the highest percentage, right? So a lot of times you say it was a risk that paid off. This one, it didn't, because this percentage is going to bring Millicene back down. So Carry Esports, they get a triple, and this match is now changing. They can tie it up on the stars. They can be looking to try to take the advantage because the fail that came in from Kai was an 83%. And this one, definitely being below that, is going to mean a 3-star from Carry, and the advantage now swings to their side because it was 72 there from Mr. C.
Yes, but we have seen at the same time like how challenging it actually is to get those 3 stars. It's always easier said than done. And for everyone watching at home, a quick reminder, because those attacks are done in esports mode, which means there are modifiers in place.
Yeah, but I see the news from there everywhere.
You will be able to achieve in your class is completely different to that. Equipment are capped and reduced, which means way less power from your heroes. Those defenses are dealing so much more damage. The pros are trying to overcome this as we're heading into the next attack, and Carry Esports are in with, again, quite some Rocket Loons, but the Root Riders, they are the star of the show.
Yeah, Root Riders have been the star so far here today, and they will continue to be the star this weekend as the World Champion is charging her way through this left side. Spell Tower. The Ground Expo is over here as well. We'll have that troop launcher to utilize to try to protect the healers through this push. And he does pull back the RC with the Spear Fox. So taking that Spear Fox back will indeed help later on in the hit here.
Yeah, we go now with those Root Riders. With the healers as well. The Archer Queen is there. What do you spot?
The Apprentice Warden got locked down by the Ground Expo. You don't want to lose it so early in the no, because the Apprentice Warden helps boost up the HP of your troops. And if you lose that, it's going to be losing all that possibility of the HP to continue to power through these defenses. So that make a huge difference in these attacks here as the King is going to the bottom side. Still making his way through and will have that Eternal Tome, but
स्ट्रिममा को होला एउटा रिभ्युअर छैन होला
एउटा नि छैन यतिकै छोड्दै
make sure that you try to be near the town hall
अनि हान्दै होस् त मुना
Yeah, the town hall is
सुतम
actually
भोलि सर कडा म्याचमा भोलि हान्न मजाले
this Archipart is now there to take down the town hall and a lot of the damage for the base.
मैले उठ्न भ्याएको भने म आउँछु स्ट्रिममा फेरि
Troops so far are really good up, which is nice for them. And take a look at that. It is 3 hero abilities still left. Invisible as well on top.
जिआरटा लाइभ स्ट्रिम हान्नु पर्ने के बल्ल आउँथ्यो
मलाई कपिराइट लाग्छ होला नि सायद त्यसले फेसबुक चल्ने त लाग्छ कि के भने जस्तो लाग्छ
तिमीले चाहिँ किन हानिर त ए आफ्नो च्यानल मतलब हुँदैन भनेर
मतलबै छैन
सोध्न लाउनु पर्छ नि च्यानल सोध्न लाउनु पर्छ नि
यतिकै अघि 7 बजे कि कति बजे त मेन्सन गरेको थियो अनि मैले त हुन्छ भनेर हान्दिएको मैले यतिकै
There's not much time left, but he has those 2 hero abilities which can clutch on the back end. There goes the spike ball ability. The Queen ability can be used as well to spawn that giant and some more archers.
निरा लाग्यो मलाई त अस्ति
deciding factor in the end.
ओ युसी भर्खर उठेर कल काटे क्या
खाटा बसेर हेर्दै निन्द्रा लाग्छ यार केटा हो
that were there all came from the troop launcher, but they're all pretty much low health. They're going to die very quickly. Queen's trying to get any additional value she can over this wall. Giants running unfortunately can't as a Ground Expo switches targets to his Queen, and it's here for Ismail and Milliceme MG. An 88%
बाई बाई
सूर्य कहिले हेरेको छैन तिम्रो निरव भोज परिसक्यो